Ah!
TV's not on show.
Well, fine.
Great time to notice that.
Welcome to another edition
Thank
of the
you.
Adam Dunn Show. I'm your host, Adam Dunn.
I'm Dave Charnick. Oh,
Look at this. And we're like surrounded. We have
whatever,
got
dude.
ladies on the show.
We need to balance the estrogen testosterone levels.
Oh, yes. That's everyone's been
Absolutely.
complaining. A lot of complaints.
A
Not
lot?
enough estrogen on the show.
Nope. Well, the normal estrogen I bring to the show wasn't enough.
Well,
so
Dave brings massive estrogen
that we
levels.
needed more.
Yes.
Well, here we
Thank
are.
you. Thank you.
We're
Thank you, thank
here.
you.
Woo! Live on the Adam Dunn Show. Woo! Sorry we're late. It's my fault.
No, it's okay.
It's okay.
Let's just give a
Are
big
we
shout
late?
out
No, I
first
didn't even
to
notice.
Matt Riddle and Brit Floyd for putting us up last night and taking care of us. Fucking amazing show. Anybody who's never seen Pink Floyd should definitely go to see Brit Floyd because they do a Pink Floyd show justice. So thank you very, 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 very much. They're at
Yes, thank you so
Colorado
much.
Springs and Pikes Peak Center tonight.
Right?
So tickets still available, even though Red Rocks was sold out hard last night. And everyone stayed through the rain and almost hail.
It's Colorado. They don't give a fuck. They're like,
Yeah,
oh, Red Rock. Except for that hailstorm they had that one time.
Sometimes
Oh my
they'll
God.
make you leave. If they make you leave, that's one thing.
That's the
However,
contract.
That
for
has
the
happened to
most
you?
part-
I've never
Actually,
That's what the
that's
ticket
been
says.
You should come with,
something
you need to
new,
wear like
too.
armor plated
Because they've
gloves.
done the
in
rain or
case you-
shine. The gloves.
Bring your armor gloves with you in case it's hail so you can
Yeah,
cover your
dude.
head.
No, I want to say it was last year or the year before. That was probably
Yes,
one of the first
worst.
shows that they had ever like. shut
That's
it down.
shocking. Like,
That
it's a pretty
show-
sturdy venue.
That show, the problem was they did it 2 or 3 times. Like everyone left, everyone came back,
Yeah.
everyone
Right.
left, and then everyone was like the third time, like I ain't leaving, dude. Nothing's happening.
Yeah.
And that's the one that
That's
was.
they got
nightmare.
dumped on with the hail,
And
and,
they had
it was
hail,
like
that big, and people's
Ow.
hands were broken, and everybody was like hiding.
Broken hands from the hail?
Putting
Yes.
their hands.
For real?
Everybody tried to
Oh my
cover their
God.
heads, and their hands were getting broken by the hail. That's how hard
That's
it was.
horrible. I've
Yeah.
never heard anything like that.
No,
You've never
we've
been
had
to
a couple
Red
of
Rocks
those
in
pretty-
June before then.
It's crazy.
Well, it's been a while.
we've had a couple of those brutal hailstorms too here in the city the last couple of years too. You
In
saw
June?
Hail has
was
seemed to
probably
be
like May,
getting
June.
it's getting more advanced lately. It's like you know what we're gonna do. I think I heard literally like soccer ball sized hail was coming
Global
down
warming?
in Texas at one
Oh,
spot. It
yeah.
was nuts. I was like, soccer ball size?
Could you
that's
imagine?
crazy.
No.
dude. I was already the other day when
I
it was
would
hailing
feel
at my
for my
house.
car.
I was watching my car like, that window's already got a bunch of cracks in it. It's probably gonna get trashed because it was coming down crazy hard.
That's when you do the hard grimace. Just
But luckily,
Great.
it's not going to happen anymore. That was it. It's done. Because this weekend,
no, this weekend's gonna
no
be
hail.
No hell.
It's supposed to be
It's going to be
Actually,
hail. No,
hail. No, we have. That's why one of the reasons I'm late is because I was preparing for this weekend. Because this weekend
preparing for hail.
we have a 2-day extravaganza going on out in Longmont with the DGC Cup, which is 2 days this year. It's going to be the DGC Cup as always, and then the day after is going to be our buddy Kyle's first event. It's so funny because I talked to him and I was like, I lived vicariously through knowing that he had so much on his plate because I've done this so many times with cannabis events and everybody's late and everything's. He was up till 6 a.m. last night preparing for this event because he had to get all his ducks in a row because on Sunday, the Hash Mash 25 first annual is going down. So he's bringing all the top hash producers in Colorado. We're all going to be showing up. It's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And we're going to be there representing. We're going to have Plant Buddies representing. We're going to be bringing the Vindicator with us. It's going off.
The Vindicator.
We've got to get you onto this, Stacey.
Yeah, I want to do it.
Okay.
I know what it is.
Okay, I haven't done it either, so I'll do it.
No, it's the big bong with the nitrous clear,
the
right?
big bong
Yeah.
with the nitrous.
Have you tried it, Mark?
It is more than a big bong with nitrous.
Yes.
You have
This
it?
I
is
have video of me doing it.
a culmination of two industries: race cars and pot smoking.
It's all in together.
And
It
we
sounds
brought them
fun.
together on a conference call. It was. I was just observing the call. I set the call up and I listened to Adam and Christian go back and forth like two kids on Christmas Day planning a bill in Congress to add a second Christmas.
Speaking of nitrous, I just saw that the latest trend in London, because everyone's
Crackers?
They love nitrous. Now they're doing the tanks like everybody, all these stupid little tank
The
things.
Galaxy
but
gas.
they're all driving around like this is like the one thing you learn quickly
come
is
on, dude.
driving in nitrous. They
Not
don't
good.
mix it at all.
Ah, good.
Zero
Are you
chance.
You should learn that in high
Oh
school.
yeah, they're crashing into everything. They're crashing in. Basically, there was like it's like they're just like getting all crashing into whatever, literally running out with balloons in their hand. Like they didn't even like drop the balloon. They'd like a drunk, like a drunkard falling down and not spilling his beer. They'd crash the car, run out with the balloon, and run down the street. And you're like, it's like apparently it's happening more and more and more. In London, it's all stolen
What?
cars. Yeah, they were stolen cars in the first place, so who cares at that
So
point?
they bipped him.
Huh?
They bipped him.
Yeah, bip the car, grab your tank, and go out and cruise around and see how long you can last.
That sounds.
Can last.
That
This
sounds
not
pretty
last
good.
long.
I
Yeah.
did it as a kid. I can
Hold
confess. I did it on I used to do it. I used to go over this bridge, and I would do nitrous as I hit the top of the bridge. And go,
Yeah.
You nailed the noise that you hear.
Yeah,
the
and then-
You are basically talking about creating chlorine for the gene pool.
But it was but it was very quiet. There was nobody on the bridge. I'd always do it when it was like quiet.
You were safe.
I knew where I was
about
going. I had to
being-
keep a straight line. That was it. You're like, just whoa. Yeah, but these guys are trying to do it in traffic. You know what I mean? It's like you can't do that.
Well, just in case you black out for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
because that
definitely
does
a fuck
happen.
around and find out
Dave
girly.
just thinks he can
so-
roll in here, hang out for hours, and not prepare anything.
Yeah, he was here before I was.
Exactly. No preparation at all. Just kind of like, where's all my stuff?
Yeah, dude.
Dang, I think it's
But anyway.
right there.
Sounds like a bummer, dude.
Yeah, sounds like you got to get up.
I'm not getting it. All right.
You
So
guys
anyway,
have like a joint over there anyways.
How
It's like-
about we announce that's on the show instead of just jibber jabbing? James Bean, man.
James Bean.
Man on the scene. He's driving over here right now. He's on his way. I made sure, because he said Alameda, and I was like, oh, no. West Alameda. Because you don't want to do that mistake. Mm-hmm. I'm here. Like, where? Oh, you're on the other side
You're
of
in
town.
Centennial.
Yeah,
You're on the
Yeah,
other
maybe.
side of town. You're literally on the other side of town. So
Yeah.
hopefully he got that.
Yeah.
But we also have Hash Cru coming on. And
Well, we'll
he's-
back up. Hash Cru. They are the guys that
That's
you
one guy.
guy that you taught to make the rap.
I didn't taught
that-
he taught himself, but then he realized years later that hey, this has actually been done. I was the first guy who did.
But
it. It's the
I
same
don't think
guy,
you
yeah.
see where my tie-in goes. So he basically understands that Rosendogs owes you a fuck ton of money.
Oh no, yeah, exactly. And
Okay.
he does.
Yeah. Okay. So when he comes on, we'll make sure that get testimony from him.
Yeah.
So that
Well, he
when the lawsuit
He at
comes
least
down for
he at least
Rosendogs.
honored the like, hey, I owe you a lot. He didn't do anything. He didn't pay me, but he's got at this point in time, he is taking shit super next level when it comes to hash production. Like he has cracked some codes for post production because the whole thing about making hash is you grow a bunch of weed. You make some hash, you take out the top 2-3% of it, you smoke that, and then you're like, what do I do with the fucking rest of it? How the hell do I clean it? And there's a lot of good in there. It's just to get to it is such a pain in the ass, and it takes so long that it's not very cost effective. What he's done is he's working with vacuums, like just industrial vacuums, the right screens, figuring out how to pull the reversing it out, which is has always been the secret of hash. It's like, first round, you take out everything. Second is how do we backtrack and get it to the point where, throw out all the duff to get to the gold.
Yeah.
And so he has 3D printed a bunch of cool items. He's coming up with new methods daily, which is dope. Got me super, I've two sides of the coin. One is I'm super excited. The other is like, I gotta redo everything now. I'm literally... James Bean is in the
Okay,
house.
I'm gonna make my exit.
Oh.
I know.
Stacey, we're so
He'll
happy
take
me
a
to
second.
see
Don't worry.
it.
He always takes a little while. He's got to
Well,
figure his stuff out. He
Okay.
you
I can
know.
be here for like 5 minutes.
There you go.
There we go.
James has a 5-minute
Yeah.
window to just chill out and ease. He didn't go to
Ease
he didn't go
into
to
it.
the other Alameda. That's good. We thought he might have went to the other Alameda, but he didn't.
Thank goodness.
And
You're not in
then
Glendale.
we've also got Seedsman's Jesus Plants is coming on for a
Oh,
minute.
heck yes.
When we talk to Kyle, because Kyle will be set up over at the VIP party later in the show, and we're going to check in with them. And then we're going to talk to Jesus Plants because he's doing the auction next week, where the proceeds are going to go to
Plant
Garden of
Buddies.
Eden,
Heck
aka
yes.
Plant Buddies, and
So
so we
exciting.
are, and then we're going to be out there promoting Plant Buddies at the event. So it's like it's a busy week for us in that department. And I might even have to send a link to him, but we might even have Terry. Terry might jump in from England, mate.
From
Oh,
England,
that's
mate. Okay.
But this is going to be a great show.
Yeah, once again, we start with 0, we end up with 50. That's how it always rolls.
And I'll tune in the car.
Oh,
Yeah,
where
there
are you
we
going?
go.
Where are you going? Just cruising around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have places to go.
Okay.
People to see. I
Got
don't know.
places to go.
I might stick around for just a little bit too.
Nice.
Heck yes. And definitely tomorrow, we would love for you to join us.
Yeah. Let me just figure out my friend's birthday and what she wants to do, and we'll collab.
Well, Sunday. If tomorrow is
Doesn't
busy,
work, then
Sunday
Sunday
is
is
even
gonna be
better
the
because
party.
Sundays are kind of we have a
Okay,
little more
great.
control on Sundays. So Saturday we have less control.
Okay,
And Sunday we have a booth to man.
Sunday
so,
sounds great.
And Sunday we have a booth to man, so you could help us with that. So that'd be even better.
I will help with that.
There we go.
Yes.
Stacey,
Just you
we
need
love
to
you.
you need to message me the times and stuff.
Then we'll give you your name. Then
Yeah.
we'll come up with your name because,
Oh,
we have to
Wait,
see.
didn't you already come up with it?
No,
Well, there-
she
She's
came
not
up with her
allowed.
own name.
I'm
It doesn't
not
work
allowed.
that way.
That's
Yeah.
not how.
Oh,
That's how
damn.
not how nicknames work.
but I'm excited to learn what it's going to be.
Because if
But
you try to make
that'll
your
be
own
for another
nickname, it
time.
always sounds way too like the dominator of like everything. Like, and
Okay.
you're like,
Hey.
no.
Hey,
It's
you
the
don't know
opposite.
me.
Kramer didn't pick his nickname. He just got assigned the wrong car that had the license plate Ass Man. So you see, it just happens.
Oh,
You know,
great.
It
I do
just
remember.
happens.
I think this will be my exit.
Okay.
And on that note,
Maybe we should comment for a
love
second
you,
too
Stacey.
that
Thanks
this
for
is the
hanging out.
first time in I think forever that Katie has joined like not the after hours.
oh, you guys are
Patreon
getting
show.
a taste of Patreon
Yeah.
in this show.
I'm so excited.
Well,
to be here.
we'll try to stay on the rails.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
we won't.
For at
It's
least-
not going to be completely off the rails. Like Patreon's wild, y'all.
What's up with the lighting tonight? It feels like every time I look at the screen, it keeps changing light and dark and light and dark.
Well, we tried to figure it out, but it's
Yep.
Yeah.
You got to put on that's a hot item. Come on.
Maybe we
Figure
turn
it out.
off the green screen and we go old school and we put the curtain back up again.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good plan, Dave.
We'll take
You're
20
gonna do it?
minutes.
Are you going to do it? No.
Negative.
No.
Does it require work?
Not happening.
Yeah, no.
Not
it is
happening.
work.
Nothing
No, that's what
extra.
James is here for. He's the tallest one in the room. He could do it. Yeah.
Anyway, how was your week, everybody?
I had a spectacular week.
Tell us.
Really enjoying all the rain we're getting. My garden, got everything planted, got all kinds of flowers planted.
So it's going to hail at your house tonight, is what you're trying to say.
Hey, Mr.
We were on the hail
Positivity,
talk.
I just
We're on the hail talk, and you just planted your garden. That's like the absolute magnet to hail.
No,
I thought a
it is.
trailer park is a hail magnet or a car dealership.
That's
Those
that
two
is
both
that is tornadoes.
Oh, tornado.
Yeah, that's not hail. Hail is just is any plants you put out. When you put a plant
Got it.
out, it's like it's
It's
not
gonna
even
be
when you put
great.
it out. It's when you are happy because it looks great.
Because it's
Yeah. That's when the hail comes. You're like, wow.
because it
they-
feels like the perfect time to put it
you're
out.
like,
That's when it's
they
going to
look
happen.
Great, and then you feel like this big depression, and all of a sudden you're like, no. Yes, you know the story.
I do know the drill. I'm praying
And
for no hail.
how was Dave? How was Dave? Besides avoiding craziness the other day, that was crazy.
No, it's all good. All
hanging in
good. Yeah, just keeping my head above water.
And Dave.
I'm.
I'll just be Dave.
Sometimes I just got to do my thing, and next week is maps.
I'm so excited
Now
for
it's,
that.
we're like on a non-stop event on top of event.
Yep.
And next week is also Bar Terp Town Sunday.
And it's your birthday.
And it's
And
my
it's
birthday.
birthday, Father's
It's
Day.
And it's Father's Day. All in one.
Wow.
I mean,
And
our
you know, the
Junes
cool
are
part
always
is
busy.
the cool
like
part
that,
is
though.
that I was born on Father's Day. Like, it's not always on the 15th. Sometimes it's on
Right.
whatever the second Sunday or whatever it is. So this is one of those like full circle deals where I'm like, oh, it's on a Sunday, and it's on Father's Day.
It's
The exact
completely your
formula
day.
of my birth.
Yeah, but it's like it's kind of like being born on Christmas or on Hanukkah.
No, it's not, 'cause
you
nobody
don't get two
celebra-
parties.
No, because nobody gives anything for fathers ever
What?
except for socks.
What?
What did
Oh,
fathers
really?
get?
Socks.
We get socks. We might get a, whatever.
We get a
Okay,
card.
I give
You're
my dad
lucky.
hash
You're
and I give
lucky.
my dad weed.
You're
So
well, he's better than most.
Oh, yeah,
Socks.
yeah.
I'd say most
I-
dads get a very lackluster present
same
on
with
Father's
Christmas
Day.
too. You think
Because
practical
moms
when
get
I
it
think
all.
of
Moms
father.
get everything. Oh, mom, yeah, dinner for mom. She gets this, she gets that. Dad gets, here's some socks. There you go.
I feel like you guys do appreciate
Am I right?
practical too, though.
When was the last thing you gave your dad for his Father's Day?
He got shoes this year because he wanted
Shoes that
them.
goes along with socks. It's
He
the same
wanted 'em.
thing.
Thank
is it
you.
with the feet?
Practical.
They were
do you
like
appreciate
$200 shoes
practical?
though, so it's like, god damn.
You bought your 97-year-old dad $200 shoes.
Running
dude.
shoes, running shoes.
Yeah.
Fucking guy. So, and how many?
what
and
kind of
is this a
shoes are they?
makeup for the last 8 years that you
Reebok.
didn't get him anything? Is that what's going on?
No.
Really? I was like,
Secretly?
that's-
Come on.
Why,
Be honest.
why would it be?
Because
I think-
nobody gives nothing on Father's Day. I know. I'm
He's
a father.
trying to prove
I
his
think-
point, Mark.
No, well,
Pay
I-
attention to the show.
We are
a father.
neglected
He
as
doesn't want
fathers.
anything,
Thank
generally.
you, that's-
So that's like, yeah.
You don't
It's
understand.
always like a.
Let me explain something. He says he doesn't want anything, and you need to
You
translate
need
that
to read
into.
his mind.
Please
This year
get
he
me
said-
something cool.
This year he said $200 shoes now.
Yeah.
Or I quit. I
Okay,
quitting
what
being a
would it-
dad.
Yeah.
Well,
What
he
would-
he wears the same shoes as I do, and I just got these shoes.
I was just going to
Finally.
compliment your Brooks.
And yeah.
Do you
and
like them? Are they comfortable?
Yeah.
I'm looking at those.
So wait a
and
minute. You're wearing
Hokas.
$200
They're not
shoes?
$200. It was like
You're
It
fired.
was like
You're out of here. You're going to pay for the show.
Yeah.
now.
they're like 120 or something like that.
You're in
but
charge of them.
okay,
Okay.
so I rounded up.
You're gonna put
80.
a camera on them? I don't
Okay.
know what they are. She says
I don't
Brooks.
fucking care.
I don't
They're
know.
just black shoes, dude.
I like
Do you
them.
like
I
tennis
want.
shoes and they're black? That's
You're
what they
wearing
look like.
black tennis shoes with
Calm
shorts.
Down, everybody.
Damn.
Calm the hell
Those
down.
are supposed to be really comfortable, though. I was looking at those
Calm down.
Brooks
All right.
and the Hokas. So, what would the most ideal Father's Day gift be then? You would actually. I feel like because I know you, you'd be easy to shop for because it would still be practical things that
Oh,
you
shop
would
for.
use
Okay, I get it. Okay, sorry.
for Father's Day.
I'm not even going to go there. I got a lot of good ideas, but
You have the opportunity to literally plant the seeds.
it's okay. Yeah,
Do you-
that's only if my
do you
wife would
hear
watch
what
the
the-
show.
Because you know
You're
they're
saying-
That's all,
listening.
no, that's not true. I come home, I go, you guys listen to the show, right? I'm gonna. It's like, no one's
No.
gonna listen to the show. That's not how it works. You either listen or you don't. Because when you say you're
Fuck
gonna,
it, we'll do it live.
you're like, oh, but that was last week. It's all old news now.
I listen to the show, however, that full disclosure, that's why I love doing Patreon because I actually get to listen to the show. It's harder to listen to the show and be here and participate in a
I
way.
just
I'm
talked
such
to
a
I just
chatty
talked
girl.
to Ricky, RBK Ricky,
Yep.
because he was going to come next week, but he's not. But then it's funny. He goes, and I always cringe when somebody says this. He goes, "Hey, my friend, who's really, he's big on pod. This guy does Howie Mandel's podcast.
Okay.
He does all these top Tony Hawk's podcasts. Right? He's the guy who's like behind all those. He goes, I had him watch a show. I'm like, oh. Don't do that.
No, I have people all the time.
And he
They're
goes,
What did
like,
he
tell
say?
me what
Hold
it
on,
send
hold
it to me. I'm
what do you
gonna
think he
watch
said?
it.
Okay, first of all, what do you think he said?
We talk over each other.
You talk over everybody. That's what he said, first of all. He said, that guy, Dave, he's got to go. The guy talks over everybody. He's got to go.
Okay.
No, he did not say
Later.
that. He didn't say that, but what he did say was what everybody says. What do you think that is?
We don't talk enough about
It's
weed.
too long, first of all. Okay, show's too long. Okay, and we get that. We're at a long show, but we have a lot to say, and we don't even know what we're doing. Second part, what do you think of the second thing we said? What should we be? What should we do?
We needed Katie to come on the regular show.
No. He's like, you need some structure.
Structure. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. We
And
appreciate.
I said, no, dude, we tried all this. You should have shot. I said, he should have watched. Hopefully, you watched the Mitch show. He would have gotten all the inside scoop of we did this. We had the list and the timings and the bell and the ding ding. He goes, you should do them in 15-minute increments, and you should change subjects every 15 minutes. And you should keep it flowing like that. That way, it's clippable and all the things that we kind of know is how to become a super successful whatever. But at the same time, I was like, dude, we can't.
Who can do it?
It's
Well,
like
I mean, ours
we
is
are
kind of like a
bunch
hangout.
of
Ours is
ADD
a-
out dudes.
Dude.
It's the ADDDDD show. It's the Adam Dunn. That's why my name's Adam Dunn. You know. So,
I mean,
AD.
It's the first half of ADHD.
I'm half there. I'm halfway there, right out of the gate. But
that's also what makes this so fun because it's us hanging out. It's us getting to kick it and talk about like really cool things. And how often do you get to sit and have long?
nice tan. I got
Okay,
it now.
not
Thanks.
everybody listens to.
Oh wow, I have color in my.
I know,
face.
we look like we
Holy
just came
shit,
back from holiday.
Vinnie! Yeah.
Before we were like Casper.
I'm still pretty light. I'm okay with it though. I'm adorable either way. Thank you, Vinny. I appreciate you.
Holy shit, Vinnie!
So yeah, we needed more structure. We needed to have 15-minute and then change subjects like king, 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 king. And I was like, I don't know, dude. We need a producer, but we have this guy who comes in and watches.
Maybe that's Stacy's new
he
job.
watches.
I feel like me and Stacy
Yeah.
and I.
Yeah, she's gonna
Yeah,
rein
she
us.
can do
She's
all
gonna
this
rein
stuff.
us in.
Yeah, we
Then
need to
crack
get
the
your
whip.
name so that you can get in chat and
You
kick
don't
it with
want
chat.
someone to
because
rein you
when I
in.
do listen
Last
to
thing
it,
I want.
our
It never
chat
works.
game
No, he
during
doesn't.
regular
No, hold
show
on.
goes off.
Oh,
A
wait.
lot of people.
Point of clarification, Mark. We don't want someone. We want someone to try.
So we can laugh. Ha ha. ha.
No, maybe it will work. It maybe, right? So we'd be willing to try. Like if we had somebody with an attitude like James Bean directing things, holy fuck.
He tries.
You know
I'm
what?
gonna
Every 2 weeks or so, he gives me
I
this
like-
great new idea, and I'm all, yeah.
No, but he makes the
maybe.
mistake. He can't give you the idea. He
Yo.
just has to implement it.
Just to give him
That's
He just
kinda-
has to do it.
I like Kelly's interpretation here. She said, "This is freestyle jazz of OG stoners in a natural
Fuck yes,
setting."
thank you, Kelly.
It is an
Thank you
art.
for seeing us.
I fucking agree.
I love you, Kelly. That's what it is. It's like everybody getting to hang out,
Wait.
which is great.
Yeah, dude. Exactly.
So I think wait,
It's all about
what everyone is
improvisation.
what everyone is trying
Yeah,
to say
jazz
is
hands, everybody.
how
jazz
could we
hands.
do our thing, but still be structured, but get back to that 12-month period between 2022 and 2023 when we had 1.3 million plays. in
Okay, well,
12
we're never
months.
going backwards. We're moving
That's
forward.
because they thought we were
backwards
the
is not
Adam Dunn
available to
baseball
us.
guy.
Not
They were all
possible.
confused.
No,
It's not
I feel
possible.
like no, because if you watch, I definitely watch the other shows. I definitely watch what's going on with the other shows, and ours is cool because Adam has access to people that other people don't have access to. And that's the truth about
access,
it. Is
access.
access
What is
is
fun-
the thing.
what
So
is
this
fun
is
is-
literally an Adam Dunn party.
What is fun though is if you go onto the Instagram, right, and you just start scrolling down through all the pictures of the shows, because it's like we've had everybody.
I was gonna say
There is
he's had
nobody.
li-
There's nobody we haven't had on the show.
How do you describe it?
Like
And
when you
nobody
see,
we can't have,
Like
so
someone's
you guys communicate to us,
Like
too.
I saw Montel was on somebody's show the other day, and they were all like, "Whoa!" And I was like,
Montel.
I got Montel
I
5
got
years ago.
Montel-
You know,
"I did that already."
I watched this basketball podcast called All the Smoke, and
Yeah.
Vernon Maxwell's on there now.
Oh,
and
well,
he's
wow,
like on
see?
there all the time, dude. I go in the
Spectacular.
church. I go in the chat. I'm like, dude, you can check him out on our show.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah.
And I think that was his. Was that his chair?
That was his first.
See, we
I think-
pop everyone's cherry.
Yeah, I
Thank
think
you.
that was-
For
Thank
anybody
you.
who says-
so this is a special time.
cherry popping episode. Another cherry popping
Hey.
episode.
And,
The
and
Adam
for
Dunn
anyone
Show.
who says we're not evolving, we haven't made the and you're going to be on the Danny Danko show in 2 weeks joke
Oh.
in probably 6-7 months.
Except no, we did like
I
a couple of
haven't
weeks
heard
ago.
that.
with
But
the
that was
Danny-
just well, it was
I
like that
know.
was once because he was here.
You forgot about it. That's what
No,
it was. You were
yeah,
like-
well, you're right
You would
about
have
that.
bring.
I would.
You were the one who kept that alive. Like,
Yeah, I was like, we haven't said it. Who the hell? You got a fucking mouse in your pocket, my friend? You haven't said it.
hey.
I appreciate all the Davisms.
More like
So
a
that's
No,
cat.
I love the
so
Dave.
that, according to Dave, is evolution.
Yeah.
He didn't say the same
Growth.
joke.
We're going forward.
97,000 times in
Yeah.
a row. He only said it 96,999. Good job.
Bottles of beer on the wall.
I love
99
it.
bottles of beer.
Man, that's
Take
a lot.
one down and pass it around.
Well,
What?
James Bean's getting really bored over there.
Yeah.
No,
come on
James
in.
Bean
I came all the
loves
way
us.
here.
Come on in,
and
man.
they don't
To
want
kick
me
it.
on the
Come
show.
kick it with us, James.
Let's remember, Katie,
I'm so
just because
excited you're
you've
here.
not been here when James has been on the show, we don't talk about his attire. Anything
See,
he's
this is
wearing
another
or his
Davism that
shirt or
I'm well
anything like
aware
that.
of.
Don't
And
talk
James
about
already
it.
knows how cool James is. James doesn't need anybody
No,
else.
he's a
to-
rock star.
Yeah.
An absolute rock star. Is
There's
in
a
regards
level of
to
confidence to James that I appreciate.
Well, but the
will
same
probably be
thing,
your
how
easiest way.
you just said that everyone starts their podcast career on the show.
Yep.
James has been the longest sponsor of the Adam Dunn Show since
I know.
day one, first show.
Not true, but it's okay.
Close enough. Roll with
Dave,
me.
been a long
Dave's
time.
I'm riffing.
not facts over here.
I'm riffing.
Exactly, not facts. Build a Soil First sponsor ever, but it's okay, Dave.
James is a
You'll get it
long-time
together.
supporter, though.
He's our
He's our
Most
bestest.
dedicated, though. He's
That's-
look at this. Look at this.
Good
table.
to see you, sir.
We have him in a kiddie chair. It looks like
You remember?
it's like he's in a chair from elementary school.
Now there's more. I got more gifts. I came in with gifts.
Oh, it's okay. We can do that
yes.
later.
Yeah. Oh, in fact, these are my old gifts.
You brought these originally to Stan's?
Yeah.
Oh, thank
So
you. We
remember how heavy they
appreciate you. That's funny because I remember when Plant Buddies, that was the first time that I met you, and I didn't meet you with Adam and Cece. We were at NoCo Hemp, and Cece and I were in the booth, and we were just talking about starting Plant Buddies. So this is like a cool story about you, James, is we were in the booth talking about starting Plant Buddies. And I was like, well, we're here. We could totally get people to donate to us. And I'm going to walk around and just tell people about our idea and see what I can get donated. And everybody donated so many seeds. Remember, Adam, I had like massive, everybody donated. And I went to your booth and I was like, hey.
I said, no, bitch. No seeds.
I was like, hey, all I had to
Did
do
you
was
use
say
the word
Adam and
bitch?
Cece. Adam and Cece, and this is who I'm with. And he already knew them, obviously, and so he just looked at me like, I have
"What, you wanna
no
get
idea
more?
who you are.
More?
Well, I just have no idea who you are. However,
That's the best
you
way.
you name dropped 2 people that I know and are like my people, and I'm gonna confirm it. So I'm either getting burned here by like a complete stranger that's like has audacity to walk in here and ask people for seeds or donations for a kids project, and use my friends' names. Was the exact energy he gave me, and he gave me all kinds of stuff. He gave me huge handfuls of stuff, and I was so excited and went back to the booth. And so it was so cool. Thank you, James, you were like one of our very first donors to Plant Buddies, and all of those seeds were like just beautiful
No, it's
and
good.
contributed in such a cool way.
It's a
so
good thing,
thank
but
you.
you do get hustled a lot. Like they're doing the booths. A lot of people come up and just trying to get you for this and for that, or this story, that story. They fucked up somehow, and half of them you feel bad, but you're like, I gotta, these packs cost me $50. From the breeder, I can't just give them to you.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to do something for everybody. But when good causes like that, it was a good thing, and yeah.
Oh, I appreciate it. We
First
all
time.
do. It's like been able to.
Yes, and full circle tonight at the end of the show, we'll be talking to Seedsman, doing more donations, just like, it's like going back.
Seedsman.
Yeah. Seedsman. Uh-oh. Battle.
See, this is why he doesn't come on the show all the time anymore.
No,
Adam.
no. You can't fuck with the greats. I mean, that's a huge name, and he's with them now, right?
Yeah, well, we got Jim is like he's taking care of the one over here, so.
Yeah, no, that's huge brain.
Yeah.
This show is worldwide.
You can offer James a dab.
It'd be nice, or some flour or something.
Oh, well, we need.
do it.
Can you wait?
That-
Stacy, would you mind grabbing the tray over there, please? Thank you.
Wow, look at now she's working. Voila.
Yeah, see?
Stacy, Trewala. Trewala.
Produce.
Are you going tomorrow and on Sunday? You're going to be at both days,
Yes.
right? That's what I thought.
Yep. Going tomorrow, and then we'll be the Backpack Kid at Dunn's booth on Sunday. Just gonna hike in under him.
No, yeah, of course you are.
Heck yes.
That's the payback. Payback's a bitch.
Yeah. Should have brought some clones or something, but I didn't.
We're bringing the Hungry Hippos back because that was a winner.
Him?
You saw, well, the people that we have tomorrow and the next day are definite hungry hippo kind of crowd for seeds.
Yeah.
And to be part of the testers of without knowing what they are, and then
Yep. So explain to everybody what hungry hippos are, in case people don't know.
what the actual game of hungry.
Well,
hungry
no, we
Hippos?
all know what they are.
Okay, everybody knows hungry hippos,
Yeah, we all know
but
that.
we have a group called the Humble Hippos, which is Shiloh, myself, Jinx, Uncle Andy, and we have Carly and Tim Payton. And
Odie.
yeah, he's kind of on the outs. He's like, yeah,
That's
he's
Odie
waiting
now.
for us. He's waiting for us to make it real, and then he'll jump out.
Yeah, that's Odie. He's
Okay.
on.
He's a true hippo. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
So
That's why I was really
that's
sad. I was like,
right.
come on, dude, you are the ultimate.
That's
ultimate
funny.
hippo.
Yeah, that's
I mean, come on, we made it it's part of the deal. But so the Humble Hippos is a collective group of old school growers that are all preserving genetics, which is the hippo reference, of course, because preservation and hippos kind of go together.
I missed it.
And-
How do preservation hippos go?
Yeah, I don't get that either.
Because that's what if you look at hippos, they're being preserved because they are going extinct.
No, they're not.
No, they are
No,
not.
they're not.
Yeah, they are. They're
don't think so.
protected. They're hella protected. They have guys who stand there with
I don't
guns
think so. I
I don't
protecting
think so.
individual
I think
hippos.
that's a rhino.
Yeah, that's a rhino. You're thinking of a
Oh,
different
both of them, whatever.
Hippo just shits on itself and spreads
No,
shit
in
everywhere.
Colombia they're not. They're bad in Colombia. You heard about them?
They
right?
will rage you. They'll kill you. They're the most
They're the most-
deadliest
well,
animals.
They're not protected. That's why
They're
they're
not protected.
They're the most dangerous animals in the world.
Adam, has anyone ever told you you have a problem just going, you know what, you got that one wrong? It was
Yeah,
the rhino.
whatever.
whatever.
Hippos.
I don't
Move
think-
on.
They got to be
I'd have to
semi-protected
fact check
somewhere.
that one. I don't know.
Fact check.
Oh, Jamie, fact check. Are hippos protected?
I actually.
I'm good.
Wow. Okay. Well, anyway.
Let me ask Beanie. Beanie knows all.
Oh, shit,
Because
yeah.
I
Oh no,
did- I
Beanie
did
doesn't
get-
even know who I am.
He does now. I give Beanie a brain.
You gave it a new
You
brain.
can now search the internet.
All right. Well, last time it thought I was
This
a
is the
baseball
Wizard of
player.
James Bean.
I was a baseball player and got me all confused.
No,
what was
I
the
know.
strain that they kept saying?
No, they just didn't know who you were.
Gelati something or something?
Bubblegum.
Hippos are not
bubblegum.
currently listed under U.S. Endangered Species Act, meaning domestic trade within the U.S. is not federally regulated.
Wow.
Why
In
would
the
they be?
U.S.
So that
There's
means
no-
we can
they
eat
don't
hippo.
live here, though.
Oh yeah, who eats hippo though? Have you ever had a hippo stew?
Dude,
No.
they're really good.
They shit on themselves. Nobody eats hippo.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
But hippos eat people.
So just I didn't catch.
No,
the
they don't eat
preservation
people.
thing.
They just kill them.
They just run them over,
yeah.
and eat them.
Bite them in half.
Yeah, they're mean
I
bastards.
think we're
I
the
was
only one that
curious how
has
you
an
guys
endangered
came up
species
with
list.
the
What?
idea.
Yeah.
Really?
So
run
as far
shit.
as,
No
so
one
as far
cares?
as preservation goes, I don't know that one.
All right, whatever.
Just calling like I say. Okay, next.
Jesus.
Hey,
Next.
ask your idea person about the podcast if anyone
I
else
still like the
discusses
idea.
how many
Humble
minutes?
hippos.
It's
That could be good. But
It's
I'm just saying
good.
the preservation line was not. Well, I just didn't.
I
see
think
the
it's
connection.
adorable, and I don't know if you're going for adorable. However, adorable sells,
Adorable's
and
fun,
people
but it's
like
not
adorable.
factual.
Are you looking this way? Do you think either of them are going? Well, maybe James. Look, he does look kind of cute tonight. I'm just saying.
It's the shirt, Dave.
Yeah,
I love
know.
it.
Oh, Cubert! I didn't even notice it.
Jesus.
Right?
Is what?
No, it's Cubert.
No, Cubert is a game, was it not?
But that's the thing those are the blocks that Cubert would jump on.
Well, look at
I've
you.
never heard
Dave's
of
having a
Cubert.
fucking-
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you heard of Cubert?
Memory there.
Yeah, I don't. That's it.
You know what's really cool about Cubert though, is there
The nose?
No, there's a fucking glitch in that game, which if you ever see a Cubert game, all you got to do, you take your joystick, you go all the way to the left, right, so you can't go any further. It goes around the little pyramid thingy, whatever. You go to the right, and you just keep hitting the button. Bop, 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 bop. Boom! The game all of a sudden gives you like hundreds of free games.
Free credit.
I have
You've seen that.
never
You know that-
even
you know
heard
that
of
one?
this
Do you know
game.
that?
How, have you heard of
It's
this game?
awesome. So every time when I was a kid, every time I was in an arcade and I was down to my last quarter, I'd go, "Oh, where's the Cubert game? Cool." And then I'd go, "Do-do-do-do-do." I'd have 100 free games, and I'd just sit there then I'd give it to somebody before I left or whatever.
So I just get super stoned and go like the nickel arcade. Just fucking play nickel games.
How old are you?
Super stoned. Old.
Nickel?
Almost 50. Yeah. Nickel games. Nickel arcade. Had like 200 games for nickel.
I was playing Street Fighter 2.
I like Street
I was
Fighter.
dumping nickels in
That was in
NBA
my
Showtime.
time.
NBA Showtime.
I like Defender.
NBA
a lot. I love
Jam, yeah.
Defender. That was like
yeah.
my first
I like that one,
love
too.
of Defender. Like I mean, I played all the other games, but that was the first one where I was like, dude, the way it turned, like when you turned it around and it kind of slid a little bit, that effect made me think it was like so realistic, even though it was just still digi little.
Yeah, but how about when you drop the person and they exploded?
How about Robotron? Robotron was fun too.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah.
That was just pure annihilation.
Robots.
Missile Command. I liked that one.
Missile Command.
Yeah.
Dang, you guys.
That's where
I
you
have
type in the coordinates, right?
Not heard these games.
How about Dungeon Quest? Right? It was a Dragon Quest
Dragon Quest was stupid.
with Dirk.
Not
That
fun.
was the dumbest game ever. That was.
But
Like
that was just a new
Are these
technology that
On
they turned the
what
laser disc.
console?
yeah. The
PC.
No,
and
worst technology ever.
PC?
Well,
No.
I played them on PC because in my
You
time,
put a
Is this like
quarter in the
Oregon
machine.
Trail stuff?
they were like,
Ooh, I love
well,
Oregon
Because-
Trail though too. That was
Okay.
that was fun.
I played a lot of them on my PC because by that time, they're already like out of like the, creative domain thing or whatever. The fuck, so they just,
Holy shit! Oh my! How?
so they
I
put like
love
50
it.
of them. They put like 50 of them on a floppy disk, and I
You're
played
like
all.
Yeah,
of
you-
45 years old.
How
How
old-
the fuck? What the?
No.
them. That's how I got them. I didn't play them like you all did.
I played him at.
I got
school.
Spider-Man.
I only know of the Oregon
had
Trail
to-
that he just said. That's like probably the
That was the
oldest.
dumbest game ever, though. Really.
It was so much fun. Are you kidding
You
me?
lost
I
the
liked
wagon
it.
wheel.
You.
You died of cholera.
I
or whatever.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
I did too.
Hey, did that guy
Now I
that
feel
walked
like
in just
kids-
now, who we're not supposed to talk about and mention him, did he bring any good weed? Maybe,
He
any of? Where is it?
needs to bring some nugs over here.
Yeah, he needs to bring some
nugs
bring some
over
nugs to
here.
your patron saint.
Bring
Adam
the nugs.
Dunn.
Oh, what's going on over here?
he
Oh,
brought
whoa,
gifts.
toys.
Yeah,
gifts.
shit.
I guess they weren't in public
Holy
domain. They're
fuck.
just
Dude.
pirated.
No, it couldn't
This
have
is
been a public domain.
this is
Fuck
just-
you,
No,
Mark.
I don't think so. Yeah, Lars is
You
saying
guys are
they
like
weren't.
buddies. You and her are like buddies. You're like, you guys need toys and stuff and things. 'cause
And
you sound
Adam
like
loves
crap.
gadgets.
I
Don't
don't know.
let Adam loves a gadget.
Something to get in my way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says
Or I can hit it with my hand and make it go.
It's a pro stand for a professional.
Pro.
I love
You think we
it.
are on the Joe Rogan show or something?
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah.
Wow.
Did you see Rogan yesterday when it was live doing the show and the Twitter tweet thing started happening and and they have a video of him reading Elon's tweet. He's just like, let me just read this for a sec. And oh, Trump is in the Epstein files. Have a nice day. And his jaw just drops. And that's what took up the entire news cycle. Yep.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't watch the news, but it's gone crazy. I just like the.
I don't own a TV.
Good for you.
Really?
I have no idea what you're
Atta girl. Atta girl.
I'm not doing it.
Right on. So James Bean, thank you for coming on the show, man.
How was your flight?
Really appreciate it.
It was good. That's the reason it came up. When Dude Grows told me that they're doing their thing, and I was looking at dates. I was able to score a flight for round trip for like $300. So
heck yes, direct flight.
direct flight, no layovers, which is rare from Cozumel ever. So I had to fly to Cancun. But yeah, it was a 4.5 hour flight, and then weather. So we circled around for an hour. But we came in about 5.5 hours total. But yeah, not bad.
Sweet.
Yes.
No issues.
No, actually, I had a decent seat, and there was nobody next to me, and slept for half of it, so it was cool.
Lovely.
Very nice.
It's always nice to actually be able to sleep on a plane.
Yeah, if you can, if you're lucky enough to. But take a couple of gummies, pass out.
Actually, I just saw that there are some airlines right now changing their coach seats into, like, if they're ever flying, next to no, passengers, you can, like European trains used to do, you can fold out the seats and it becomes a completely lie flat couch.
Oh, that'd be nice.
That'd be cool.
Yep. I mean, shit, I'm all for it. I'm going.
But so it was that. Flying out of Cancun, different, of course, flying out of Cozumel. Cozumel, a bunch of old people. Flying out of Cancun, bunch of families, bunch of kids,
Oh yeah.
Takes a long time.
bunch of patience. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Just like, oh my God.
You're like, dude, I feel bad for you and your 6 kids. Like, I don't know why you would bring them to Cancun.
With three seats.
Yeah,
Three
That's
seats,
always
6
quite
kids.
Because they're
impressive
rich.
too. When I was
Well, you see the ones that are impressive. Those kids are like linked together or holding hands, like marching in a small army. Like those ones are like, oh, nice job, Dad. But then there's ones with like dad's struggling, and there's like kids running everywhere, and there's kids in the store throwing shit. And you're like, damn, it's gonna be a rough
Yeah,
one.
Even one kid's tough, but having 5 kids or 6 kids, it's like, oh my God, you're out of control.
And then
Yeah,
at an
How do they
international
even?
airport.
I always
Yeah,
thought that
just
the
don't
dentist.
know.
I was at the dentist with Nick the other day, and this guy came out, and he had his 3 kids, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, damn, you got to pay 3 times as much, like, 3 times as much
three
for
times everything.
everything you do.
Yeah.
If you like.
I better pause. Remember, I've been smoking that Kaka Kush. So notice.
Kaka Kush?
That brown frown. I almost brought you guys some seeds, but I don't think you want them.
Are you trying to say your tolerance is a little low and you got to go slow?
Yeah. Well,
It's crazy too because Mexico should have fireweed. You know what I mean? They
no.
obviously have the regions to grow it because
Yeah,
they produce
no.
more weed than anywhere in the world for longest
I
time.
feel like the weed that I got down there was trash too.
Oh, it is.
Everywhere I went, I was like,
question.
this is so wild. I didn't even attempt to get cannabis in Italy. No, and I got into a couple conversations about it, and there 2 of the people that I got into conversations about it were like, "I'm gonna pray for you. You're going to hell for sure."
Yeah, it's not that I'm spoiled either. Like it's serious brick shit. Like at times, and it's just like, damn.
Well, I mean, you got to
Yeah,
imagine. You
it's
got to
getting brick
imagine
down
that.
here.
Are you actually getting high from it then, or is it like?
I don't know. I smoke a lot of joints.
Okay.
So, but I mean, do I get high? No. But do I get enough to get high enough to get by? Yeah.
I get that.
But it's better than nothing.
Well, you
'cause-
got to imagine that down there, traditionally, there's certain people who probably just never stop doing it exactly the way they were doing it. They still got the same fucking press jack thing set up in the corner. They throw all the weed in there, crank it up, drop it up, and some guy's like, "Yeah, I'll take that, $50, whatever."
Yeah.
And then he goes in the city and sells it to American tourists for
it's horrible.
ridiculous
Exactly.
amounts of money.
Yeah.
Takes that 50 and spins it
Exactly
in
that.
thousands of dollars, and you're like, "What the hell?"
So I bought their weed there once just to see it, but off in Playa del Carmen, off the 5, the 5th Avenue there, and it was like $75, and walk on the corner, and then it was just like this foil, and I was like, oh God, I bought something in foil. This is not how weed should come ever.
No.
And I cracked it open, and it was thankfully it was brown weed, but it was brown brick bud. It was maybe
Foil
two-
is an
two-
indicator that you're just about to not be very happy. With it.
Yeah.
There's very few times you've been like, wow, that looks great.
I'm
Like
excited
Australia
about
was the
what's
same when I went to Australia when I was living there years ago. It was like the first thing I'd go to this, like, where do you get weed? And you go, oh, you go to this arcade and you talk to this guy, right? And the guy goes up to the fucking pinball machine and pulls out a foil and gives it to you. And you're like, I get back to the hostel and I open it up and I'm like, what the fuck is this, dude? It was like, stems and
Sticks
seeds.
and stems.
Oh, it was all that.
I
Everything.
think it's foil because it pokes through a bag, right? So it can't be in a bag. If you see it, they'll fucking won't take it. So it's like, let's foil it. Fuck it.
And the funny part was that because I lived there for about 11 months, and during that 11 months, I kind of figured out a good place to go get the better, because one, you go to one guy and he'd hand it to you and he'd be like, oh dude, that's pretty chunky, right? And then you get back and it'd be like
just super wrapped.
It was like a Russian doll. There was like one little tiny gram, like half a gram in there, and it was supposed to, I was like, what the hell is this? And then then
these guys know they're not going to see you again.
Yeah,
Right?
they know
They're
that exactly.
Oh, it's when you're in an arcade buying weed, you're definitely not like. And the guy's going,
You're not looking at repeat customers.
super shady. That was in King's Cross in Sydney or whatever. But then I met this guy who had a restaurant, and he had like Thai weed. It had like proper weed. Like all of a sudden, I was like, oh, dude, here we go. Now we're talking. And then the funny part was, in Australia, all the weed growers back in the day, maybe not now, but all the weed growers, the criminals, right? The criminal element of the country were all Greek, right? So I was like, oh, great. Hey, I found a stove. Right? I was like, hey, what's going on? I'm Greek. I'm half Greek, half Irish. They're like, everybody down there is half Greek, half something, right? And but they were so one time I was hitchhiking, I was coming back from the north, and I was going by there's a place called Rockhampton and Marlborough, right? There's like a section, and in between there is where they grow all the bananas. So it's the banana belt of Australia. And I'm hitchhiking, and this guy pulls over, and he's got like a Volkswagen, and he's like, I get in the car, and he tells me he's a cop, right? He's an ex-cop, right? So I'm like, okay, and I'm all like rigid, like, oh, cop, okay, cool. But it was like he was pretty cool. He goes, first of all, I'm going to tell you that I was a cop. I'm not a cop anymore. But he goes, hey, do you like weed? And I'm like,
entrapment. Weird question.
Like, this is a straight.
We should have said not
After
anymore.
your introduction,
I was just kind of
sure.
like, well,
Where are we going with this?
What's that? He goes, no. I want to show you. You want to see some plants? And I'm like, fuck yeah.
Once again, I fucking.
And I'm like, I was like, go for it. So he drives me through this fucking banana fields.
Why would they lead with, I used to be a cop?
Just because he didn't want, like, I don't know. He's just like,
why'd you leave?
Because he knew
That's a strange way to gain my trust,
like,
sir.
I'm going to show you some weird
Well,
shit.
the thing is
but
that he knew where all the weed was because he's a cop. So he's knew like, yeah, I know where all these guys all know
that
me.
makes
I know them. Whatever. It was like
Gorilla Patch.
It had this real old school
Let me
vibe.
show some random kid this Gorilla Patch that I know about.
It wasn't even a Gorilla Patch. It was crazy because it was like this thing where we go there and we drive through all these bananas, tons, just miles of fucking bananas, right? We go up to the top of this hill, and he's like, "There you
Miles
go."
Bananas, this is like a trip. Like you're like.
I'm just like.
Does your mom know where you're going at this point in time?
No,
Like,
this is me living there on my own, hitchhiking, being crazy.
Yeah, he could have chopped you up.
I love every part of this.
It's even worse than that because I watched a special
So this
years
has every
later,
makings
and
of a serial
exactly
killer.
at the moment that I was there was a guy killing people called the Backpack Murderer.
Let me show you this
and I
weed,
was like,
kid.
so I'm an American guy with a backpack going through during the Backpack Murder days
Totally,
with
dude.
long hair and tie dyes. So I was like, dude, I would have been like the ultimate
Perfect.
victim.
Yep, you get like 10 bonus points.
I would have been, but this cop guy, we go to the top of this hill,
cop guy.
and we're looking down this valley, and there's like banana trees everywhere, and he goes, there you go. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? All I see is bananas everywhere. And I'm looking around, and it's like,
How about this banana?
it took me a second to focus on it, but I was like, oh shit, that is weed. Like everywhere in between the banana trees were these giant sativa, like 20-foot tall plants, like the biggest plants I've ever seen, because they were like just these big, like bamboo looking plants almost. And it wasn't like late in the season, so it was like summertime, so it was kind of like they were still just
thin and
veggie.
They were just-
But it took me so long to focus, and when I did focus, I was like, holy fuck, dude, this whole valley is fucking weed. Like, it was
That's
crazy.
cool.
And so it was like one of those, it was a cool moment. And then I was a little paranoid because I was like, okay, why are you showing me all this?
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
So wait, Adam, you're saying
But I'll tell you, the next ride that I had was even worse because the next ride was the murderer.
So much fun.
No, the
Just
next
had to
ride was
begin.
100%. I thought after, like, that had to be them because it was like this guy. Okay, they had these cars called Holdens down there, which are like, I don't know, they're local brand or whatever. It's kind of like a Ford, and it was a station wagon with no back seat, and it was filled with beer bottles, right? Fucking to the
That's
right.
how they came out of the fucking factory?
No, yeah, these two guys. So these two guys.
plastic bags of cleaning supplies
No, these-
with a saw.
So great.
So these two guys pull up, and they're twins, right? So twins, no teeth. And they're like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to Rockhampton. And they're like, well, jump on in. And I'm like, they go, come in the front. And I was like, no, I'm good. I'll just sit on these bottles in the back, right? So I'm like laying on these bottles, and I got a little knife in my pocket, and I'm just hanging onto this knife. And these guys are like, hey, do you mind if we go see my sister up the road? And I'm just
Yes, I mind.
no, dude, I think I'm just going to get out
just
right
get out
about
right
here.
here.
And they were like, are you sure? It's only like a couple miles. And it's just so shady the way they
She's
said
pretty
it.
cute.
And I was
She's
like,
making cookies.
no, I'm good. I'll just try to get a ride here. And I got out, and I was fucking like, that was kind of weird.
I was about
And
to get
then-
murdered.
And then when I saw that special, which was about the backpack murder, I was like, that could have been them. It was like, it might not have been, but no, actually it wasn't, because I think they caught the guy, and he was like some German eccentric guy who would take people and basically do like a Hunger Games thing, be like, all right, run. And,
Whoa.
and he'd get in his Jeep and fucking get his kangaroo fucking guns out.
Just bad.
Yep, it was one of those.
That feels like a terrifying way to go. No, I got in a stranger's car in Italy. It actually happened multiple times because of that look too. Jalen texted me. She was like, thank God I have your fucking location, dude, because they make documentaries about shit like this.
Yeah.
I didn't ask anybody for drugs or anything. However, I would just find myself walking in the middle of nowhere, high on LSD. And people were just like, hey, it's like miles and miles to the next town. And
okay?
you are obviously not from here, so let us give you a ride. There were no taxis, no public transport. And I was just like, I'll just keep walking. I don't mind.
How'd you end up in the middle of nowhere on LSD? Like,
So we
Really?
I would
Really?
take.
well, like
Really?
the little girl from Fear and Loathing.
You
like,
had to ask?
drop Lucy off in the middle of
that.
nowhere.
So I would
She's
go.
so crazy. Here you go. See ya.
No,
So I
she
was
just
in
took
Italy
it and started walking.
And I was in Italy on the Amalfi Coast, and I would take like public transport to whatever town I was going to. I went to all the different towns, and then I would wander as high up as I could actually walk on the mountains tops and stuff. And I didn't realize that public transport there like stopped at like 4:30 or 5 or like sometimes 8 p.m. And I'd find myself just out roaming because the sun was still up until like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night some nights. And so many people were just so kind there, And I was like,
That's how I roll.
I took a bunch of selfies with these people because I was like, if something does happen to me, and this is how I go out, they're going to find the pictures of these people on my phone. Jalen will put all this together. And I just trusted all of it. And people were so kind to me. And I talked to a couple people about the show and stuff, and it was just spectacular. So cheers to getting into strangers' cars and going on adventures.
Yeah, no, I
mean,
wouldn't
those were the
recommend
days.
it.
This
I
is-
would not recommend it.
Thank
Sorry.
you, Jay.
So me, it was in 1987, 88. So people still hitchhiked then. It was kind of weird. Like now,
People still hitchhike now.
I know when I see people hitchhike, I'm like, what?
But in the back of
A
their mind,
guy
they all know they might be
hitchhiking?
dead.
Okay,
Back-
that's because there's so much access to TV and there's
Nah.
access to
But
more.
Australia,
Yeah, people are like
Australia was
hyper
perfect.
fixated
Australia
on.
was perfect for it because it was like that was kind of how people traveled because there was really no. It's not like public transportation.
That's what
between these-
Mr. Leal said right here. He said that's normal.
Oh, super
That's-
normal. Yeah, it was super normal. It was like yep, that's what you do. And I had the on the very last ride that I had going back to Sydney was like out of a fucking movie where it was like I'm like, okay, I got like one more sort of thing to go. This girl picks me up. She's super hot. She's like. We're like,
Yeah.
she's like,
happens
oh,
often.
She's like, what do you do? Where you, oh, I'm going back to
Hot
Sydney.
chicks picking
Where are
up
you staying
random
at?
dudes.
Oh, I don't know. I was staying in a hostel. She goes, oh, listen, I'm a model and I travel a lot. If you want, you
Come
can stay
to
at
my
my house.
house.
And I was just
Yeah,
like,
sure.
this is fucking going down great.
James,
right?
I love your
Oh, this
attitude
shit
about all of
doesn't-
this. He's like,
she-
no, this
she-
shit, the
She
map's
gives me
not
her
mapping.
number. She gives me her number. I write it in my fucking my little fucking fold thing. I go back to the hostel. I'm all like, dude, I'm out of here, guys. I'm going to talk to this girl. And I fucking go up to this. I go up to their Hard Rock, right? But it's not a really Hard Rock. It's like they were like so far away from America. They were like, we could just open up a Hard Rock, right? Nobody's gonna say anything because it's like Australia. They don't come here. And so there was this illegal Hard Rock, which was huge, but it was like total bogus, right?
Right.
And I'm sitting
No
there,
trademark.
and I got my fucking back. I always have a little leather backpack thing, and I have it on the chair. And I'm fucking there talking to somebody. And at the end, I come around. I go, what the fuck? Where's my bag? And in the bag is like all my shit, like my camera,
Oh, yeah.
all that. I just came back from this trip. I had all my shit in there. and they had this fucking girl's number in there, and I was just fucking devastated. I was like, dude, I just went from
Oh, that was actually
like
going to
ready
happen.
to go hang out at this model. It was like they're going to be the best thing ever.
So the model chick set you up, right? Like that's why you got all your shit together. So she like set
She
you up.
said,
every
I
bad
go
rock.
meet you out here.
Yeah.
Here's my number. And it wasn't like we didn't even hook up or anything. It was just like she just thought I was cool. And, this American guy, I can have him stay at my house while I'm gone. And baby, I was just like, something's going to happen. This is going to be great. Oh, this is the whole new me.
I thought it was
Nothing.
This story would
You
be
need to
so
act-
I walked
much
around
cooler.
that. I walked around looking in every trash
She's
can.
not the reason
looking-
why your stuff got stolen, though, right?
No, she had nothing- no,
Okay,
she didn't
no
set me
way,
up.
James,
She set him
look
up.
at you.
No,
James, has this
no,
happened to you?
That's why he
She
bundled
dropped
all
you
this
and
shit up.
taken-
He's getting ready.
No, she
has
dropped
all
me
his shit
off.
together.
No,
these-
the
this was just
closer would
him.
have been. I saw her on television years later. She's completely famous.
No, it was Nicole Kidman, actually. So. No,
Shut the f-
She's wearing my
no,
hood
it
clip.
was not. But actually, I worked on her movie, though. And I was
Oh,
down
my
there.
God.
Her first movie
Jesus.
she was ever on. So
You know me.
yeah, first movie was called Emerald City,
Okay.
and I was working security. That was my big job.
So we're in the movie.
I was like hanging out, and then later I was like Nicole Kidman's first movie. And I was like, really? Oh, I didn't even know she was. I didn't know. I
Interesting.
sat in the alleyway looking at trucks. I was like,
Your,
20-year reference for Nicole Kidman.
I love it. Your degrees of separation
she's coming
from
on the
people
show.
are
Yeah,
wild.
she's gonna come on the show and talk about
She's
it next
gonna,
week.
yeah, that's gonna be one of
She'll
her.
be on Danny's show in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Vinnie.
Yes, Vinny
Thank
for the
you.
win.
I was gonna say she's gonna come on here and then she's gonna start her own podcast or something.
Actually, really, what you should have said is, James, what's it going to be like doing Danny's show again in 2 weeks? That would have been the good one. But
Oh,
Yeah.
But so-
okay.
Did he say his show was paused? Like he's,
Yeah.
yeah. Saying.
Never say that.
Yeah,
That's like
I know.
a death nail to a podcast. We're gonna come on sometime. It's like,
no, they're paying him good money at Champs right now. He doesn't have the
he
time
doesn't
anymore.
even need to do it. Is that what you're trying to say? We
No,
have Danny
he's
anyway.
just-
We have Danny anytime we need him.
He's a good guy.
We don't, he can just chill,
Yeah.
kick back, and collect a check.
Is he here right now? Because James,
Sometimes
would you like to
see
talk
him
to
in
Danny?
chat.
No, I've talked to him quite extensively. I used to
have?
sponsor his show, so.
Have you ever
Just
talked
relax,
to him?
bro.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, there he is.
Oh, Danny, chill out, brother. Chill out.
He's telling you to relax.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
no.
did you say that the show was only available in Colorado? Because I think it's available
This
in
show
other
is
places.
worldwide.
See, I mean that shit can happen. So we just want to make sure you were aware of that.
I'm from Cozumel. It's worldwide.
I got it.
That's right. We're an international show today. So
Look at
let's-
you handing him the joint again. He takes one hit off it, and then you see the color go away from his face for a little. He's like, "Wow, real weed."
Caca, caca, caca. Yeah, too much of that.
It does feel different.
So,
when I came back, getting high the first time was intense. I think I got high with you. That was the first time I smoked hash when I got back, and I was like, on the show,
Got back from
Round.
hitchhiking on LSD.
hitchhiking on LSD.
Yeah,
Damn, I
sounds
love
like
this
fun.
season, James.
It's
I'm having
seasonal.
so much fun.
Wow.
Damn.
Psychedelics are so cool.
Oh yeah, next week we've got, is it
Yeah,
the
the
week?
psychedelic science is coming up. Are you
You
going to
could
still
just
be in
hang out,
town for that?
Stay.
No, my DMT guy is coming into town. Right now.
My DMT
Okay, see,
guy.
that's it. Y'all, what a time to be alive.
Yeah.
I love this life. I'm so excited for it. It's going to be a great time. I got a ticket to it.
I think that's the first time
Are
I've
you
ever
all-
heard you say DMT. Don't you use the vernacular Deemers?
Oh, no. I'm a DMT guy.
Oh, okay.
I have done the ayahuasca too, so. And I've done Cambo, and I've done the frog, the buffo.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
going
in
deep.
Tulum. I'm in Cozumel. It's right.
Exactly.
Right there.
It's
Like,
every
got
weekend there's a-
shaman. There's one actually this weekend that I'm missing. It's
Are you doing them in- are you
Okay,
doing-
I
are
want
you
to
do-
come down for this. I would love to come and sit
Very
with
So are you
this.
doing the? Are you doing the?
I mean,
the-
it's a 12-hour puke fest. Or like,
Yeah,
That's
it's
what I was about
hard.
to
It's
ask.
not. People always are
it's
like,
not.
how
It's
is
not
it?
cool.
Do you have room
Yeah.
for Mark and
No,
Vinnie?
Think
I'm
about
good.
how often you
Nah.
like
No.
want to sit through
Nah.
5 years of intense
I barely want to
psychotherapy
eat mushrooms anymore.
on
so.
like integrating the weirdest parts of your life.
No, my
people,
shit's
that's
good.
not the most comfortable thing to do.
No, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible.
It's horrible. People are like,
Great
how's the
salesman.
last? I know people are like, how's the last couple years been? I'm like, a fucking nightmare.
Now ayahuasca
And also
it has
phenomenal.
DMT in it, but it's not it's pure DMT. Pure DMT freebase. You can to the moon.
I know, we did
You're
that with
fucking
that-
Brilliant and wonderful. You come back down 10 minutes. Everything's great. You can't die. Everything's great. Ayahuasca, you puke your fucking brains out for like 8 hours, and you do see things, and it is fun, but sometimes it's not so fun.
It's not really so
And it's 8 hours.
It's-
I was about to
It's supposed
say.
to be fun.
It's a long
It's
time.
Yeah, I was about
This
to
is-
say it's not.
It's like
Right,
ibogaine.
Mark?
Nobody's doing ibogaine to have fun. Everybody's
No.
doing ibogaine
Right.
to.
They work.
I didn't. I got nothing.
This is
Really?
the story,
Yeah.
Mark, that he told us about
But
eating
actually,
that
remember,
chocolate.
but I sat with
That's
Dunn, and we
funny.
did peyote together, and that was also not fun at all.
No, but that was why I quit drinking, so that was good. That was good.
Right?
Thank
So
God.
it's
I got nothing
Hold
else.
on,
transformative.
hold on. You did peyote, and that's your takeaway was you stopped drinking?
That weekend was, yeah.
And I didn't go in with that intention at all. I just went into it. I thought we were going to ayahuasca ceremony.
Yeah.
He was like, "You want to go to some ayahuasca?"
I thought we were just doing that. I was just told it was something cool.
And then
Lady told me.
I got all ready for that.
So I was like,
and then
cool.
I get in the car, and he goes, and me and Cece kept talking about ayahuasca, and he goes, "We're not doing ayahuasca, we're doing peyote." I was like, "Well, what the fuck, dude?" And then I was like, "Oh, peyote, that ain't nothing, right?" I was like thinking to myself, like, and then that's why it fucking got me.
got you.
It was like, "Oh, really?
It was
You think
like
I'm
real
nothing?
deal with like
How
some
about
elders.
that?
How about you're not drinking anymore?
Yeah, how about quitting all that shit?" And you're like,
Drinking,
"Oh,
and
fuck."
chewing, and eating.
But it was only because we were with two, and two was fucking a mess.
2 was fucking hilarious.
Exactly.
2 was too much.
And I mean,
was
basically,
too much.
you were a little funny too, though, because you were kind of pissed off because you were not there. He was thinking he was going for fucking fireworks and rockets, and he was like, "Where's all the? Come on, man!" And
Yeah,
then
not-
two.
I was not just fucking. I want to sit there in like a
and
teepee
he's
for
like-
like 12 hours.
And he's like, but you were the one paying for it, so you had to like
I know.
absorb it all.
I
He's
thought
like,
it was gonna be fun.
And he's like, "Oh, wait a minute, I thought this was."
You know what I mean? Thought it was gonna be a good time. Was not a
Exactly.
good time.
Well, and the crazy part about that was that like you know how when you come in it's all ceremonial, right? Where you have to go around to the
No,
left.
not everybody knows. Not everybody knows. They
no.
don't know.
And then right
So
away,
explain it to them. So
we
you come in,
completely
Especially
So-
I don't know.
okay,
So
so
explain to
explain
a
it to 'em.
child.
So when you come in, it's a teepee.
Yeah.
And there's elders in there, like 80, 90-year-old men who have been in there like chanting and praying. And like these other ladies have like chopped up this peyote for like 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, letting you know how painful it is and how horrible it is and how shitty it is to work with this shit. And they're cooking it and they're chopping it up. And these old guys are chanting in this teepee for like hours. And they came over like that morning and like 10 of them or 15 of them built the teepee in the hot sun. They're like sweating. And you're like, damn, okay. So like at the end, when the sun's coming down, you have to get in the teepee. And so you come in the TV's on fire, a big fire.
Not
in the
on
middle.
fire, but there's a fire.
Fire in the middle. and then you come in and they look at you and then I'll let you go from there. You can take the rest of it.
Oh, what? So when we fucked up? You mean? Right
No,
out the
so,
gate?
yeah, so we walk. Yeah,
So we all come in, none of us paying attention, of course, because that's how we roll, right? Like, oh, we're supposed to do what? Because I'm like, at this point, like I said, I had really no intention. I wasn't thinking it was going to be this intense of a fucking situation when I got
I
there.
was like, it's a little much.
And then we come in, and they have like a moon kind of made out of sand that they've been working on for hours, and it's like perfect, you know. And two just fucking barrels right through the thing, steps right on it, and you're like, "Nah." Like it was like, dude, you know. So that was the beginning, and they had to sit there and fix it, right?
Stop.
So they went and fixed it, which
That's right,
took
I
a
forgot about
while,
that.
and then
Oh
that
my
kind of
God.
like, okay, we're not the smartest crew, obviously, out of the gate. And the thing is, we were there. Okay, this is the other reason why we were kind of like
I forgot
a
about
little
that
bit
shit.
loosey, because it's like, what are your intentions? Because you have to come in there with an intention. And
You
our
know,
inten-
I
do
think
ayahuasca.
ceremony. You
And-
two are blowing me away right now.
and our intention
That was
was
crazy.
to protect cannabis from corporate like
Yes.
fucking
okay,
monopolies.
that's a very honorable.
Because we were brought
intention.
down there under the guise of that they wanted to grow cannabis and hemp on their land, and so the nations wanted us to like talk with them and help them find the positive aspects of hemp and what it would do for them.
So we
versus
stepped on
the
the
next big aspects.
So we stepped on the moon right
So we
away.
tromped the moon.
Trampled the
Ceremony.
moon, and they knew what that was. So they knew that was our thing. And the roadman that we had was dope, dude. He was super cool. You got to admit, like he was like a comedian almost, right? And he was funny. He was funny, and but he was doing everything proper. And at the same time, but then two's back was hurting him. And he was in bad. Both of you guys were like, this is
They want you to
sit
sit
down.
cross-legged for
Sit
fucking
down.
12 hours.
You hadn't lost weight yet either, right?
Oh, he was a big boy. then.
I'm out.
Yeah, that's
He
still
was-
It's
I'm so out.
uncomfortable.
It is
So
incredible,
out.
and it's not happy. I'm not high. It's
And
just
he was
fucking,
laying-
I'm just
I'm not
getting,
high.
getting
He was
fucking
kind of
yelled at.
He was kind of
by his
laying.
elders.
Yeah, they were getting a little bit pushy on him because he was in charge. So you were like, "Hey,
was not
man."
in charge, but they were like,
Yeah, you were sitting closest too. I took a perfect corner. I was like, "I'll be over here," right? And then so then they started bringing out the peyote, and they did them in three. So they had the fresh, the tea, the fresh, and the dry.
chewy shit. Yeah.
And the dry one. And so they'd come around, and then of course, two being two would try to take two every time. He's like, "Well, my name is two, right?" So he'd be like, and then he's taking two. Like, that's great. That's exactly what they want to see when you're coming around, right? So they were taking mental notes, obviously, and it's going around. And I swear to God, the first round, I felt like I was drunk. Like my head got super heavy, and I was like, had my knee up, and I was kind of like couldn't keep my fucking head. I had like a bobblehead going on, and I was like, oh, I hope this isn't what it's going to be like for the next fucking 12 hours or something like that, because it was kind of. But then it felt like every time it came around, I just like it got better. You know what I mean? Like the next thing fixed the first thing, because the first thing made me bobbleheaded. Then the second part that came in, which was I don't know, we started with tea, right? And then we went to fresh, and then we went to powder or something like that.
Yeah.
And it kept going in circles. And then
Horrible.
yeah, it was but there was young kids in there. It was a proper, like
Full-on
all the right people.
ceremony.
And then this is where it all goes kind of weird is that two goes, hey man, my back hurts.
I gotta go.
And they're like, what are you talking about? Right?
We don't open the door until sunrise.
Like, hey, dude, like if you have to go, you can go, right?
But don't go.
And pretty much, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he was like, and like,
I'm going. I make medicine for kids. I'm out of here.
yeah, yeah. But before that, now did he come back? Right?
I don't know.
Wait, he wasn't supposed to leave. He left, and he
yeah.
wasn't supposed to come back, and he came back.
I think so. And then he came back, and then
Yeah.
they were. So that was like 2 strikes. He had like the double strike going on, and then same thing, back hurting. And then at one point, the roadman was like,
Elder.
I've been run over by a Mack truck and fell off a horse 10 times.
Once I shot the bear, and
He's
the
like,
bear fell on me, and
My
I
back is
fell,
still
and the horse
broken.
fell on me.
Yeah, he told this
Feel that
story.
right there?
He told all these stories
And I'm
about
still-
why, and he's like, I do this every weekend,
And I
right?
still sit here.
Yeah, I sit every weekend. So, but if you must
You could leave.
do it, and then he did it. I was like, oh, like he didn't get the fucking.
And I wanted to. I was like,
Didn't-
fuck, I should
didn't
go.
get the lesson.
I want to go.
But
Oh, surprise!
then
Two
they
didn't
had.
get
Then
the
all of a
lesson.
sudden, it was like shifted over to the elders, who were watching us the whole time, and they were all his brothers and uncles and cousins or whatever, and they basically were like, "Hey, if you guys are," he's talking to 2, he's like, "If you're a weed man, be a weed man. Forget about alcohol, right?" And like, because he knew that was the underlying thing, and it was like he was going to him, and I was like, getting that message, like, oh shit, he's talking to me too. I'm a weed man. I want to be a weed man. He's like, he kind of made us feel like if we're gonna be representing weed, we've got to just forget about all that, right? And then while he was saying it all, it was happening, and I said to Cece, I go, hey, you know what? I'm going to quit drinking for like a month or something stupid like that. Like, didn't even make sense. And then like took me like 30 seconds to go, nah, actually, I'm just gonna quit. I can't do a month. That'd be done, right? And then the weirdest thing was that the next day, when we went down to because we went downtown and knew some guy who had a bar down there.
Downtown being like 10 stores.
Yeah, it was in Taos. This is in Taos, New Mexico. And he knew somebody down there, and we went down to this liquor store or whatever, and we were looking at the liquor, and it was like, dude, it's all looks super artificial right now. Like it was weird. Like all the labels were like bad. Like everything about it was bad. You could just see it. Like the bottles look shinier than normal and more weird because it was like a little afterglow or something. But it was like also like, nah, none of this is doing it for me right now. I'm not feeling it. And 2's like, dude, look at it. It's your favorite. It's your favorite hops, dude. It's Mosaic hops. And I'm like, yeah, that was because it was the key to me was that I kind of figured it all out. I was like, I know what I like, and that's when it gets dangerous as fuck because you're like, do you have exactly what I like? You know what I mean? Yes, we have it, sir.
Because 2 was making his own beer at that point.
Well, yeah, and he brought beer to the actual event.
He was upset.
In his hand, walking into
On a reservation.
where they're like, what the fuck are you
And say, hey, can I put these in the fridge?
Exactly.
And she's like, no. And I'm like,
That's
bro, you
too.
can't. You can't expect them to let you put that in the fridge, bro. And he's like, well, I gotta keep them cold. What do you want to do? Keep them in the car? I'm like, no, you shouldn't have brought them. Like
Exactly.
we're on a reservation.
That's how we started. That's how
illegal.
we
Like,
started the whole
This is not a good thing. Yeah, it's not a good way. I was like, hi, this is my friend. No, can you put his beer in your fridge? He knows that we just on an reservation and it's dry. But yeah, you mind?
And that was with
No
Jim-
judgment. There are so many
and-
levels. You
and
all are reminding
to
me
top
like
it-
how
to
many levels there are to this. Because
top it
sitting
all
in
off, it was-
ceremony is a thing.
Oh, it's a fucking thing.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about it. It was not cool. They grilled my ass. It was not
And
cool.
then and Gemma Star was also part of the whole thing there.
Okay,
And
I
she,
remember that
you remember, and so she was
It was that wave.
She was on MTV's weirdest, like one of these weird shows where they like reality show times that she was on there. You can imagine as a character. And I went to this bar where they were it was all the weed people there, and it was like they had her on the side of like buses for a while. It was crazy. Like and then all of a sudden I was like,
You met her through me, right?
yeah, and then I go,
Yeah.
well, but I was at her opening of her thing, so I didn't know her.
Right.
But then all of a sudden I'm sitting, I was like, wait a minute, are you the same? Oh yeah, you're the one that was on the side of the bus. And now you're doing what? No, she's pretty crazy. She's like out there doing bow hunting off of horses and stuff now. And she's
wow.
she's
I was
like
like doing free rides for hemp, you know.
That's what
that
Mark
kind of
does.
stuff.
That's cool.
no,
as
she's
shit.
she's a badass for sure. So it's one of those like it was an experience.
It's an event.
It was an experience
Yeah.
for sure, and I'm glad that it worked out good. That was like 7-8 years ago now or something like that.
Well, the way you
Cece
described-
and I sat with ayahuasca right after that, and it like came up so quickly. And
Yeah, I was not fun.
The way you
That's all.
described your feeling about alcohol after that is, to me, is the exact same thing that happens to somebody when they get hypnotized, except you didn't need the hypnosis. You told the part of your psyche that was bad for you, and thus you just never saw
Is
it
that
as
what you
anything
did? Did you
beneficial.
tell yourself it was bad for you, or like did you?
That's
just,
how he reacted
My
by
thing-
seeing
I
that,
mean,
going, "I don't
necessarily,
want it."
because
You know,
My
sometimes-
thing was that I was like, wait a minute, you can't be drinking until you're 50 years. Like you're getting like I was like maybe 47 at the time or something like that. So it was kind of like the perfect time, or 48. I think I was 48. Yeah. So I was like,
'Cause I think I
was
got
like, I got
close
2
with you
more
on
years
your
till I'm
50th.
50, and it would be pretty lame if I'm just like out getting drunk while you're 50. 'Cause it ain't doing anything good for you at that
Because
point.
you were drinking a bit back then.
Oh yeah, I had a few. It's great because you watch all the old shows. You can see I'm like big old. I was drinking during the show. I was like, gotta drink. Like, so, and it's just funny because if I see all the old photos and stuff, I'm like, yeah.
I met you
mixing
right
each-
after that, so I don't even know. Yeah, I met you right after you decided to stop drinking. So I don't think I've ever even seen you drink.
Well, everyone knows we talked about it on the show last week. It starts off here, and then I go here.
Goes right
and
to
then
the
I
shoulder.
Go here, and then I start drinking like off my own shoulder because I can't. It's so funny. It's such a classic.
So last week's show was pretty cool, huh?
It's from all the festivals that I was at or whatever. I was always like in crowds with beer, so I'd be like there to be like, but it's like people can come up to me and be like, "Oh yeah, Adam's pretty drunk. Look, he's got his shoulder on his beer like a parrot."
Stage 3.
I'm like looking at the beer over there. Hey, look at that.
Stage 3 done.
That's great.
I'll even do it now with non-alcoholic stuff just because it's habit. I start to curl my hand in with my drink if I'm standing too long. At
I feel
one
like
spot.
I
I'm
noticed
like-
you do that with even
I'll
if
be
you're
like,
holding your dab rig. I notice you do that.
Yeah, it's the old habits die hard, right? Look at that. Speaking of old habits,
I love
can't
it.
lose.
Thank you.
You should get them on the spot. You know it's not the right angle this time.
No, I just messed up because. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll work
let's
it in later
so
when
let's
I'm not paying
talk
attention.
James Bean for a sec. How's the new
How's
site
Seeds?
going? How's the new site? How's it?
How's
Yeah.
everything?
New site's going good. I think anytime. Well, you know, if I wanted a cool site that did cool things, like fucking. you
Beanie,
what
I know
Like-
Beanie doesn't know who I am, but
Well,
besides
no, he
that-
does now.
Hold on,
He said, "What you
Beanie
talking about?"
didn't know who you
Yeah,
were.
let's pull him
What
up.
did he say
James
now?
gave him a
Let's pull
brain
him up.
like
Did
the
he talk
Tin
about the
Man.
show?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, let's pull him up. Let's see.
Pull him up.
Hey, let's pull him up. What are you talking
You're
about?
on it, right, Jamie?
I'm talking to you.
What do you mean to do?
Go to seeds4charity.com.
Pull up Beanie on Seeds.
You know, it used to make
Do you
us
remember
feel
the guy that doesn't know me?
like the person you didn't pay attention to the show because there was a game going on. There's no athletics right now, and you still don't pay attention.
Yep.
He's here.
Are you sure?
He is. I appreciated the clarification.
Here's
too.
Beanie.
There he is.
There he is. Okay. So,
What are we asking Beanie? Look up, James, on the screen.
Ask him who's Adam Dunn.
Yeah, just whatever. Ask him who hitchhiked in Australia
No.
at this year.
What is it?
And-
Do you know who Adam Dunn is?
and could have
So
possibly.
that should just be a yes or a no question, right?
Nope.
He can search the web for more info on Adam Dunn.
Oh, no.
He actually just loaded it up right now.
You mean the baseball player?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
dang.
no.
Yes.
Still doesn't know who I am, James.
See, this is why we talked about
ask
somebody
him about
earlier.
blueberry strain. Blueberry strains.
Yeah.
What about blueberry?
Brewberry.
What
Brewberry.
about blueberry strains?
Brewberry?
Brewberry.
Jeez. Oh, man. Beanie let me down.
I love you're so funny.
We live it down. I
No,
love your
James,
site.
just the
Your
fact
site
that
is
you
What's going on
beautiful.
here?
Who
That's
created the blueberry strain? Adam Dunn is a big name in the cannabis world. He founded cannabis in Amsterdam in 1993 and became one of the largest cannabis seed distributors before Canadian and UK distributors
that is
emerged.
True. That is true.
He is
See?
also
Go, Vinnie.
he also co-founded TH Seeds, a renowned and award-winning cannabis seed company that has been around for about 30 years. Adam has been a key figure in advancing cannabis culture and seed breeding since the early 90s. If you want to dive deeper, here's a cool article about him and his impact breeding the culture. Adam
Oh, that's a
Dunn
good article.
Dang, okay.
and the second wave.
Oh my
There's also a weekly podcast called The Adam Dunn Show, where he talks about cannabis, culture, and trends.
With Mark.
Yeah,
Come on.
great.
Gotta
So
say,
good.
has to say MTI.
Pretty legendary
Now-
stuff, right?
Yeah, pretty
actually
legendary
great.
stuff. Need info about his seeds or products?
Did you just load that in?
Look, he says, did you just...
I mean, he's good with AI, but I don't think he's
No.
that good.
No, that was,
good. That was good.
spectacular.
That was good.
Good save, Vinny. Good
I
save.
wonder...
What's this? Oh, yeah, there's the article.
Oh,
Hey,
there
look
we
at
go.
Adam.
Okay.
Look at that. Drinking
Drunk
face.
Adam.
I'm probably drunk right there.
2 beers in.
Because I was up in
beers in.
Washington State.
And people
or something.
wondered
I
why
had
he
to
had
be drunk.
problems getting on a plane around 9/11, right? Like this is the guy.
Oh, the
You're
beard
funny.
wasn't even, it was much bigger by then.
This is a good article because the guy who wrote it is, well, those guys actually like
That bike is right
listened
over
to
there,
me
right?
for once. Like,
Yeah.
okay, we got it all in there. Boom.
Yep, pretty
That's
sure.
it?
That's cool. I was
My old
going to
bike?
say, is your bike right over there? Is
No, that was
the
my
same
old.
bike?
That's my old bike.
Isn't it? It's not the same one.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
go back
on
up. Go back up for a
Sage.
second. This is like me. Look at that. It's actually okay. There I am making hash, sitting there, screening hash back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's so funny.
1993, I guess. So
See, that's a great picture and lead into our guest today.
I know, right?
Oh,
Hash Cru.
I love
What
it.
was I doing? Where am I at? Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
And there's the first bubble gum.
Yes.
That was so
I
that
love it.
and that big giant so that Amsterdam poster was actually a thing I found on the street, which was huge, and I had it behind my chair where I do the trichome challenge, and it was all perfect.
Colorado
That's cool.
calls.
See, and then go back up, check it, zoom in on that, click on that fucking picture. This is what caused all the controversy with all. Dude, Adam had that. Adam has the CIA, and then he had the New World Order thing. He's obviously
Jackson.
Rothschild.
Illuminati.
dang.
Rothschild Illuminati. That was their proof
was
of
it?
my,
That's
of my
funny.
Illuminatiness. So basically, I had TH Seeds for New World Order. So I had Bush saying they got the best genetics, right? And then I had him saying it's the bomb, right? I had fucking Bin Laden saying it's the bomb. I had
Heavy duty fruity.
Arnold saying heavy duty.
Arnis
freedom.
Really pumped me up.
really pumps me up, and then I had
I spray my stinky pinky with my
Super Soaker.
super soaker.
See, I had fucking I was on it.
stupid.
I was on it.
He's so stupid.
And then I
You're
had the
way
Pope.
ahead of your time.
I was
Way ahead of your
Yeah.
time is
Those
what
are-
it
those are
is.
good
You're
icons,
Like
though, right?
He's always
modern
been
day
Adam
moonshiner
Good icons.
shit.
for 94, 95.
Yeah,
That's,
that's
not bad.
quality money right there. If you
Yeah.
find some of those,
I
that'd
was
be
on
worth
it.
money.
It's pretty good.
You could, anyway, no, it's a good article. Good article. I like it. So good job. You did that. Now let's talk
Okay,
about you. Let's
Beanie,
talk
we
about more
appreciate
stuff.
you.
Who's the best new breeders on your block? What's going on? Who's happening? I listened to Tom Hill on the podcast, on the
Yeah.
podcast.
Podcast. I can't
With
remember.
Mean Gene. It was funny. It was good.
Mean Gene's a good guy. He's fun.
Yeah, that was
we each got a lot of his feminized stuff through, which is cool. We got a lot of his regular stuff too, but a lot of his feminized at home. He asked me about selling seeds. I was like, hey, feminized. People are buying feminized. Because that's what they are. It seems to be the market these days. Feminized seeds. So,
Bad.
yeah.
Well, then you need to educate.
It's just easier, People don't want to.
Yeah, it's available resources and time and everything. People are lazy. It's just
And S1's at that, it's
Yeah.
just it's easy. You know what you're going to get across the board. And granted, you're going to be more susceptible with things across the board, but it's easy. And
Yeah,
so
but
there.
easy's not always the best way, is it?
No, then that's the problem. It's easy equals easy in equals easy out, right? So what you get in is what you're going to get
I
out.
mean, I say
You're not
that
gonna
knowing
find
that I
anything.
got a zillion things that I should be doing, and it's like, yeah, I probably should have done that too, more.
Should
but
is cognitive dissonance.
But
you
it's
do
also-
have to prioritize things in a way. If you're going to get a regular pack, you've got to prioritize paying attention and actually knowing your shit and knowing what you're working with. And there's a lot of new people. So how do you bridge that is by offering all of them, which is your site does, right? Don't you even have, you've got everything on there.
Oh, on my site?
Right,
Yeah. We've got it. As
So
far as
that's cool.
blogs and all that goes. We've got blogs, reviews, how-tos, articles.
How's the clone side going?
Good. I want clones. We sell them off the Seeds4Charity website as well. We do good. We've got 150, 180 clones. Then we just got the latest one is like Hot Donna.
Donna?
Oh, from that 70s show?
I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Hot
Nice,
Donna,
dude.
That's
Purple,
funny.
Purple Mountain, something else. But yeah, we got
Heck
a
yeah.
bunch. It's hard to keep up with all of them, but.
Do
yeah,
you
we're looking-
see an ebb and a flow though with people wanting feminized and people being open? Like, what do you see? Because you do have it all. And
as
you know-
far as well,
numbers
clones are-
numbers are going to always be feminized just because that's the people who are buying the individual packs. But when it comes to the auction, I'm sure people don't want feminized at all. They're probably looking all for the old school breeders and stuff.
Yeah, and the older packs, and that's something cool. The auctions too. We can talk about that. So, one thing that I didn't plan to get into be a big seed bank. When I first got into this 2010, it wasn't to be a seed bank guy. It wasn't like I had idols or fucking anything like that. I had no idea what I was doing. But I didn't. Unlike my Bitcoin and unlike my baseball cards, the longer I hold my seeds, they don't really acquire value. Like they die after a certain point in time. Like there comes a day and age when the seeds are no longer viable. And that's to be expected, right? And so the seeds that I've collected and have held on to since day one, the 2 packs of everything that I've had forever, those are now getting to the point where they're, if I got them on day one, that'd be 2010, 2011, 2012. Those are going on 10 years old. Yeah. And so it's like, but yet
More
I've
like
got,
13. But anyway. it's
right,
okay.
right. You know what I mean? Like that's the short side. But and so, but yet I've got tubs of gear. And so, what do you do with it? And so,
Well, I mean, now luckily we have embryo rescue going on, so people could theoretically buy packs knowing that they're old, take them straight to embryo rescue without even attempting to try to sprout them and have a much higher success rate. So
and what I've been doing on the site is that it's so since it's old gear, right? Like it's inherently it's going to not all germinate like it's supposed to. Like that's just flat out. I'm going to tell you right off the bat. That's going to happen, right? Like if you're expecting 10 out of 10 old gear, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And so you're buying the gear with the inherent risk that that's going to happen. And with that said, if you buy, and I'm selling it to you knowing that it's not going to all germinate. Like it's an old pack. I've had it for a while. I've kept it the best I could. It's been cooled. It's been kept the best possible. But the fact is, some of it is strictly because it's that old cool treasure shit. And to me, back in the day, at least when I would have a booth and somebody come up to me with like an old fucking canister that they've had in their fridge or something, I'd be like, oh my God, it's fucking amazing, right? Like you'd buy that shit for amazing dollars because that was like the classic shit. That's where the old stuff was. And this gear I have is kind of like that because it's the classic stuff that nobody makes anymore. That Exotic doesn't make its Kembo Kush anymore. Yet I've got probably 10 packs of it. But are all 10 packs going to germinate? I don't think so. And so what we're doing is on the auction, as far as that goes, if you're dissatisfied with the results that you got, let me know, and I'll make it right, and I'll give you credit towards another auction. So if you're dissatisfied, going into it that we know, it's to be expected 7 out of 10 aren't going to pop. I mean, 7 out of 10 are going to pop, right? We'll go 6 out of 10 should germinate, hopefully. Because it's 10 years old, some of the packs, and some of the packs are older than that. Some of the packs are 6 years old. But some of the packs, if I've had them in Oregon, then they were going to be, like the Obsolete packs. The Obsolete packs, the last time I got gear
that
from
was your
Obsolete.
first breeder you ever put on, right?
No, first breeder I ever put on was La Plata.
Oh, La Plata. Speaking
How
of
did
which,
you? I knew you were a
La Plata.
DJ.
See, look at that. Everyone gets excited to hear.
Josh,
Yeah, just
Josh,
great.
sidetrack. So Josh is great. Josh is a great dude. I ran my first dude out of gear. He didn't have any more seeds for me, and I was working booths with La Plata. We were working booths together at High Times Cup, and he was sharing a booth with La Plata. And so, and I needed a CBD strain at that time, and Josh had his Harlequin strain, which it was Harley Sue Canatonic cross. And so I was like, hey, I asked my guy if I worked with him. He said no problem. So I picked up Josh for his strain because he had that CBD stuff, and then worked out to get all the rest of Josh's gear and had such good luck with it, and then worked on my way and getting more and more. But for the first 3 years I didn't pick anybody because I was just repping my one buddy who was making seeds. I was just his salesman. I didn't really want to have a seed bank. I didn't need a seed bank.
Or the other way around, you were his first
Yeah.
guy.
we were both each other's first, I guess. You know, he was.
I love it.
Speaking of popping cherries, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Horrible
Whoop,
breakup and
there.
all. It was
He's
fucking-
blushing. Look at James. Look at
Yeah.
his cheeks are all
no,
red.
because it was horrible. It was the first guy. I didn't.
It was the first guy.
That was bad.
It's all
Oh, yeah.
learning.
Don't worry, we got all these drops coming later.
Oh yeah, no, it's first breed I picked up. First guy I picked up. He was a buddy of mine from high school.
So the first guy you picked up in high school.
Yeah, no, I,
Going in worse and worse. Every time.
yeah, no, I didn't meet him until the end of my DJ career. I didn't meet him. I wanted to get into the green industry, and he was making seeds. He's like, "Oh, I'm making all this shit," and I was like, "No, you're not. You're not cooler than me." And he's like, "Oh, they wrote this fucking article about me," and I'm like, "No, they didn't." And I was touring through fucking town, and so I was touring through Portland, and he came to a show, and he met me, and he had fucking jars, and you know, proof is that you talk all you want, but you bring me a jar, fucking, I gotta respect you. And so he brought me jars, and I was like, "Fuck." All right, you might be this guy, right? Like they might have wrote that article about you with that strain. For those that know, maybe Jackpot Royale, maybe they did do a fucking breeder diary on you. You might be that guy. Okay, cool. How do I get in? Right? How do I get into fucking weed? And I was growing at that point. He was like, well, I just make seeds. I don't sell seeds. I was like, well, I had enough DJing. Fucking DJing's rough days. All I do is sell myself, so I might as well sell seeds. So I bought the rights to Washington, and I opened up WA Seed Bank, which is Washington Seed Bank. But it had the rights, and so started selling distribution, selling the dispensaries. First, I had Mr. Nice Guy, which was my car delivery service, which I sold clones and seeds.
Mr. Nice Guy?
Mr. Nice Guy, yeah, I've got the
They
business.
had one
cards
here,
and everything.
too. There was always a Mr. Nice Guy.
Exactly. It's for the movie. Total ripoff.
Is it
Yeah.
before? It was after the movie, though, right?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
There was one that, remember the one that was here off the highway? Off I-70?
Yeah.
Mark, do you remember?
Mr. Nice Guy.
Mark's busy. Just
I
hang on.
know.
He's not.
Mr.
he's-
Nice Guy, remember that shop?
We'll deliver
Mr.
shit.
Nice Guy
Mr. Nice
off
Guy.
of I-70, that little weird spot down at the bottom there.
So I didn't,
Everything
I
off
did mine-
I-70
I did mine in
Dispensary that was
Seattle
like
and
super
Kenmore.
shady looking.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Mr. Nice Guy.
I remember
the
that place.
shadiest dispensary in all of Denver.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So shady.
I know exactly what you're talking
It's like
about.
right off the highway, but it was like in this weird little side cut, and it was like, what is going on?
It's
It had a
like
big
that
giant
little
smiley
neighborhood
face
that-
on
They
it.
turned a
and
bunch of like interesting places
Well,
over there.
a lot of
into
that neighborhood went away to make
Y'all
that new
we lived here forever, you
Oh, yeah,
know.
that big
above
Some of those
ground
places you're
park
like,
thing.
you don't hang out
Yeah.
over there.
Oh, now it's gone for
Now,
sure.
yeah,
it's gone for
You
sure
can't
now.
even
Oh, yeah.
see where it was. You'd be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, they dug down. That's where they dug it all out. Went straight through.
Yeah, so La Plata. Josh is now. Guess this way. Where's Josh? Josh, yeah. Guess.
Oh,
this
like,
way.
where's Waldo?
Yeah, is Josh in Japan?
I think he's somewhere weird.
Is
I haven't
Josh
seen. Now
in-
I want to
No,
look
not
and see
Japan.
where
It wasn't
is he.
Japan.
Josh in Singapore?
Yes.
Is Josh
haven't
in
been
Spain?
No.
Or is Josh in Thailand?
Oh, no, he
Yes.
could be
Thailand.
Thailand. Yeah,
Josh
Thailand.
is Josh.
Yeah,
Josh is in Thailand.
I knew
Josh,
it. Okay,
yeah.
that's right.
Okay. I
Oh,
haven't
good, because I got somebody going there next week, and I need to link up with people anyway.
What's Josh doing in Thailand?
Well,
Probably.
Josh is A,
Okay.
Dentist.
growing farming marijuana.
No.
B, farming microcrops, greens and whatnots.
that could be a thing.
No.
C, growing mushrooms
That could. Oh gosh.
for commercial purposes for restaurants and alike, and has
Ding,
contracts
ding,
for
ding.
like Costco-ish.
Yeah, that's
Oh
that would
yeah,
be awesome.
that's
Yeah, no,
in
you
the
had
right
too much
direction.
information on that
sounds
one.
like-
That would be good.
Yes.
D, getting high is going to marry some Thailand girl.
That too.
Probably combo of the
Both.
CD.
Yeah, C and D. C and D.
C&D.
C and D.
C, growing mushrooms.
Oh, yeah, we knew that.
Giant facility, fucking
Yeah.
huge
This
shit.
fits.
Like a
Heck
tenth of
yeah.
the cost for like his base nutrients and his base soil, whatever the fuck he has to buy the base things, whatever
Yeah.
the ground base stuff is. He was showing me a big room of it, but it's like this would cost me 40,000 there. He's like, here it cost me like 10,000. It's like, like 8,000. I was like, wow. So yeah, so he's happy. He's doing that shit.
That's awesome.
That's spectacular.
It's funny you mentioned your first, James, because when we first started discussing psychedelics, when things were really starting to move here in Colorado, when we knew there was going to be a bill, we started having Travis in. One day, I met up with Adam,
Yes, I remember that.
and he gave me this bag of mushrooms. It was really strange. They looked like tiny they were like this big, but they were fully formed. I mean, perfect dimension, but really small. And fuck, were they amazing. And I made the mistake of going, a friend of mine is coming into town. She wanted mushrooms on the way out, so I'll just give her this bag because I'm sure Adam can get me more of this exact same mushroom.
You should have known better.
I should have known better.
You'd never get rid of
Oh
those.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I've
And
done
when-
that before,
The only
too,
thing
though.
the only thing we could agree on
The one that got
is
away.
they came from La Plata.
Oh yeah, so
Okay.
you know, so he blew my fucking mind, like with his mushrooms. Like I've seen big mushrooms, I've seen a lot of mushrooms, but his shit was just off the chain. And he had variety. Like I've never seen fucking mushrooms like this.
Well, we've all learned now that bigger's not definitely better when it comes to mushrooms. It's like smaller.
No, some of those like
Because a lot of
Still,
times,
though, I was like,
a lot of
holy
times they have the
fuck.
same amount of.
they're still impressive
cubensis in
though.
them
Beautiful.
when they're this big, and then they expand, and it just spreads
They're
out.
all
It doesn't
spectacular.
necessarily become more dense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but yeah.
So they catch
that
them when they're
could-
small. It's like closed caps compared to open caps. You know how they
Yeah.
once they're opened up, they're kind of like even if it's just
They're still
psychological.
spectacular,
But when
I
they're
mean-
closed, you're like, dang.
I took
Wow,
like a
yeah.
pound of his penis in me to fucking Mexico with me.
You took a pound of penis envy.
Wow,
Okay, now
I
we got
love
more
it.
drops. Drops are coming left and
yeah.
right.
But also, it was Travis who helped us understand that you should grind your entire sample. That there can be a literal 10x difference in psilocybin between two mushrooms right next to each other.
Yeah.
And we heard him say that, and we practiced it. We met a guy in Las Vegas who had a pound of mushrooms from someone we knew were amazing. And he kept eating them whole, one at a time, and calling me up and going, dude, I know you connected me with that mushroom guy, but fuck, he sucks, man. None of this works, man. None of this works. And then he even went, he goes, I wouldn't want to get around that you recommended, somebody like him. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
We knew they were good.
And then a week later, he's like, all right, I got a little lower in the bag. I'm sorry. Ignore everything I said.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it could have had some bad at the top or something.
No, it's not bad. It's just that he's used to
Less than.
This guy. He was like a maybe 50 grand away from being the $6 million man with everything that's gone on in his body. So he had so much shit going on. He was using mushrooms for pain medicinally back in like 2019. Right. So this is.
It's weird though because you think like, for me, mushrooms amplify everything so much that I'm like, I would just like when we talked with Jesse, it was like, no, they don't always work because they make them like more
Sometimes
focus
it
on.
intensifies it, like a
Yeah, or you just
on.
become focused on it. You're like, no,
Yeah.
whatever that little. I mean, a little hangnail will fucking drive you nuts if you're tripping. You're just be like, that fucking like and all, Whereas with weed, it's a little bit more like you forgot about the hangnail because you got really high.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the opposite reaction.
Hey, come on.
Look at that. What's going on? Terp wipes. I thought he was bringing us giant buds. I thought he was.
No, he comes
coming
and takes our terp wipes, even walks in with that other fucking gizmo thing and sits there, doesn't offer any weed.
Nope, no weed,
nothing.
just hash. He smokes his hash.
Comes here, we entertain him for 3 hours every fucking Friday, and the endless fucking Instagram things that he sends, it's really taxing,
Dang.
So, we got about,
Don't hit me.
I don't know, a few minutes and then we're going to have our call-in guy, which is Hash Cru, which is amazing. You're not going anywhere. You're just hanging out.
Who's calling in?
Hash Cru.
Who's that?
Kaiser.
Are you
from
going to
Sydney?
that party tonight up there?
No.
Okay.
He's got his spread already figured out. He's chilling.
Yeah, I'll be at the spot.
Yes, at the Masonic Lodge.
Yeah.
Staying at the Masonic Lodge.
As
Right
always.
when he told me where he was at, I was like, oh yeah, it's like it's not 100%, but it has that vibe, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's cool.
got a total Masonic kind
Really?
of edge to it.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yes.
kind of cool.
Very
Okay,
Masonic. I know that real well because I am a Rothschild.
Yeah.
Of course you would know
According
that.
to some.
No, it's been proven.
It's been
This
proven.
man.
It's been proven in the court of not law. So I mean,
court
it's
of-
totally and it's been disproven and then
Proven
proven
and
again.
disproven.
Yeah,
It'll come back around.
It will circle, yeah. The,
Yeah.
Circles
the
around.
pattern will repeat
There's
at
somebody
some
in
point
the chat.
in a weird way.
Yeah, we'll bring it up. It's okay. Yeah, and then you know
It
what?
fits though.
You can look it
after
up. You can
seeing
go. You
that-
can go online, look it up, and you'll be, oh, look, it's true. It says it right there.
Well, in 2 weeks when Rothschild does a Danko show, we'll know. He'll out you.
That is right.
Right? Are there any alive?
That old
Yeah.
crusty one just died, didn't he?
Well, there are
We didn't
still
talk
some.
about it.
They're
Okay,
alive. They
yeah,
have
no, I
babies. They
You
can.
guys want to get canceled?
Huh? What?
Yeah,
What?
thank you.
Just saying.
Oh,
You just
Oh yeah,
exactly.
you're going.
Talk about getting flagged.
talk about dogmen and stuff like that. Talk about dogmen and
No, I
and
don't
the,
know what dog
and the ties to Lindsay Lohan, and then forget it.
What
We're
is
all-
this one? You went off the fucking rails there. What?
Dave off the rails. No, but Hash Cru is doing hash wraps, and he's got this thing called the Headhunter, which is a sieve that he's designed that is
I was looking on this
sick.
stuff.
It's got these like long slots, and then it's got holes and then slots above it, and it's like real paper thin. And
It's like a shake thing?
it traps. It keeps the trikes on top and traps it more. Traps the heads underneath. And it's looking. Yeah, that's just one thing. But then he's also 3D printing really cool things for in between your vacuum cleaner and shakers. So he's doing
nice.
like a raw run, and then take that and then cleaning it. He's doing static tech, but he's doing it on an even different level because he'll explain
It's a
more.
lot-
But
it's
he'll
a lot of
explain
shit.
more. But it's more like he's figuring out how to just delicately pull all that shit out of there properly. And again, like the only thing that sucks is that he makes me go like, fuck, I got to step my game up so hard now. Like I got to clean out my fucking room that I'm working in, and I got to build a smaller area and chill that even more. And it's just like, but it's okay. It inspired me because, as we'll talk about it, because I use a vac to do my de-seeder, and it's always full of hash when I'm done. It's full, and it's like I'm always like,
Why don't you point me to the static tech guy?
and I was like, oh man, how could I trap it? And then I get, fuck it, I'm too busy. Because then I saw once at Home Depot there was a pre-filter you can get for your thing. And I was looking at it and I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, that could be something. And then I saw what he did and I was like, dude, I'm sure, and we'll talk about it. I was like, I'm sure he got the exact same like epiphany one day because it's like, that's pretty much what
who has the best extract? Who has the best? Is it static tech right now? Would you say that's the best?
Static or something along those lines.
So we
yes.
just need to follow the guys of James Bean and allow them to come advertise on the show in exchange for some a static tech that you put you start
A
filming
static tech? What are you talking
a machine
about?
for yourself
No,
so
no,
that
no.
you're filming it every week on Patreon.
It's all in flux. It's one of those things where by the time I'm not going to go out and buy a $14,000
No,
machine.
he's going to give it to us, just like James Bean gave us all that money and
Oh yeah.
all that in exchange for
Look at these-
advertising.
Oh jeez. No, it's okay. I'm gonna learn from Hash Cru on the show today. What's the next step? Because I looked at his setup and I was like, "That's perfect, dude." That's
I looked
right
at
up
some
my
of it too. I was like, okay, this is cool.
It's
I'm
right up my alley.
excited.
I was like, this is right up my alley.
No bullshit. I was like, this is so up Adam's alley because, yeah.
And it's funny too because I really just am in the like the reality is every time you make hash, you're always like, this is all I want to do anyway. Like, what is fucking but flour's fun, but hash is better. Especially when you're kind of like seeing that the shelf life of certain things are so low, and if you're doing anything more than a square meter of it, you're gonna have too much at some point. You know what I mean? So it's always nice to have an avenue for everything, and hash is the perfect weed avenue.
Hash is great.
And Colorado's great because it's so dry and fucking. Like I wouldn't do it in
Yeah,
Mexico.
it
Couldn't do it in Minnesota. And I'd be like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. It's costing me thousands of dollars to make my room proper.
Yeah.
And here it's like, all I have to do is do nothing and just
yeah.
stop, turn everything off, and it will go like temperature. Well, it depends on the time of year, of course, but temperature if it's cold out, and humidity just fucking falls off like a rock.
Yeah, it's dry.
if I turn
it
off
wants to be hash here.
Yeah, exactly. It's telling you, like, dude, don't even try.
Yeah.
Because that shit, it's like a uphill battle.
No, I'm excited for tonight. I think it's going to be great.
We're going to go a little bit later because we started later because I was late.
It's very hashy.
And then we're not going to do Patreon properly because I'm going to have to go get prepared for the thing tomorrow. So we're going to play some, actually, which is really funny is I think Vinnie's got like an evergreen,
I was going to say, isn't it like...
And his evergreen is him and two talking for literally like 2 hours. So it could be the most entertaining show ever in
Two is
existence.
phenomenal.
Ever in existence because it was such a good
funny
conversation that
character.
Vinnie actually kept it and was like, I'm just keeping that because that's gold right
This
there.
matches Vinnie, too.
So if that I'm not
I
sure if that's
love this.
happening, but if it does happen, that'll be totally
No,
worth
he
it.
said he has this on video. If we wanted to show it, we're
This
more
is
than
Adam's
welcome.
dry sift, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's and Adam has all the
Well,
it's funny
I was
if you're smoking with Adam. He has every tool.
No, I don't.
What?
Right
Look
now,
at this.
No, this is old.
We're MacGyvering
This-
things
We're
tonight.
we're being
I
like
know.
we're
Yeah.
being like our guest where we're just MacGyvered up today.
Not usually though. Where you?
Are
did
you
leave your
nervous,
dab
James,
tool-
actually sitting there on camera and anything? Because
No, looks
Was
like
it a
he's
long
always
flight?
working.
You were thinking about the next project, about how you could program Beanie right now?
No, although AI is pretty fucking amazing though, as far as it grows and all that good stuff.
Here we go. Now we're going.
Yeah.
AI talk. That VO fucking thing.
It just
is
did
crazy.
everything. Yeah, do images. I said, images making.
It's kind of moving a little too quick.
It's gone.
I'm a
It's
little-
gone.
I'm a
Wait,
little
wait,
bit-
hold on. Before we
Now-
get into it, if you were to give it, because people used to ask me this about the cannabis industry, they're like, where do you think it is right now? And I'd make a joke, I go, bottom half of the second inning. You know, if AI it was a person,
Oh, it's barely a
I would
baby.
say it's a few cells in a woman's belly.
On a scale of where it's going to go, or as far as
Correct.
how far out of control it is.
No, I don't think it's there yet. I think it's just we
it's on
have
its
just
way.
basically
A
seen.
couple cells inside a woman's belly is infinite universe.
No,
Right.
it's-
So,
it's- I think it's
like,
born
it's
already.
like-
at this point, it's being born for the first.
Yeah,
time.
So it's alive
like,
right
it's
now.
Still,
Oh, it's out
it's
there.
it's out there.
And do you think it's
already-
an infant?
It's already figuring out how to turn its like. There's like this
I
one
think it's
system where they had
figuring
it where it
out
was like
infinite
So just every
possibilities,
four
probabilities.
months it gets smarter. It increases. That's its lifespan.
So
they're
it's 4
hiring
months.
they're hiring experts in fields to come in and train AI.
it's already trying to escape
Yeah,
though,
it's
which is
like-
funny because it's like there's like ones where it's
Just keep in mind, this is the stuff that they let us play with.
there's already ones where like they're
Wait,
like
wait,
yeah,
what
but
do you
just turn
mean?
it off and it's like
Like
no,
this
you
is the
can't.
stuff they let us play with.
This
So
is
there's
like this
so this
other-
is the shit that think of the shit that they don't let us play with.
Oh, it's out of control. Yeah, anything.
Like this is the shit that's been released
I
to the
mean-
general public.
They had.
Dun, 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 dun,
they
dun,
had-
I'm just saying,
Dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
it's amazing.
Skynet became self-aware.
No, it's already.
June
I'm telling you,
5th,
it's already
June
lying.
6th,
I am like
2025.
bionic
It's
in
already
my body.
lying.
Yeah.
It's already lying and doing all sorts of crazy
But you've
shit.
been using it. If you've been using spell checker, you've been using AI, predictive
I don't.
learning, because
I
it knew that
stay
you were
away
gonna
from
spell
everything.
check
I'm still like
you
the old
spelled
man.
with.
I don't want to touch AI. I'll just only do.
Does Adam
memes.
respond to
I only make-
anybody?
images and memes is all I'm doing right
the
now, but
heck
I'm not talking to it. I'm scared to talk to AI. I'm scared
I
to go,
thought we
Look
were.
at
what's going
AI
on?
has a pretty good grasp on who you are, though. You've shared a pretty good amount of.
No, when James
Well,
just
the
said
internet has
spell
shared.
checker, I thought we were programming AI for years when it would say, pick the bicycles out. You know, pick all
It
the
is. That's us
verified-
training AI.
Pick all
Yeah.
the things
Yeah.
that contain a fish.
Yep.
You know, that was
So
training
busy.
to
Yeah.
eventually
Yeah, of course.
destroy us.
Oh yeah, no.
100%
Like they
true.
use the YouTube
100%.
algorithm.
No,
They
you're-
use
you're-
Google
yeah, that's
Pictures.
You're
exactly
right.
what it is.
I mean,
That's it. You were doing Skynet.
So think about all the
Skynet.
images that are on Twitter, right? Like who owns that? That's Grok, right?
Owns it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who owns the Chiefs?
Who owns OpenAI? Microsoft. So every image on Bing, every image of Google is up there. Knowledge is out there. Is now indexed.
Hey, great.
Boo.
Just saying,
It's getting
Right.
harder and harder to get out of anything. You're just
Well,
like,
there was a thing going around that showed all these images of a
It's
person
not
with another
bad.
person, and I sent it to a friend of ours, and who definitely would have loved it if it was true. And he even wrote back. He goes, "Some of those are AI."
of course.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean images are.
You know
as
where-
far as
you
that's
know-
gone,
you know
but
where it
you
all
can
went
do
wrong?
voice cloning. You can do.
Do you know where it all went wrong
Where?
pre-AI? Is when they sealed the fucking battery in the phone. That's when it all was wrong. That's when everything went wrong. Like that's the
When
moment.
you couldn't change your battery out.
Yeah, that was when everything got weird.
You
Like
couldn't
like,
kill it.
You're like, wait a minute. So they won't let me do that.
Yeah, I
and then
won't
that's
even-
when they were like, people go, dude, they can control your camera. You're like, no way they can't. Now it's like, of course they can. Like everybody's like, obviously they can. Like, hey, what's up? If you haven't
That's
got
like a
tape-
part of your contract now.
And
If you
our-
have this phone is like constantly recording every part of like.
Of course, all day, all night.
Hey,
and so
Siri.
it's like, picking up everything around. It can do, they have LiDAR in these fucking things. It's like kind of crazy. So you,
LiDAR.
yeah,
What do you mean LiDAR?
it can pick up everything in the room and fucking figure it out the room. And
Yeah, it's all connected, my friend. Come on, are you
I just didn't know what
serious that
LiDAR
this-
meant. I know it was listening to us because we did the oboe test years ago and it happened.
LiDAR is like what they use in Teslas to see people on the side of the road jumping out and trying to kill you and stuff. And like, "What?"
What's that he's wearing? Is that an Apple Watch?
Yeah.
He's a drone. He's a drone.
I'm Apple.
That's so the drone can get you. Like when they want to get you, they zoom in on your phone. And
They know all my shit. That's where I'm at. Don't,
They
yeah.
Oh, on Netflix they have that 3-part thing on how they got Osama.
Oh no, I
It was
watched
fascinating.
The digital murder stuff. It's hilarious. Like they know where you're at, like through phones, through people's.
Oh no, they pretty much
nests,
knew it was him because he
everything.
never looked up. That was what they came down to it. They're like, look, we just think it's him because he knows we're looking at him and he doesn't look up, so it's got to be him.
You know.
You know?
Speaking of drones, holy shit! Talk about the new world. Who needs $1 million bombers? Good God.
But did you see?
We do, I
Did you
guess.
see the video that they were showing flyovers where the planes had like way too many engines and stuff, and you're like, AI. Once again, they pretended like it's some bullshit. Some of it too. So you're like, and apparently it wasn't even an active place. A lot of those were all just like a graveyard. like
So basically, the next conflict is going to be fought between AIs making other countries think shit is happening when it isn't really happening, to get them to flinch first.
That's why they have the red phone.
That's why they have the red phone?
So they can call each other and say, hey, did you really fucking just stand there? Because I will push this motherfucking button.
I'm ready
Yeah,
over
dude,
here.
tell me you fucking pushed that bomb towards me. My thing say you did this.
I wonder if the button looks like it did from Spaceballs, where it's right next to the Mr. Coffee button.
That's funny.
It's like that meme with the guy sweating.
It's like, this picture fucking looks real. I was calling you, let you know.
Yeah, well, that was the Matthew Broderick
how
War
about,
Games.
How about,
Stop bullshit.
how about
Would
Mike,
you like
Mike
to play
Myers
a
being
game?
a CIA asset? That's the best.
What?
Really?
You didn't hear about that?
No.
You heard about that, right? No. So Mike Myers came out in the Diddy trial that he is a
Oh, the Diddy
CIA
trial. Wow.
asset, that he was working, like he was basically taking on a private tour of the CIA, and they made arrangements and everything. This woman that
Wait,
came
this was disclosed in open court? This
Yeah.
is in testimony right now?
Yeah, yeah. And it's like everybody's like, oh, and it's so funny because you're like, Austin Powers was a real spy. It's like,
Shut
this
up.
is fucking hilarious. It
Are
only,
you sure this wasn't AI and you just
No,
read it?
This is real. This is real, and it's funny because there's the one scene where he's on the balcony and he falls down and he pulls down the dude's pants, right? And then he's got a tattoo on his ass and it says Diddy, and like they did a zoom in on that. It's just like it's so fucking. It's all written into the thing.
You know, I'm all about the predictive programming of it all. I'm like, of course they're showing you. Like, what are you?
Then what about the thing I posted
and then
today?
Beyonce, of course, is in it and doing her thing. So it's like you're like, oh my
Of
god,
course, this all
yes.
fits.
It all fits. It all makes sense.
So Rosendogs, you got your wish. Cannabis podcast didn't talk about
We're
cannabis at
staying as
all.
far
Talking
away as we can.
Conspiracies.
Yeah, we really
We're on
are. You know, I
conspiracies,
love that
hitchhiking.
shit.
Yeah,
What
pay
else we talking
attention.
We touched some cannabis.
LSD.
We touched. No, we let.
the
that's why-
psychedelic science
That's why we have a
conference.
guest. No, we're gonna talk hash.
No,
in a
and
second.
James is
Let's
here.
talk. Let's
We're
talk.
talking
What
hash.
happens if you take an F3 and you use another F3 and you make it a F4?
It's an F6 then, right?
Well, yeah. What do you mean when it happens?
So what did Brothers
You're
Grimm
just
just
moving.
do?
You're moving down. Well, it can be the miracle. The whole thing is that
So did Brothers
it
Grimm
doesn't
just
get
have a,
better.
did Brothers
It doesn't
Grimm just
get.
have a release?
It doesn't get better necessarily. There is sometimes just a point where you're like, hey, guess what? It's perfect. But usually F1 is great. F2 and 3 tend to be kind of more work around stuff because things get a little bit more scattered. F4 you start to see more clarity. F5 you should be there. There should be no reason to go any further at that point technically. And if you are, you have some specific thing you're really shooting for. But for the most part, you're kind of usually at that point should see some homologous attributes going at that point.
All right, Mark's back now. Do you want to tell him everything he missed?
Oh yeah, a lot of conspiracy stuff. We were really going off the rails.
Yeah.
I'm glad I missed it all.
Yeah, I had to do Diddy facts.
Yep. The total sofa bab.
Oh yeah, you would have loved it.
You're so
You would
funny.
have loved it. You would have loved it.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
good.
We went full sofa bab for about
was
7
spectacular.
minutes.
Mike
good.
Myers is a secret agent. You heard
Yeah.
about that?
Did you know Austin
you
Powers
hear
is
about
Austin
that?
Powers?
Yeah.
The Diddy stuff?
All that
What's going on
stuff.
here?
Did you?
No.
Shut up. Be serious.
Why would you
are
even
on
want
the
to watch
web-
that shit? That's going to be.
Oh.
I mean, it's all over everything, isn't
Don't
it?
watch it. You didn't have a television. How do you know?
I don't because I have been on the interwebs more lately.
I just got the surface level stuff. I didn't get the behind the scenes.
Me.
Oh, behind the scenes. Oh, baby
That's
oil.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The behind the scenes.
Anyways,
Anyway,
I'll,
this is great.
no
Glad
nail
to have you
polish.
back, Shitty Jamie.
Wonderful.
Straight up.
Do you want to talk conspiracy? Did you
Short
know now
F3,
that
short
anytime you
F3.
cross a border, they can take your phone and make you unlock it and
Yeah, I
search
know.
it?
You sent
Yeah.
me that thing.
Yep.
Is the paranoia running deep on the show? Is that what's going on?
I don't know.
Paranoia,
not?
self-destroy.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
shit.
we're old.
Fuck. We are. You're going to be
Dang,
older.
You guys make me feel
Oh, I went to.
young.
Adam's
I
gonna
went
be
to the. I went to
56.
I
the
don't even know what that
I went
is.
to the post office today, right? And I walk up and I talking to the guy, right? And doing that little small talk.
Yeah.
And
You
talking
talked to
about.
someone at the post office?
I do. I talk to the guy because it's I'm an
Old.
I am an
Old
tiny
people
little
talk to
kid.
people at the
Engage with other human beings.
That's what we do. So I go in there, right? And it's like a little tiny post office, and I'm mailing my thing, and I'm like, might as well make some. So I basically talking about. We talk about kids, of course, right? So my kid never comes out of his room or something, right? We're
Let
like,
me show you. I got it in my phone. He showed me. He got it.
and I go, oh, how old are you? He goes, I go, I'm from 60. I go, I'm old or something because I couldn't see the thing. And then my glasses with me or something. I go, I can't see the screen. He goes, yeah, getting old or whatever. And I go, yeah. I go, how old are you? Right? I'm looking at this guy. He's got a beer belly. He's like all gray.
37.
And I'm like, what year were you born? And he goes, 71. I go, dude, I'm fucking older than you. Like my brain just melted at that point. I was like, holy fuck, dude, you look terrible.
You just
like,
let yourself go.
I did not say it, but it was like, damn.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
I was like, I'm 60. I was born in 69. I go, my birthday's next week, so.
I have.
No,
good.
you look phenomenal.
But yeah, it wasn't. It was. I didn't. Yeah.
There's a question in the chat that I'm actually interested in.
Here we go.
Are seeds' gender predetermined during cultivation, or does it happen after harvest? What?
What?
You mean after? They meant after germinating, right?
yeah.
Are
Must
they?
be germinating.
Mu-
It's uncut bush.
He's
Yeah,
out of his mind. He's either fucking with us.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I
think
I
it
didn't
is-
read the very end. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I would have just.
Yeah, because
said,
I was like, wait a
what
minute.
is that? Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
But there is I can take this somewhere and make
Take
it
it
into
somewhere.
an actual
Yeah.
good answer.
Let's hear it. I want to hear.
Okay,
Please.
seeds are indeterminate to a point, depending on their environment. So if you have a proper environment, you'll have a higher percentage of females, right? If you have a inhospitable, you'll have higher percentage of males because the males can pollinate a fuckload more than the chances of a female getting pollinated. So the plants kind of go into that mode. So if you have cold soil, like you have cold plants, you get a lot more. You get a lot more males if you have cold soil. If you make it too hot, you're going to get the same problem. But if you have it at the correct temperature, everything good, you'll get just a solid amount of females because it knows it just takes one male to hit all those girls up. Whereas if it's the other way around, it's like as a desperation attempt, it'll fucking put out more males that could pollinate a mile away.
Interesting.
Think about it, survival of the species.
So there is. It's kind of like during wartime, you have different ratios of male to female because women are under stress. There's a lot of cortisol going through their body at that time. So while they're pregnant, their body's like, you know what?
Yeah, it's a
we don't
fertility
need
thing.
any more of those. So you end up with more females born instead of males. So you don't have because it's like they know that can make more later. You know what I mean? Procreate because you're just about the survival of the
genetics.
Of the genetics. It's not like, oh, you know what? So if times are good, it'll produce more of this. Times are bad. So it's kind of like that. So there you go. There's a real answer from a dumbass
Fuck yes.
question.
Dumbass question. Yeah.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
I think he just.
We
I think he
appreciate-
just mistyped some shit right there.
Stoner type.
Sure. I don't know.
I don't know.
It sounds like a smart ass kind of.
It could be kind of smart ass.
He's usually-
I just came into this conversation too, so.
To pay
Sound like
homage
bait.
to someone who we've had on the show, Joe Stapleton. Thank you very much for your question, Uncut Bush, and your band. Ban 'em.
Okay.
Band.
Easy.
Dude.
Dick.
Wow. That went hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't even.
I'm built too low.
I don't know what happened. Oh, you know
It's
what?
Uncut Bush. He has a wrench
All
next to his
for it.
name. He'll just unban himself.
So what's the proper temperature for soil?
Well, it's a range. I mean, it's not going to be
It's a
exact,
range.
but 72 would be kind of like your sort of
So,
baseline.
right.
You don't really want to go too cold. And once it hits like in the 45 is when you get in the critical
I was
zone.
doing 69.
69. Look at him. Oh, sweet spot. 68, 69, 68,
Okay.
68 to
But there has to be
72.
more than just temperature that goes into it. The species has
That's-
been around for
Well,
so.
that's, I mean, obviously humidity and all that kind of stuff, but really temperature
Sweet
is the
spot of
key
soil.
to the whole thing as far as like, knowing what conditions are. Because if it's like,
It's too cold in that shit.
So do you try and keep your soil at a certain temperature, or do you just try and keep the room at the right temperature and then
if
hope
it's on,
everything
you're
goes?
talking about a room, as a room, yes.
Okay.
If you're on clones and you're in the cold place like here, I have to keep them on a heating mat so they don't drop below a certain ratio.
Oh.
So that's kind of where it's critical because
In the
that's what
summer, I
we're
used to
talking
add
about. We're talking
ice
about
to my
seedlings. We're
cloners.
not talking about grow rooms.
Gotcha.
Seedling. Once they're going,
Okay.
they're going.
They're
You're not
going,
going to like
right.
switch over because you fucking made the room too cold.
Okay. I get it.
But if you do a light leak, you could do that. you can do it. It's possible. And temperature actually could do it if it was like the really
Extreme.
pissy plants and you got up and downs and craziness. It's going 90 to 0 in the same day 3 times over, or up and down.
That is a thing in Colorado that can sometimes
seeds,
happen. So
hell.
you
Yeah,
do need
so
to be
then
mindful of it. Yeah.
So you could get issues like that, but usually light is the number one herm issue.
Always, yes.
And that's strain specific also because sometimes you get plants that don't give a fuck.
Some are super touchy here.
More indica, more sativas tend to be super like responsive just because they're like if you're thinking of sativa as a real category, but pretty much like all equatorial plants are used to a 12-12. So when you start fucking with them, like 14-10, or you know what I mean, then it's like, what the hell?
Yeah,
and
what's
so
going on?
those will throw nanners quicker because it's also inherent in those lines. Because like if you think about Thai plants, they're like notoriously
Throw nanners,
Wow.
you mean go hermaphroditic?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Throwing nanners.
Throw in nanners. That's the
Term meant for
breeder
bananas.
terminology.
And a lot of times those nanners, which literally
It
look like
yellow bananas.
fucking bananas, when you're like, that is a fucking banana. They're different than male flowers. Like
Yeah.
true male flowers actually look more like a cantaloupe shape, and they will, but they do produce pollen, and they will fucking fuck your shit up. But they just have a different shape because those are truly like you can tell that's a hermy plant where it's. And sometimes you'll even have them aggressive where they're like, holy fuck, like thousands of them. You know what I mean? And then you're like, that is 100% unstable.
You gotta
not
go.
good.
You gotta go.
That's got to get the fuck out of it. I had it once
Get
with.
the fuck out, quick.
I had that once with Soma. Come on now, Soma. He gave me some clones of Rockbud, and it was and like I had these plants, and they didn't grow at more than like 2 feet tall. They were really small, so I couldn't really get on my knees and like
Right.
look at the plant every single day and make sure there was no hermaphroditic plants. And fuck me if they did not, like every single plant on this certain like fourth node underneath was like a cluster. It wasn't like one. It was
clone
like,
of shit
it was like a
plants.
fuckload, like cluster, and it was under the bud and under the leaves.
Hidden.
And it was like I didn't see it at all until like what the hell? Why are these plants all fucking red and like weird looking? And then I was like, oh no, they're all seeded. So then I was like, dude, called him up. I go, dude,
You're a dick.
what happened? And it was like he goes, oh man, how'd you do it? And I was like, what do you mean? How did I do? I just grew them. And he goes like, no, I've been trying to like make those plants do that.
I got a whole bunch for you, buddy.
And I was like, exactly. I go, so I got a bunch of seeds, and I brought them over.
Yeah,
And
so
then
good too.
the shitty part though was that they produced
lied.
like the worst little seeds. Like they were
Oh.
these little thin
Well, you were
shelled.
growing them to grow seeds.
No, and it wasn't like they just didn't
Oh,
make
that's true.
nice looking seeds. You know when you get these flat shells?
No.
You ever see them where they're
Nope.
not
Yeah.
flat? Like I mean, they're still seed shaped, but they're not so plump, and they don't have a proper.
Nope, we don't buy those.
It was like,
know
and
what
so
those
he,
look like.
I was like, man, there's are like, I made a lot of them, but there was not a lot that I would sell.
Did
So it's
you
kinda-
pop any of them just to see what was
we,
what?
they germinated, but the problem was that they didn't like he even like started picking them up and squishing them. Like, yeah, they're squish. They're just there's nothing to them. You know? I was like, hey man, just stop popping them.
10 cents. Show me money.
And yeah, they just had this weird like thin shell on them. I was like, ah. But his answer, it was like he tried to hypnotize me. He was all, "Wow, man, how'd you do it, man? I've
That's
been trying to do
amazing.
that for so long." And I was like, "No."
No.
I put them in soil and gave them water and light.
And it wasn't the problem of them; it was the problem of all the other fucking plants in my place. Because it was like that was just like I just literally got some from him,
So that seeded everything.
and I just to fill in a gap. You know what I mean? And it was like, no.
Because everything wins the jackpot. Everything gets seeds. If one has them, they all get them.
Yeah.
Exactly, and it, again, like it did, but it was 100% that plant that produced those thin things because
Yeah.
it was like on itself. The other ones were alright, but and I grew some out, but there were it was bulk crap.
What year was that?
I think about 98 or something, maybe 98, 99.
He should have known better by then.
So I don't know what's going on with our guy.
Who's your guy?
I know he had
Oh.
Kaizen from Hash Cru.
Oh no!
He had-
Everyone realizes
There's
it's
someone
just-
here, but
Oh, there he is.
is that someone?
Looks like hello.
Oh yeah, I've been here for about 20
Oh my
minutes.
gosh, I haven't even
I've
been
just
paying
been on
attention to
mute.
this.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Well, welcome.
Okay, well, welcome back.
You had it on
Yeah,
mute.
man, I'm on
we
point,
want-
man. I got on at 8:20 for I don't know.
Did you hear us
25
talking
minutes
about you
before
then?
I was supposed to.
I said you.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah,
You
in fact,
didn't even.
Dave even acknowledged that I was here, and he's
Did
like,
you?
"Yeah, he's here."
Dave, you.
I-
Shut the
I didn't
heck
know
up.
he was
I'm
here.
so sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
my bad.
I
entirely.
thought I heard Dave say that I was here.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
welcome.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
If
I'm
I
sorry.
did, I was
it's that hash
joking.
piston that's still on the table that got really high, got too high.
Yeah. No, man, I actually have abstained from getting high, so I didn't get too spaced out and forget what was going on tonight. So
That's all right. Well, we started late anyway, so that's fine. We can run.
Oh,
this
that's
show.
right. Yeah, we did start at 5 o'clock, so we have an extra half an hour.
We're all on a weird schedule. Welcome back. I
appreciate you having me on the show. I've just been here putting sieves together anyway in the basement, so I'm working away.
Awesome. That's always
Heck
good.
yeah.
Multitasking is a good way to do stuff.
Yeah.
So we were having a hash bash over here, and it was just kind of like, oh, I just checked your site, and I was looking at what you're doing, and I was like, all right, or looking on your page. And I was like, dude, I got to get him back on because things are progressing quickly here, and I'm feeling like I'm getting left in the dust once again, where I didn't I didn't embrace, making rosin too much because it was kind of like, I got other guys who make it good. I'll just get it from them type deal. And I don't have time I don't want to go get a freeze dryer and add more toys to my thing. But then I saw what you were doing and I was like, dude, this is right up my alley. I got things I would invest in, and the tech you're doing is awesome. So let's chat a little bit about your Headhunter screens and all that kind of stuff, because that's all pretty much since the last time I talked to you, right? I mean, seems all fresh.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember when you had me on the show on the hash trap stuff, but
it was in Spanibus time.
Yeah. So over a year ago. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've been working on the Headhunter screen thing for a while now, probably a little bit over a year, and mainly just trying to figure out how to get rid of the stocks and make a pure head collection. And I think I was reading Rob Clark's book and reading the part about the laser cut sieves and whatnot. And I just happened to have a couple of laser cutters. I was thinking about it and thinking about soft sieving, and just thinking to myself, man, we need a sieve that's shaped, like a trichome stock. And so I started looking into it. And the first thing I looked into was woven screen, because there's some different woven screen patterns out there that have sort of the elongated slots in them and whatnot. And I looked into getting the woven screen made, but with more like 600, 500, and 750 micron slot openings. There's another guy that just made one recently that's only got 160 micron slot openings. But I didn't have real good success with the woven screen, and I tried the laser cut next. And the laser cut screen actually worked really well, but it's crazy expensive to laser cut. And the other issue with the laser cut screen was it was so thick that it would bind up very quickly. Mm-hmm. And so I just kept working on manufacturing, and I eventually found some techniques where I could get that, sort of slot opening like you see on the screen that I released that's commercially available. And
So because it was funny back in the day. Like I remember Rob telling me years ago about how stainless screens were actually more aggressive and kind of popped a lot of the glands as they went through, because he was like, oh, if you look at them under a scope, they don't look so. He was explaining how laser cuts, you had to go laser cut. Like we never saw it, but we talked about it, right? And so I saw it, the same thing, saw it in the book with the round holes, laser cut, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, especially back in the day, it was kind of like, how the fuck are they doing that? You know what I mean? Like that seemed so out of control as far as the ability to produce such a precise thing. But then I saw your screen and it being even thinner looking and having multi-layers, it was pretty intense. I sent a video. I'm not sure if it's the exact one, but I sent the one to Mark. Did you see that? Did you see that video I sent you from the Instagram?
No.
I'm so excited.
All right, I sent him so is the evolution of the screen kind of complete, you think, or is it still kind of in work in flux?
So I pretty much, so everything's always a work in flux. My whole philosophy, the Kaizen principle of continual improvement. people find it rather frustrating, I'm sure, working with me, because every time I do something, the next time I come back and I'm like, hey, let's do this a little better.
Right.
Yeah, that one that
Heck
you're
yeah.
showing right now
Is that the
is
old
one
one?
that I had manufactured here in the United States. That screen is actually 300 or 3/16 stainless steel, and it is one of 3 screens that was made without any defects or flaws out of probably 30 some odd screens.
Wow.
So
Yeah, that's what I was
the
wondering.
United
Yeah.
the United States is way behind other countries when it comes to manufacturing high-tech goods, for sure.
Okay.
But we've been working on it for, I would say, with this manufacturing technique, probably, I want to say February or January might have been whenever I first started trying some things out. And basically, this technology that I'm using works for manufacturing really small things, but once you start to get into larger shoot sizes, the axis is too large to make that accurate of a small opening, over a wider axis, so to speak.
And is this one this is a newer version, or is this the different?
Yeah, so the one that you're showing right now is the one that I sell through Low Temp. Hashtag. I don't know how much longer Hashtag is going to be carrying them, but they've only. It's funny. I sold out of screens with Mila and with Low Temp pretty much right away, and even when I took them to Spanibus, I sold out of them right away.
This is cool. Yeah.
And Hashtag has sold 1 screen.
Wow.
So there's been 1 screen sale in Canada.
That's crazy.
And the rest of the world has gone crazy for them. But I don't know. There's something about the Canadians. They're not. They either have some better technology, or they're just not interested in trying new things. I don't know what the
I think they might be a little bit jelly, because they're usually the ones innovating. They were on the innovative side for a long time when it came to hash stuff. Just because
Canadians were the first
they
to come
smoked a lot of hash, and Americans didn't really get it at first, and then obviously Marcus came kind of pushed the envelope there a little bit, and then they had the quantity of weed when people here were still kind of a little bit scared. So all of a sudden, all that beaster weed, you can imagine, half of that turned into hash probably before it ever left the building, right? So they kind of had all the pieces of the puzzle for the longest time. But I bet when they see somebody else going like, hey, because that's the same thing. I look at your page and I'm like, oh shit, that's kind of what I was thinking, but he did it, so there you go. That makes a world of difference when you actually do it compared to think about it, right?
The first rotovaps came from Canada.
Spectacular.
No, they started
it's
doing
like modern art. It's like modern art. You see that crap and you're like, you could have made that, but you didn't.
You did.
But that's the follow through, is like coming up with the idea and then turning it into a product or turning it into reality. It's a struggle for sure.
Yeah,
it's a struggle for me.
I'm amazed. I'm super
shit what you're doing. Yeah,
I'm super impressed, because I'm like, that's one of those things where, like I was saying, when I talked to Rob and he said laser cut screen, I was thinking in my mind, like, who the fuck and how the fuck you're gonna get that done? Like, and now it's doable, but at the same time, it still seems like it's infantile as far as like it's not. It's not.
It's expensive, man.
Where would be the best? Where's the best manufacturing right now? Like Switzerland or something, or somebody who's already kind of because Swiss always had the best nylon.
Really the Chinese right now are probably leading, and people hate to hear this, but I would say out of all the manufacturers I worked with, the Chinese have done the best job on this high-tech precision manufacturing at an affordable cost.
Right.
So the Americans, I tried several different American companies. Eventually what I did is I just told this one company, I'm like, hey, look, everybody kept telling me, what you're asking us to do, we can't do. And I'm like, well, could you try this? Could you try that? And then finally I had this American company that said, hey, look, if you'll give us $3,000, we'll attempt to make a couple of screens for you. No guarantee.
Sounds like a deal.
They sent me six. Yeah, they sent me six screens, and all of them were jacked up.
Oh,
But they're like, this is where we got, and here's what happened, and I'm like, well, I'm looking over here in this industry, and they're using this technology to, do even more precision cuts. And the guy was like, yeah, but they're making stuff that's like 1 square inch. You're asking us to do a square foot. And then back and forth, more.
And 1 square foot is not big enough to do what you need to do anyways, like in the long term of it.
Right.
So
Yeah. I mean, I really want to, put, so the biggest piece that I've been able to have manufactured is 11.5 inches by 23 inches.
That was going to be my question. Okay.
Yeah, that cost me to have those screens made essentially roughly about $1,000 a screen, because that's the company I paid the $3,000 to.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a bunch of other shit, but it's all, jacked up, and I can cut small pieces out, which is why I'm making these sort of smaller 3D printed devices, is to at least get the screen in somebody's hand, let them try the technology. I mean, the Headhunter screen is not the end all, and it's not the only thing you need. It's just a part of the puzzle.
Yeah,
but it certainly makes the process of removing the stocks go very quickly. What used to take me, I would say I would run that 70, it's kind of 70 micron screen range, for 20, 30 minutes with vibration and vacuum to get to the point of where I get in a couple of minutes with the Headhunter. And
awesome.
So,
and again, like what you're doing,
definitely,
what you're doing is literally that's always been there, which is you pull everything out once, and then you need to figure out how to go backwards with it, and it's like what sometimes goes below the screen and sometimes above the screen, and it's just learning that little dance that you have to do. Where you're like, okay,
right,
and so when I saw the mason jar removal with the top thing, I was like, oh, dude, there you go. That's like. That makes sense. It's one of those deals where you, again, start to realize how much weed you need to grow just to smoke a small amount of hash sometimes, because you're like, holy fuck, dude, there's a lot of, like by the time you're done with every process going through it, like, of course, when you're in a country that grows wild or you have fields of it, it makes a big difference. But when you start working like indoor product and you're turning it into hash, and then you really get it down to the right thing, it should be like the top 2%. It's the end of the 2 or 3%, and then everything above above that is going to start getting dirty. So it's crazy.
Yeah. No, I had a friend over, and I took like 600 grams of flour and dumped it into the thing, and we started working it. And when we got finished, I had a few grams of what looked like pure heads to them. And he just looked at me and he's like, that's all we got off of a whole pound. And I'm like, well, I said, the deal is we did that in 8 minutes. So we took a pound, turned it to pure heads, in less than 10 minutes. And I'm like, that's actually pretty extraordinary that we did that. And he's like, seriously? And I'm like, oh yeah, man, it used to take me like sometimes hours, to get to this point, what we were able to just do with the vacuum and some vibration and, some sieving technique.
I mean, you can take whatever material was there could obviously be then processed. Just slam it to some BHO guy, and he would come back with some amazing yield still, and everybody would be happy. So you wouldn't totally lose the product, but it is like because we're in Colorado, it's dry as fuck here. So I was saying how before I came today, I was looking around at all the shit I have, and I was just like, you know what? Thank God it's like I can make hash. Otherwise, I would be fucking sad right now, because it's like, it's impossible to maintain terps here for too long. Unless, I mean, I keep it in the fridge, obviously, for certain products, but for flour and fridge, doesn't really ever dictate. It's always like, it's got to keep that kind of in a homeostasis. So thank God for hash. Thank God for hash.
Some of the coolest stuff that I've been doing lately, which, I mean, it's a project I've been working on for a long time, but last summer and fall, I had a friend that had a grow that let me go in and work on taking like live resin off of the plant.
Okay. And
that's sort of, the really exciting stuff that we're, kind of able to move towards. there's a guy in South Africa that I heard was using liquid nitrogen out in the field to cool the plants, and UV light will actually charge the trichomes, and then you can use an electric field, and you basically just shake the plant, and any of the trichomes are ready to drop off, and would have, fallen off anyway, like during harvest or, drying, pop off of the plant really quickly. And you can catch the plate or catch the heads on a charged plate. But that's really kind of the really cool.
Super cool.
Well, if you had like on a mobile, like if you had it at a 45-degree angle on a vehicle, that would be, and you could bend the plant a little bit, gas it, and hit it, just like whack it. So this guy back in the day when I was in Amsterdam, what he would do, he came in and told me a technique that he had, which is similar, but like old school, let's say. He had a walk-in freezer. He would take fresh plants, and he'd bring them into the walk-in freezer till they were, just till the plant wasn't frozen, but the heads were. And he would then hold it over a sliding glass door that was sideways, and he'd hit it with a broom handle, and all the fucking heads would fall off, and then he would just put the plant and dry it regular and then sell it, right? And then he'd keep all the heads for himself. And he said that he would literally shave it off like with a razor blade, and it was all sticky because it would once it got warm again, when it gets kind of sticky, and he'd just shave it off in these like little sheets. And I was like, this is like in '93 or something like that. So my brain was just like imagining like, wow, that's like A, such a douchey move, and B, pretty fucking tasty sounding. Like, you know what I mean? You were like, okay. But I think his philosophy was the same thing. He was like, hey, you know what? I just want to smoke that. I don't fucking care about the rest of nothing. But I can't fucking you can't throw the plant away, obviously. So, but
it's all the pot I bought in like '92 that didn't get you stoned.
Right? That was that pretend. You were like,
that was that guy.
Fucking guy, man.
Fucking guy.
Damn.
We smoked that whole lid, and I'm not even stoned.
But the reality is, you look at things different when you're making hash, right? You're looking at the plant differently. You're looking at the way that the glands grow differently, because some, plants that are really greasy, obviously, hard to make hash, but those tend to be the stoniest ones, because you're like, okay, it's a battle between terps and wax,
Yeah.
Those are the plants that work well with the live sift tech, the more greasy ones, because, like you were saying, that guy would just kind of scrape the stuff off the sliding glass door.
Yep.
And that's basically what you have to do. So you end up collecting your material. I actually use Teflon so that I can get my material off of the Teflon, a lot easier.
And then is that what you're using in the last video for the?
I use Teflon a lot, and you can use Teflon, to remove contaminants. So typically in static tech, all the stuff that I've ever seen other people do has always been, you get your hash refined to where you've got like 90% heads and like 10% contaminants. And then these guys work at removing 90% of the heads from that pile. People are using static tech to take what's the majority of product there. It's never made any sense to me. Mm-hmm. And back in the 90s, when Rob Clark's book came out, I was working at this mass spec factory in Houston, and I had access to high voltage power supplies. And so at the time, I noticed that before we shipped the mass specs out, we'd always have to clean them up. And all around the high voltage cables, there was always like this heavy dust and everything on it. And I asked my boss one day, I'm like, what's going on there? And he's like, he gave me this book on electric fields. And he's like, there's all these electric fields going on. And it actually grabs dust and contaminants from the air, and it pins to the cables. And it was right when I first started making hash and was trying to figure out how to get the green shit out of the hash. And so I took one of those power supplies home that night, and had one of the high voltage cables hooked up to it. And I just, swept it across my hash after, I finished vibrating it through the screen, and all the green material just like grabbed onto the cable, cool. Sort of right away. Wow. And same thing with stocks and things like that too. And I was just like, I thought I'd found like this magic thing. And, I didn't didn't tell anybody what I was doing at the time. And one, I lived in Texas, and two, at the time I was able to get, like a lot of people were giving me their trim and their, garbage from their grow. And, I was telling people I was making brownies out of it, but I was really taking it and making hash. And, so yeah, I just,
you had a hustle. You had a hustle going on.
I love it.
Yeah. And then, then eventually everybody was like, hey, wait a second.
You smoke a lot of hash. You smoke a lot of hash for a guy who
so,
makes brownies all day. Right?
Well, no. So like one of my friends was like, man, this hash tastes exactly like my, it was like my Cinderella strain.
Are you selling me back my shit?
Wow, you got really fucking busted.
Exactly.
Damn, you're bold, sir. Is this mine?
He was giving me
good game, sir.
His trim for free, and then he was like,
"Well played,
hey, man." Yeah.
So wait, can you go back for one sec? Just because when you said the word Teflon, both Mark and I looked at each other with a little bit of like, isn't that the stuff they tell us not to eat off of? Anymore. And Adam's always talking about how
for sure.
So
they've got a new molecule now. So the old molecule for Teflon, that's the one that was causing cancer. But the new molecule that DuPont's putting out, that stuff's totally safe for you. You don't want to get Teflon from China because they're probably making it the same way. That is causing cancer. But yeah, Teflon's in everything, and it's scary as hell, but it's what's used in medical devices. There are, Teflon implants in your body. Teflon is in every single water valve anywhere. There's no way you can get away from it.
It's in every cell of your body probably right now. So there you go.
Right.
I mean,
So
what's that?
We do know, they're fine.
Oh, it's one of those ones where
this is gonna be one of those. I
think back to like, when you used to cook at somebody's place and they had like scrape marks straight down the Teflon. You know what I mean? And you're like, okay, you guys are chowing on that. So it's like I never liked. I always have cast iron. I've had the same cast iron skillets for 30 years. Like I've traveled with them and everything. I took them to Australia with me. I was like, I'm taking my own skillets. It was like back when they didn't really have like the same restrictions on all your things. You can take as much as you can fit in a bag, pretty much to the point. And I was like, I had my own fucking cast iron skillets because I was going to cook there. So I was like, I'm going to bring my own knives and skillets and fucking everything. And then I took them back, and then I took them to Europe, and then I took them back to America, and I still have them. So it's kind of like,
international cast iron.
That's the way you're going to eat. I'd rather eat off a cast iron than anything, or stainless.
Mine is stainless. However, I did have like all of the Teflon stuff, and I'm like,
the thing is now.
Say whatever you want. However, I wear a tinfoil crown. Thank you very much.
The thing right now that everybody has in their house, which they can throw away right now, is anything black. If you have anything black, like a black plastic fucking spoon or a fucking ladle or whatever, just throw it away because those are the next. Oh, those things are full of whatever, and they don't give. Nobody's talking about it, but that's because it gets hot, and you don't want it. You know what I mean? Because it's food and it's hot, so. Throw those away. If you have anything
black,
any black plastic kind of thing, it's the same problem. It's a PVCs or something.
No, Oh no, I understand what you're saying, but no, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I have the stuff that doesn't.
Obviously, spatulas are bad, but then everybody's got a ladle still because it's like, who the hell buys a new ladle?
Mine's my fucking ladle.
Who buys a ladle?
Nobody. Conspiracy from White Spatula, dude.
White spatula? Oh, it's big spatula. No, it's big spatula conspiracy is what it is. I know what you mean.
We're sorry, Rosin Dogs. Okay, wait. So you use the spatula in growing cannabis when?
No,
it does work though. It does work.
We jump from Teflon.
Teflon.
Okay, back to you.
Hash Cru.
Sorry for the
tangent. Yeah. So the Teflon I'm usually using to remove contamination. Okay. So. Even though it does sometimes grab heads, I'm mainly removing the garbage anyway using the Teflon.
Mm-hmm. And also, Teflon's different if you're not heating it. You're doing all of this in the cold. Yeah. There is that component to actually changing heating molecules.
Heating is the bad part.
And
eating it and eating it, obviously.
Yeah, we'll find out
compared to just touching it.
Cold Teflon, Chinese cold Teflon is bad too.
So
it's all bad. But I mean, so is smoking and vaporizing oil. So
I do all the
like-
things.
All right, it was nice talking with you
I'm
tonight.
talking around
Have
it. I'm sorry.
Whatever, dude. This show is the
love
show that made
it.
me like be scared about dabbing.
We
When you
scared
guys-
everybody right out of the
Really?
gate with lipid pneumonia, of course.
Yeah, the lip.
the lip. Oh yeah,
Dude,
dude.
Hey, it's a real thing.
It's right
Yeah.
when I went all solventless after that, and I was like,
What was his name again? Joe?
I
What?
forgot.
Piscopo.
No.
I don't know.
Joe something? Was it
Rogan.
Joe? Not Rogan.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. I know
Was
what you're talking
doctor? Was he a doctor? No, he was just a tech guy. You know who loved him was Telly.
Oh yeah.
Telly was a
Yeah.
big fan, and then he became I don't know, something happened.
Huh.
We'll ask
Yeah,
him.
whatever you do not get a microscope though, because then I start
No,
looking
okay,
at
you start looking
everybody's
at
shit.
everything under a microscope, and it's like there's a thin patina of shit everywhere.
everywhere.
Literally,
everywhere. I mean,
thank
there's
you.
Little,
Okay.
little bitty plastic threads and everything.
Oh yeah, you
And
don't.
so somebody's like, oh, look at the shit's in your rosin or your hash. I'm like, fucking,
Dude,
you
that's
should
in
take
your...
a look at a bud.
Dude,
Like
do you have any
bud.
idea
Like,
the
that's-
room we're sitting in right now? The walls aren't finished. There's exposed insulation, fiberglass. This has got to be
No,
cancer
it's
We're
not.
in
causing.
an
It's fucking
asbestos vault.
Yeah,
spectacular.
this
in
is
here.
horrible.
No,
I just sent you the
Yeah.
picture, the video with the Teflon video. I'm just pulling stuff off.
yeah, I
your
was
Instagram,
looking
but
at your Instagram. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
you're doing some
I
cool
love
shit.
Teflon though. My centrifuge containers are made out of Teflon. I'm not
the dance
really
of hash
that.
right there.
Love it.
Oh,
Yeah, so cool.
I'm not really that scared of not really scared of it. I mean, it's everywhere. So I mean,
I'm not
I
really
could
scared
spend all
of it.
my
I do
time-
go out of my way to not cook on it.
See, right
However,
there,
I
that's-
see what
that's-
you're doing
that-
here, and
I'll
this
tell you
is
what,
fucking
that was
wicked.
that to get that shot. Like I didn't think that I actually got that shot, but I got my humidity down to like 22%,
Wow.
and man, the stuff just pops whenever the humidity drops below 30%.
Mm-hmm.
Can we send
it's
Mark
hard
to
to get-
pick some up? Well, Mark will make the drive for us.
That's
He's
so
got plenty of
beautiful.
time. He doesn't really do anything other than the show. And we'll wherever you are in your super secret location, we'll send Mark.
That's a great shot too.
That is
Yeah,
amazing.
it's very cool.
That's iPhone. Not
I
even
was
the
gonna
new
ask,
iPhone.
what is
That's
that?
That's an old iPhone. I like I set my iPhone inside the sieve and just kind of
Okay, yeah. No,
ran
that's great.
the Teflon sheet over the top of it. But yeah, right after you stop the sieve, so the plastic sieve that I developed, the stainless steel screen is isolated and floating. It's not grounded out.
Okay.
So it will build up a really nice charge on the stainless steel screen. And then the Teflon. So I made an electrostatic separator last year that didn't have any power supplies in it. And it just used airflow charging the ions in the air, charging the two plates.
Wow.
And
Fucking spectacular.
Seems logical.
the Teflon will get, sometimes up to, easily 11 kV charge on it. I've even had it max out my electrostatic meter, which maxes out around 18 or I think 20,000 kV. So the Teflon can build up a pretty high charge naturally. But yeah, what you can do, and I mean, I've told people this a lot of times over the years, but I've never seen anybody until just recently actually try it. But you can take a sheet of Teflon and you can lay it down over the top of your material on the vibrating sieve, and vibrate it. The problem is any non-charged particle will stick to a charged surface. So if you have a trichome head that's not charged, it'll end up sticking to that Teflon as well.
Okay.
So really, you want to hover the Teflon above the material and allow, any charges or whatever to really kind of push the material. Like in that video, you can really see
Yeah.
the contaminants, jumping. I think that was probably like about an inch away, or I don't know, maybe about 3/4 of an inch away from the stainless steel.
So cool.
It was
So,
really
so I
But
want
yeah,
to go.
what
I wanna
happens
actually go,
is
I want to go back
the-
actually to the charge, to the original thing you were talking about when you made a wand or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Because that is also like before Watson it was quite funny because in Amsterdam, like Watson would come out with his little film canister, with his hash, with just heads, and he'd explain it's 99% pure heads. And I need to get all up in your face about it. And he'd get so high, he'd be smoking you out. But the funny part was I've been at his house when he was like, we had to all go out to eat or something. He's like, wait a minute, I'll be right back. And I know for a fact that tonight, just like every time, because I think I've, like, it's funny. You feel like you're channeling somebody because I was like, oh, I got to go out. I got to make some hash really quick, right? So you go in the room and you got to make sure that, your temperature is good and your space is, and I know in Amsterdam how hard it is to get that kind of environment or whatever. So he would literally disappear off into his room and then come back like 20 minutes later with his little film canister half full, and we'd be like, all right, ready to go, and then he was very secretive at the time, and he wouldn't, and like I knew something was going on, but I didn't know what, and I tried to, because I had gotten close, but never got the real secret because I didn't know how simple it could be sometimes. So it was like one of those like, oh, if I'd ever said like, you sure it's not just you with a glove and a screen? Because I'm 100% sure he was doing something along those lines, because it was like,
it was just his bare hand. I talked to him right before he died. I didn't know he was sick kind of right there at the end, but it's right when I came out with that book. And then right after I came out with the book, Charles, the Sambo Creek guy, threatened to sue me if I didn't stop talking to people about electrostatic stuff. But, right before all that stuff happened, I talked to him about it, and he was just using his bare hand, which is funny because whenever I've done bare hand tech, my bare hand grabs contaminants. Not, in fact, like I've even posted, about a year and a half or right after I got on Instagram, I did a post where I was using my bare hand, and my bare hand was just like all contaminants. There's another guy, the Wolverine Dabs guy, Logan, did a post with his bare hand, where it was all heads. And I was like, hey, we must have different energy because
that's
this is what I get with my
say.
Well, it was also funny was there was a guy who used to work, this guy Jimbo, who was in the Hashish book. He's the guy holding his hands up with his hands covered in resin, right? In Rob's book.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Jimbo, right? And he gave me kind of like the behind the scenes vibe of it. He goes, hey, you know what you got to do? Is you take a balloon and you rub it on the table before you put the screen down, and then when you make your hash, it all clumps up in little clumps, and the contaminants go into a little clump, and the hash will stay where it is, And I was like, oh, okay. And so I got that. I tried it. It kind of worked, but it was kind of like, just one of those things that fell off in my brain. Like I was like, yeah, there's got to be more to it than that, because I know he's doing it too, like it was like there. And it's funny that in the end it turned out to just be rubbing on a screen, because it totally makes sense, because I'm standing on the other side. I'm sitting in the living room waiting for him with Rob and everybody, and it's like 20 minutes later he comes out all happy, like, okay, let's go, And then when I do the same thing, I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta make hash now. Like I gotta go, but I only got, you got 20 minutes to do it. You got to make sure you got to find your best. You'll get enough out of it just for the night, you know what I mean? And then not any kind of production or anything like that. But it's like, it is because it's also like you want to keep things, because it's, especially when it's like, with the right group of people, you can pretty much make enough to smoke that day if you're not trying to make yourself go into full-time job situation, 'cause an hour or two of that, you're like, all right, it's time to go.
It's the modern day equivalent of finger hash.
Yeah,
I can't believe they kept that a secret for as long as they did. That's he and Marcus. That's pretty incredible that nobody slipped up and said anything.
It is funny, but it was definitely obvious that there was a positive and a negative charge within the whole plant, and especially because once you work with resin enough, you can see that there's it's real clear that even like when I would grind it up in a coffee grinder, because a lot of times I'd have chunks of hash that were all kind of hard, so I'd want to break them up, throw it into a coffee grinder, and I have a little dome top on the coffee grinder. I'd zip it up, and then you'd think that the light stuff at the top would be good, but it'd always be the worst part. You know what I mean? Whereas the resin would actually kind of stick to lower down into the thing around the actual edge, and then so the top part was kind of crap, the middle part was perfect, and then the bottom was whatever's left at the bottom. So it kind of like there's depending on what you're working with, and even just like throwing weed in a bucket, and then when you're done, you can see that
can
you can
see.
see the shit moving around and fucking doing its thing. So it's usually the contaminants that are the easy ones to fuck with, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, I mean, it made the most sense to try to remove the contaminants, especially my whole thing. I mean, I never grew weed to make hash. I always made hash because I was growing weed. And I think it, it really started for me whenever I was drying, my first crop, and I just noticed all the resin that fell off onto the to the floor below the plants as it was hanging. And then, the next thing I did is put the glass table under there and, made a collection from that and showed a friend. It was right about the time that Rob's book came out. My friend had the book and he was like, oh, you should come over and, let me show you how to make these nylon screens. And, we're getting 2x4s and going to the t-shirt shop and buying mesh screens. And, then it went to the embroidery hoops and, and then, quickly to the power supply thing. And then I don't really remember what happened after that. I think it just kind of, went to the water hash, and then our water hash molded. We just didn't do a very good job drying things out back then if you didn't keep it in the refrigerator. And I think I just kind of lost interest in hash for, kind of a while. And then it sort of, went back into BHO and, all these other kinds of extracts. And then, it's just kind of made a full circle. Probably around 2018, got back into, really making hash again. But yeah.
Well, the
it's
cool
been a
part
lot of
is
fun.
that I think with dry sieve especially, it's kind of more, it's a slower pace. You know what I mean? You can work on a project and when get halfway through, put it away, come back to it, do it again. You know what I mean? Get in there, and it's not like you're in some fucking mad rush all the time. Whereas like with bubble hash, it's like hectic making hash. It's like you got to be quick and kind of keep everything moving and flowing and everything going, and otherwise you will get mold, you will have problems. You know what I mean? And if you're also smoking it too, same thing. Like it kind of has to keep going to the right. Like this is also where Rob, once again, Rob told me this one time and it stuck in my head where he goes, we were watching the first bubble hash being made, and we were like, and I was like, what do you think, Rob? He's like, yeah, it's amazing. It's great. But I feel sorry for the first guy who sells a kilo to a bunch of bikers and gets fucking murdered because it's all have mold when it gets to the next guy. You know what I mean? Like, and he made me like understand like, oh yeah, that's kind of bad. Like, because the world at that time was still basically like, weed was moving around a lot more. Nowadays, it's like it might, be grown in, especially if it's a trapper weed, it might move, but it's not like it's different, like back then though, it was like, yeah, the bikers were moving a lot of hash and especially in Canada, and it's like a lot of places. So if you all of a sudden handed them a bunch of kilos of bubble hash that traveled down from Canada to wherever, and the guys open it up down there, and it's all mold. Someone's gonna get shot. You know what I mean? Shit's gonna get real quick. So he kind of made that point when we were watching the first sort of demonstrations, because it was when Reinhardt came to Amsterdam with the 420, the XL 420, and it was like the first time any of us had seen bubble hash, and I got the machine for a week before it got taken, like shown publicly, so I already kind of saw it, but it was like one of those deals where literally people were like 50-50 on it, you know what I mean? Because the 50% were like, they saw that problem, and then but also it was also it was for all of us, it was like, wow, this is, much purer vibes.
Yeah.
But again, it was also Amsterdam's about 80% humidity at all times. So there we had a lot of issues drying where it was like, you had to really be on your game. Otherwise your shit would go. You had to make sure you broke it up properly. You had enough airflow, and people there were also greedy and kind of like running things till it was fucking the wheels fell off, and you were like, "This is garbage, dude!" Like you have to like, and that's where I think Marcus kind of filled the gap with his addition to the whole thing and the evolution from there, right? But I feel like the bubble is always good, but it's a little bit sensitive,
I do love
Yeah.
the bubble.
Everybody loves some good
I
bubble.
know.
Oh no, for sure. Well, the high. For
I love
sure.
all of it. It's so cool to see the evolution of, you know.
You can make better hash with bubble without like just without this even like putting too much effort because the water does most of the work for you. You know, because there is a ton of dust and things that come in there, and that's the hard part. Like when you're making dry sieve, it's like getting it off the plant in the right condition so that you can then screen it properly without busting it all up. And there's some strains that just aren't fucking made for it. You know what I mean? They just don't work good. And then there's
No, and that's also
other stuff that's amazing where you're just like, oh my God. So it's a little bit of that. Any strains lately that you've been running into that have been just making better dry sieve? Because I haven't really heard anybody kind of concentrate on that. Everybody concentrates on just, washers.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Is there an equivalent in the dry sieve world right now?
Yeah, one of my favorite strains, and I was talking to a guy about this the other day, is the Gorilla Glue, or I like Gorilla Breath as well. That's like a really good one.
Pimento breath.
And I usually get a very high, return on it. It comes out really light. If you do press the dry sift rosin, it's, people often, don't know that it's not water hash.
Water,
right.
yep.
They don't know that it's dry. They don't know that it's dry sift. So when I first started making dry sift, I was doing what I called like kind of a cryo cured dry sift, or I was calling it cryo dry sift.
I kind of did that a little when I first got my freeze dryer. I kind of like played with the two and like getting things as cold as I fucking could without the like use of anything else, like the dry ice or any.
I mean, you're gonna get better color for sure. That's the key. Like you get that white. You get
And
those
that's
real
why
white. So you were using a cryo.
Well, yeah. As soon as I told people it was dry sift, like people were loving it, and then I'd be like, "Yeah, it's dry sift," and they're like, "Dry sift," and then as soon as they heard that, it all of a sudden became like less desirable. So then I was like, "Okay,
Really?
I've got to come up with like some different terminology," and I don't know what I'm going to call it. So I think I started calling it cryo sift or something like that.
Okay.
And this is probably like around 20. I don't know, it was like. I want to say it was after COVID or, during COVID, like when people were still wearing masks.
Okay.
And, but then as soon as you tell somebody it's
Dave
dry,
still
"No,
wears
this
one,
is
so
a double
I was gonna
hash,
say,
then
Dave-
people are like, yeah.
It's interesting how people get so attached. Yeah. I mean,
it's the same as people saying like when you do organic outdoor compared to indoor, and it's like, oh, it's automatically worse. It's like that's not true at all. It depends where you live, who the grower is. There can be plenty of
so many variables.
better outdoor in the right, especially when it comes to the high quality, because you might get better visual plants and you might get better numbers if you go to the lab or whatever, but when it comes down to the effect,
The actual
that's
effect.
like way more opportunity to get more out of the organic outdoor if it's handled properly. That's the key to the whole thing, because usually it's like if it's treated, oh, this is outdoor, who cares? It's like, well, then it's going to end up not satisfying the
what
same
is
way
your intention?
as if it's like, holy shit, this is like, especially like Maggie's farm here, it was amazing that they would somehow, I don't know about now, but back in the day when I met the guy, I went out to his place and I'm like, so wait a minute, you grow everything in Colorado outdoors and once a year and you have enough weed for the whole year? And he's like, yep. And I'm just like,
Spectacular.
wow. And so he had like properly cured weed, and back in the day, people, actually preferred cured weed because the high, again, we always used to chase the high. Now everybody just chases terps and flavor and not necessarily high. And you can't kind of achieve both. It's kind of like one is
You
curing
have to
and one is smoking it when it's fresh.
When it's
So with dry sieve is kind of like leaning more into the cured zone, because you can take dry sieve to cure it way longer and actually come out much more complex and much more interesting things coming out of it. Or you can just make
The
some dry
feelings,
sift
the
right. You
highs
can
are
also make some dry
literally-
sift with some super fresh stuff and get a really cool effect.
Speaking of dry sift, we have
Me too. I was gonna say I haven't even gotten to hit this once.
and get a real good effect and flavor and get all the terps that people are looking for too. But you'll notice that changes real rapidly. Like it's hard to
Yeah, they're so volatile.
Yeah, you'll like have it, and then one day it'll be super fruity and nice, and then like a month later, it's already kind of.
You've been talking about
I was
this for
gonna say a
years.
couple weeks later.
And depending on how you keep it, if you keep it in the fridge and you keep it all stable, but if you're like smoking a lot and leaving it around,
Leaving it open on accident while you
Okay.
it's
give it
on
to Dave. Let Dave touch
Let
it.
Dave touch anything.
Cured it.
Talk about cannabis on a cannabis show.
that's
It's starting to get too late
Ugh.
for Dave. You can tell.
What?
So it's.
I'm ready to go. Let's go. What are we going to do?
They've done studies, you know.
It's awesome
No,
right
I love
there.
this. Thank you. This is spectacular. These are my favorite shows.
The scope's awesome to look at. So the glands are all sitting in and so what happens with like different plants in different sizes? Have you been like, I mean, obviously down the road there'll be a range.
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah. So this is what I tell everybody. People are like, oh, what size screen do I need? And I'm like, I don't know. You really need to look at
You
your
need to play
plant.
with it.
And then each time that you grow, it could be slightly different. It might not turn out the same, or depending on the amount of sunlight, or I really have no idea, what influences the things that make it different each time. But I do know that you can have, the same strain for years and have quite a bit of a variance and what ends up happening.
That's the one good thing with Marcus's bags, having 8 bags, that you really learned a lot quicker. Like first you only had the 3 bag, and then you were like, okay, you could see strain to strain maybe a little bit. But then when you got down to when you had 8 bags and you start unloading, you're like, okay, this is where I'm like because it seemed like the sweet spot moved on a lot of my shit from 120s down, because back in the day there was no 90, right? It was just 120, 73, and you kind of noticed that I was getting really good hash when I was growing a lot of sage back in the day in the 120 screen. I got good hash.
Yeah.
I got great hash in the 73, but not very much of it, right? And then all of a sudden I grow other strains and I got no 120 and I got a lot more 73. And then the 90 came in and that kind of changed the mix a little bit, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden you started to get it all in the 90 and not get it, because it's trapping before the 73 or whatever. And then you see like commercially it's felt like the 90 was the one, and then it was like the 120 kind of like lost in a way. I just take it out of my mix for a while. And anyways, that having multi-screens just made it easier to kind of like learn your crop quicker.
Yeah.
The numbers always confuse me as a consumer.
Because it's up and down.
Yeah, and like
smaller the screen, the bigger the hole on the bubble bags.
Okay.
But there's also mesh size, which is lines per inch.
Uh-huh.
Is that what you're running on? Are you running LPI, or are you going on? How would you gauge your screens? Because it's kind of like they're weird shapes. I wonder how you would.
So yeah, mine are micron opening, and I think because I've had so many different variations, they're kind of in the 75 micron range. But this new batch that I just got in, so I just changed the manufacturing technique. And now the slots are more like razor blade openings. And so the opening is actually sort of tapered. And the post that I made today really shows sort of what the edge looks like. It sort of looks like a knife blade. Those I scoped out quite a bit of them. The openings are like in sort of the 60 to 80 micron range. And just because of the manufacturing technique, they're not exact.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think the specification that I tell people is, 90, I can't remember what it is, but like, 90% of the holes are within 20% of the specification.
So you're basically saying 70% of the time it works all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was going to say acid drop.
Yeah.
You call it Sex Panther screens?
So here's what I recommend is I highly recommend if you're going to run my Headhunter screen, to run, like a 70 micron or 75 micron screen directly underneath it. And you'll find that you'll catch, a lot of heads. But the other thing I'm finding, even with the nylon screens, like I'll see what pulled through a 45 micron bag that ends up in my cyclone, and I'll find, 140 or 130 micron heads in there. And so the only way that large heads like that are getting past a 45 micron screen is one, they're squeezing down, and they're, squeezing through those openings, or they're going through the stitching, or somewhere, where there's a seam, or, your lab's just dirty, and you're, have other heads just floating around that's contaminating your sample. But I mean, I'm finding all the time, I'm scoping stuff so much now. And I'm finding all the time, 120 plus micron heads, past the 45 screens, no matter what kind of screen, stainless steel, nylon. My Headhunter screen, the longer you run it, the more pure the collection gets, but also, the more heads end up pulling through the screen.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sitting there looking at every single hole on a 1 square foot screen that I'm selling for, the price that they're selling for. And we have kind of a computerized scope that takes a photo of it. Mm-hmm. And in order to get that QC done on each sheet, it's quite expensive. So
it's like those sheets, those sheets, those clear ones that they have that you put on the regular silk screens that you can see the right. Yeah, it's kind of like a digital version of that, maybe, or something. You know what I'm talking about, right? The ones where you can put the thing down and you can kind of shift it around and it will make that little pattern, and you can see where it crosses over in the pattern, and then you're kind of like, oh, that's that size. And it kind of tells you exactly.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Those are pretty cool. Those are, I forget where they.
Yeah.
What they call them.
I've got a measuring slide. You can't see it like in the phone view that I'm showing right now, but in the other eyepiece that I can look through, with my eye, the ocular,
tells you the size.
There's a measuring slide in there, so I can actually, scope out what the openings are.
I know those are like the other ones are like for being on the field somewhere, just like grabbing it, throw it on top of the screen. You kind of move it around, and it gives you a little arc with like visually where the number is, and you kind of look at the number. So it's almost like a refractometer for screens or something,
Yeah.
Right.
That's
you guys
cool.
need
But yeah, I mean, I'm finding that a lot of stuff makes it through. So I'm, feeling like a lot of people are kind of give the analogy that the trichome head's like a grape and it will squeeze through the opening. I'm assuming that that's what's happening.
It depends on the thickness of the head.
The thickness of like
because sometimes
the trichome, because they are like sacks of groceries, and so some of them really are.
They'll shift and stuff a little bit. I mean, I'm sure you can squeeze them through.
Or there's something in the manufacturing process that 1 out of every 5,000 little holes is a little bigger.
Right?
Yeah,
and it's seeping through.
All those cheap back in the day, all this stupid.
I have so many sets of bags that I'm like,
knockoff bags,
this is fucking
knockoff Chinese bags, and you'd be like, this stuff's like ridiculous.
No,
so
this is absurd. This feels like a waste. If you're gonna do it proper and get the
makes a huge difference.
It makes a
to do the proper. Screens are the most important thing out there because it's how you're separate everything. Obviously, you like that?
Hey, do you want to promote?
I like it.
Hey, separates the boys from the girls there.
Do you want to promote anything? Any classes you're going to be giving? Any websites you want anyone to go to?
Your book.
I heard you say your book. That.
One more question too. At Low Temp, you said is sold out because I was already excited to go over to their place and see if they had any screens, even a piece to do a mason jar.
Yeah, they may have a piece, but. I mean, those guys are actually awesome to work with. They're one of the only companies that I've ever worked with that are
pleasant
the way that I like to do business. Where you supply a product to somebody and they pay you for it, or they're like,
wow,
integrity. Integrity is a thing.
They actually. Yeah, they've already prepaid for their next order, and I've got some screens that I'm going to ship out to them right away, like a partial order, so that they get some back in stock.
I've been wanting I've been talking to them forever to come on the show, so they're always either coming from or going to a show. So maybe I'll go by there.
What's really exciting is I've been working on a bagless press, a press that doesn't use nylon bags or parchment paper for a little bit over a year now.
Okay.
And I was real close to releasing it, and then we've completely redesigned it. And the guys that I'm working with are, wanting to patent some certain aspects of it. And so we're kind of like at a stale point. But yeah, I was really kind of hoping to maybe try to work something out with low temp. But we're probably we may even be like a year off now before we end up releasing the press.
And they're local here in Colorado, right?
Yeah.
Memory serves me.
That guy started in his garage.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the first press I had was the one that you go to Harbor Freight and, get the frame and Allen screw it on to the bottle jack thing. And I still have that press and like the old controller. It still works. And then I've got one of their V2s. I've got a dab press too, one of the Chinese presses, because I just can't resist cheap Chinese stuff. But
start in his garage like Apple computer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Good stuff though. No, they make great equipment and they're good people. Every time we're at the shows and stuff, they're just
They're
swamped, man.
phenomenal.
They're crushing it, which is good.
But
that's why they can pay you. That's why they can pay you. Exactly.
Yeah. Hopefully those guys will have the screen back in stock pretty soon. Nice. And definitely I'm going to send some out to them either tomorrow or Monday. And then in the next couple of weeks, they'll have like the rest of their big order.
Well,
then hopefully we'll see some hopefully we'll see some manufacturers out there start to incorporate the screens into their equipment. But I'm sort of partial to them because I've been working on this project and came up with it. But I'm looking forward to getting some feedback. There's hundreds of them out there now, kind of around the world. And really, like the first 20 or so went out when I went to Spannabis this year, and I haven't really seen anybody post anything. I've seen people send me photos.
Well, here's the problem about Spain. Guaranteed, there's guys now who are like, their brains are trying every possible way to do it themselves, type thing, because that's their style, which is crazy. So I'm sure you're literally going to have competition but I mean, like I said, just stay ahead of the game, just keep moving ahead, because that's how these things always go.
Yeah, you have great ideas.
Like the first year that Sweet Leaf came over with their grinder, right? The first year, like in, 90 something, it was like all of us were like, this is it. This is the coolest thing ever. Within 3 months, the Indian guys were there with their versions of it. And then within a year, they had like completely cornered the market, because it was like you could buy one, original Sweet Leaf grinder, or you could buy 20 of theirs. You know what I mean? They were just coming at it so cheap.
Right.
So, and if like you said, of course, China's cheap. People are thinking, it's a tough place. So if you came to Spannabis and got them in the hands of people there, I can guarantee you the reason they're not talking is because they're probably trying to rip you off, which is totally classic weed zone. You know how that goes. So you'll have
I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, if they find, like, somebody finds a cheaper way to make them or finds a better product.
Hopefully
I told Matt, the straight concentrate guy.
Yeah, hopefully they improve it somehow, and you're just like, shit, damn, I should have thought of that.
They'll figure out why you're getting those extra large heads that are getting through the screens.
They're watching the show right now. They're like,
I get it.
Now we're taking notes.
Know what to do. All right, did you give a website out? Did you want to promote anything?
And also, you said that was just this March. People are still growing. They've got their stuff planted. So maybe you will see some great
I'm down
some
to,
feedback
I'm down,
on
I'm
it.
down to give you some
This is
feedback for sure.
phenomenal. Yeah.
Part of it's now I'm going to have to redo everything, half the things I'm doing. Oh, the other thing that I was...
Yeah, you're inspiring people.
That
if I get my shit together, I'll send you out a sieve and I'll send you out the hash piston finally. So what happened was, I think about a week ago, I wanted to do a video and I didn't have any clean hash pistons, and I saw the hash piston that JC gave me to send to you, and I'm like, that thing's clean right there. And I said I was sober. I took a puff off of it just a minute ago, but I will clean it.
That's so funny. That's like all the glass blowers. That's like the glass blowers I know that are super honest. Like, I'd buy a piece off of them and I'd be like looking at it. I'd be like, did you smoke out of this? He'd be like, dude, I smoke out of every piece I make. I'm like, really? You do that? And I was like, oh man, you smoke out of
Gotta make sure it works.
Exactly. Yeah. So, well, at least it's working good. Totally down with that. And then
We do rigorous quality control testing on
Rigorous.
every
Ooh,
piece
I mean, you
before
have
we
to
ship it out.
appreciate that. Thank
That is
you.
the Hashmaker creed right there.
Quality matters.
Right.
Nothing leaves this building.
Hell yes.
Quality is
So
the
it's
only
thoroughly
way.
tested. That's how we did. That's what we used to call 30-meter hash back in the day because it never got farther than 30 meters away
Yeah,
from us.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
that was
yeah.
like that was it. That became a classification.
That's quality control.
Well, we're
I
looking
love it.
forward to trying something that one of your disciples produces in our area.
Heck yes.
Did I ever send you a hash wrap kit?
No, we had a no, but we can do
No,
that too.
if you would like to, I would like to do a
Wow,
giveaway.
I never did that
sort of-
either.
Oh, whoa,
man.
I'll be
don't
responsible
say
for
that.
No,
it.
you know what's funny is you gave me
You
the
know
mold.
what? I
you
will
gave me
be
the,
responsible
You gave
for
me
it.
the mold thing for the wraps, you know, and then I didn't even bring it back from Amsterdam. I left it at my friend's house. I was like, God damn it! So I never got nothing out of it at the end. I was like, so we'll have to reconnect on all that.
Katie wants to do a giveaway.
I would love to do a give, and I know chat would appreciate a giveaway. I can mention names that would.
Adam looks like he's going to throw up.
Not giveaway. You're killing me. Like you're going into raffle mode.
Come on
right
now.
I
So
love
don't
it.
use the G word around here.
Don't use
No,
the
we
giveaways
can
or
use the
raffles.
G
That
word.
kills the party. That's a party
Look,
killer.
you
shipping
two are
everything out
so
yourself.
fun. I
Yeah,
will.
Alright.
I will be responsible
This is
for
great.
it. I have no.
How?
I
Do you-
am
how?
responsible
What are you
in
giving
our
away?
crew.
Wait,
I'm happy
you're
to
the
be
woman who was
responsible.
just tripping LSD, walking through towns in Italy.
And I'm here.
and the
I made it on time. I was early.
Took
Thank you.
several rides with
I will take-
possibly axe murderers, but you know.
Do you see these gentlemen? I love you, chat, and I hear you.
You're not even looking. You
They
don't have no
appreciate-
idea what's going on.
I do. I know what's going on in chat. Maybe not right this moment. However, I know chat's heart. They like it. They like us paying attention.
Yep. Chat's all like, I want to win Katie's giveaway. It's Katie's giveaway now. You see that?
Katie's
It's
giveaway.
Do
Katie's
you hear you?
giveaway.
Katie's giving it all away.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm giving it away.
we gotta.
It's been so great to have you
jump-
on tonight. I'm stoked that you are a guest this evening.
Me too.
Thank you. Yeah, well,
That's good.
we always can go longer, obviously, but
I
we'll,
love the hash talks.
We'll keep it rolling, and we'll get back to you soon, though, because for sure you'll have more innovation around the corner. I can feel it.
Well, I
Yeah.
really appreciate you guys having me on the show. It was really awesome.
And sorry about not
Chatting
getting you
and
on.
rambling.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's-
sorry we were rambling.
I stepped away for a second and then I came back.
All
I
hell
didn't check
broke
Zoom.
loose.
Yeah, it was all Mark's fault.
It's
There you
basically
go.
my fault.
I knew it.
Thanks
Yeah.
for kicking it with us, though.
All right,
No,
my friend.
I was working away, putting a sieve together. I've
That's
got
what
a
you
big
said.
wash,
As long
big
as we're-
wash to do this coming week. So I'm
as
trying
long-
to put some stuff together for myself. So
That's
Heck
cool.
yeah.
As long as we were entertaining you while you were doing it. that's all that
Blessings
matters.
Oh, yeah.
on your wash. Spectacular.
Well, thanks again for coming through.
thank you.
We appreciate your
Yeah.
patience.
Nice one. Peace, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Take care, guys. Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao. All right. We also got one more call. Coming
Nice,
in.
dude.
Seedsman, Jim, if you're out
This-
there,
this is
the
great.
Jesus plants. Jesus plants.
Give
Come.
us a call.
Because I'm going
No,
to check
he
it
was
with Kyle
great.
real quick and see how stressed he is over there. I forgot the thing.
No, don't call Kyle. He said fire drill after fire drill.
Really?
He did?
Yeah.
When?
Just
Oh.
Did he?
Oh gosh. Okay. I don't think I need
Okay,
to.
I'm not
Do I
gonna
need to
look
know?
at
do
right that.
I won't.
I'll
won't
assess
disturb
and
a
address
fire
that in
drill
just
after
a moment.
fire drill.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. We got
Oh, wait.
some.
Ah. Hey,
Boom.
I already stuck on. That's kind of funny.
Oh, you were,
Have you
oh,
been
you've
on too?
Everyone
Look
comes
at
on.
us.
No one
Everybody's
tells
just
us.
coming on. Nobody's telling
They're
us.
just sneaking
Thanks.
around.
Our producer is just.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
late.
if he
He's
would have
here
came
tonight,
on
and
the
there's
last
not even a
time,
game.
it would have flashed. You would have saw it.
Oh, well. Anyway, welcome,
Good to see you.
Mr. Jesus Plants himself, Jim. What's
How's
happening?
everybody doing?
We're good.
Phenomenal. Happy Friday, my friend.
Happy Friday, man. Happy Friday. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
We
Super
appreciate you. We're
So you have
excited for this.
people that are going to be in town for the thing tomorrow. Is that what's going on? Or are you sending those? Did you send those things to those posters or anything? Like
I
that?
sent them. Yeah, you guys didn't get them yet?
Where to? Oh, to where? To?
I sent them to you, yeah. Adam, I think I sent them to you.
Oh shit! And it'll
Yeah.
be there.
It'll be there.
Let me check the tracking after this and I'll let you know. But
Okay,
they should
yeah.
be there. They said yeah.
All
They
right.
should have got there
To
yesterday.
Adam?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay,
Dave,
see.
Dave, did you see me hop on the show a little bit ago? It's kind of funny.
Dave,
I didn't-
everyone thinks Dave sees everything.
I
Dave
know.
sees
I was like,
nothing.
is Dave
I
paying
thought he saw
attention?
me,
Like
yeah.
we're
He's
not.
the last guy we'll see.
How the
And
hell
tonight
am I
I'm really
not-
tired, so no, I
well, I snuck
Mark
on,
probably
man.
put up a bunch of fucking photos and stuff that I didn't even get a chance to go.
Yeah.
check
So
my
we
head.
are
That's
less than a week.
Actually-
Is it less than a week? What?
Yeah, next
no, it's
Friday,
one
right?
Friday. Oh, 1 week away. So
Yeah, 1 week away.
So
yeah.
we are
Yeah.
going to be doing so next week's Patreon. See, this week we can't do the Patreon because we had to go get ready for the thing tomorrow. But we are next week doing a double Dugan page. I don't know what we're going to call it.
I don't know, but Mark's just like, oh fuck, double what?
You're starting your auction at 6, 7.
It's at 8 p.m. Central Time.
Oh, perfect.
I screwed this up in the email.
No.
I don't know what time that is your time.
That's 7
I said it
p.m.
was
Mountain.
6, but I was way off.
That's perfect because that's like we'll just roll from this show into that show, and we will be part of the auction. We'll be hanging out.
So
Wait,
excited.
what? Are we auctioning off someone?
Oh, this is what Katie got all excited about. She was trying to give.
We're
away stuff
auctioning
right
off
now.
Katie?
Yes.
What?
Katie is.
Fucking wish.
All proceeds go to Plant
All
Buddies.
proceeds
She
go to
comes right
Plant
back.
Buddies.
Yeah, we're gonna auction
I
Katie.
fucking
Take
love
one
it.
for the team, Katie.
Yeah.
I love
Come on,
it.
That's a good
Katie.
one. I like that. That's a good move.
This
Yeah,
man.
That's a good move. But no, we're gonna be there's an auction off
Arrested.
Seeds, and then Kyle's gonna be in there co-hosting, and it's gonna be
My boy Chunky.
and
Yeah.
My boy
I'm
Chunky, my
excited.
co-host. Yep.
Yeah.
We'll have
I
a few
love
other
it.
people on there too. So it'll be awesome. It'll be a good time. We're going to auction off some great seeds and hopefully make a lot of donations towards Plant Buddies. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, let's get this party started, right?
Yeah.
That's
It's gonna
so
be, and then we're gonna be
exciting.
representing.
Thank you. We're
this
so
weekend.
excited about this. This is just
Yeah.
spectacular.
Yeah, it sounds.
This is only our second show too, so we're still in the works of getting comfortable on camera and everything.
That's
So it's
cute.
No, that's
it's
why I'm
fun, though.
almost glad that I didn't see you tonight.
It's only our
or
500
didn't
first.
see everybody because I like get
You wearing your
nervous on
501s
camera.
today?
There's like an interesting
put
thing
'em
about
on?
these are my friends, so just hanging out with my friends and getting high. That's a thing we do. However,
Vinnie was gonna wear 'em.
staying
Right.
on topic
he
and
is.
like being present for these things is
I got my
also,
Jordashes on.
you know, it's a fine
Yeah.
line when you're smoking so much hash. God, you just
I
get
got my
so
Puffco.
high.
I know, man. I
You
feel
get
you.
it.
Don't say that around
So-
Dave. He gets
No, I
triggered.
don't mind.
He
Look,
gets
he makes a
triggered.
good product. He's just,
Oh, now
I
he's-
prefer different.
We'll have to get
Yeah,
you.
like the
We'll have to get you some Dabex
He's
stuff.
eased off now.
Give me I'm down.
Yeah,
Let
we'll
me
have to
try
get
it,
you
man.
some Dabex.
I'm down.
Dabex, we gotta get him one.
Okay.
Give me one. I will.
Dave, get on
Do
it.
you
and
see
host it.
5,000 dirty Q-tips on the table?
That's the key
No.
right there. No Q-tips.
True.
No,
When
and
you-
Your
then
wife
also
won't
the
leave you for the
turquoise-
Q-tip usage, or your friends won't think you got some disease or something. Like, what's
Yeah.
wrong with this guy? You come in his house,
Stuck
he's
in
got
my nose and my ears and in my
7,000
everything.
dirty, nasty-looking Q-tips around. Man, there was times back in the day where it was out of control.
No, I like
So-
I was
Costco.
buying,
I
getting
was buying.
handfuls at a time. Like, I need them.
So does the Dabex not as many Q-tips? I'm assuming. Yeah.
None.
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 No.
None.
And it
Whoa.
doesn't clean.
No, and it's so cool because it comes apart. It's magnetic. There are so many levels to why this is spectacular. And
I
you
call
know what
it
I
the
mean?
prototype of dab.
It's very
Yeah.
prototypey.
You know what I mean?
Very.
'Cause it like has
Yeah.
little
Perfect
compartments
thing
and all
to clean
snaps
it.
together.
It's
like,
like-
yeah.
Yeah. Everything
I'm
about
intrigued.
it is-
I'm intrigued.
I'm excited for you to try it.
Send me your address.
Oh, dude, come on, man. You for real?
Send me your address.
Yes.
Oh, look at that. Oh,
He got all Eeyore about it.
I will, dude. Come on,
Thank
man.
you.
You start sweating and turn red.
Send me
I
your
love it.
address. Well, I want to see
I
what was
will.
on that mug, though.
Whoa, we gotta see
What's
what
in
it
that
is.
mug?
Coffee. I'm a Hey, speaking of
I'm
not
gonna
drinking,
need
man,
coffee.
congrats on not drinking.
Oh,
There, I was
thanks.
listening earlier, Adam. That's cool, bro.
Yep.
I'm 10 years sober myself.
Nice. Yeah, I'm
Heck
like
yeah.
8 or something like that. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Best move you can make, right? Best move you can
Yeah, for sure. Yep, absolutely.
And the best part is if you do go, because the thing is, you don't care about parties nearly as much as you used to. But when you do go to one, you just meet all the cool people that don't drink. You're
Yeah,
like,
no,
"You
your
don't drink
vibe
too?"
attracts your tribe.
Oh, and then all of a sudden you're like, these are the cool. Well, actually, and you look around, you're like, probably the coolest people right there. There they were, the smart
Right,
ones who
yeah.
gave up a while ago.
For
Because
sure.
dude, you got us. And you're like, I can't understand.
Oh,
a word
oh
you're
that's
saying.
the person.
I
you've
can't
seen
understand a
in
word
the
you're
pic-
saying. Are you going to dump your beer on yourself or are you going to
Yeah.
dump it?
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
for
was
sure.
I was there. I
It's
was
the
there.
guy you've seen in the business world who you always thought was just straight laced and everything, and now they
They
have
got the
just
tie
cut
around the
loose.
head.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, party!
Yeah, yeah.
Take this copy. I sat on the
The parties
machine.
are much different. The energy is so much different.
Well, when they get,
Yeah.
it's like when they, when you get to like, so we were talking about Rob Clark so much, but he loves to drink red wine, and so we'd all be smoking the whole time, but he'd always have his red wine, and then by the end of the night, he'd have his forehead next to, like, up against your forehead, and he'd be like, telling you something, and you'd be like, yeah, Rob, I'm not, I'm on a different
ridiculous.
wavelength.
Not about
right
It's a
now.
different energy.
I'm
Yeah,
on
no.
such a different. He's like, you're like, Yeah, that's where
You know what is a good time with friends is some mushrooms though. You guys were talking about earlier.
No, yeah.
There are so
Honestly,
many ways
I'm
to be able to
feeling
connect
on the
with your
top
friends
floor right
these
now.
days too, because it's funny. We all sat in ceremony, and I've been one. Cece and I are wanting Adam to sit in ceremony with ayahuasca again.
Peyote?
However,
Oh,
no ayahuasca.
I never done none of that.
However, that we do, because we do mushrooms. Mushrooms is a thing that's
Yeah.
like regular. So you ever come visit, and they have a spot up at their farm that's like beautiful on the mountain.
See, the biggest problem
You
with
take a
doing
little bit of mushrooms and you go up there for a little walk.
We did
on a
it.
micro.
So I did it twice now. But the problem with the Aya for me is I think I smoke too much weed, and it just fucking it doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't get the same. Like I'm kind of like, that was cool, but it wasn't like I was like God. And then I know it's gonna kick my ass if all I have to do is go drink more. But it's also like I kind of got this messaging. The first time I got a message that was like, "You're pretty all good. Just relax, whatever." It wasn't like I didn't get like this. You suck balls. You fucking ruined you ripped that guy off and then he killed him. You know, it's like people get all obsessed in their little things, and I don't know. It's just kind of weird. And then the second time, if we got interrupted in the middle of the ceremony, so it was kind of like. And I'm done. Like there was like we had this thing going, and all of a sudden it was like the cops. The guy who owns the place is calling the cops, and I was like, "That's like the worst setting ever." Like you're like,
That sucks.
If it's
like,
set in setting,
That
then
sucks.
the last
Yeah.
thing you want to do is have the police involved.
and I was like,
or any
"All right, I
kind
think
of-
I'm done at one cup here." I was like, I didn't even go any further.
I
like,
went. That was one of the nights that I went super deep, and I felt you energetically on the other side of the room. Like, oh fuck, are we gonna have to leave and just collect all of our belongings
I was
in the
just
middle
like,
of the night?
The last thing you want to do is
High
have
on-
cops roll in and a bunch of people doing ayahuasca. It's like,
No, that sounds like a nightmare, man. Oof.
Oh, it
Rough.
was all of the
Because that's-
energies in the room that
well,
night.
because that's always been the psychedelic problem of like everything is great, everything is great, everything is
No,
great,
it's not.
and then all of a
Until-
sudden, why? What did you just do? Why are the cops here? What is going on? Like, I mean, it's like it's
Yeah,
all,
oh, yeah.
and you become so hyper, like, I did.
I
that.
don't eat mushrooms as much as I don't really at all anymore, to be honest with you. I got kids and I got
that's the
one on
first
the
thing you
way,
say.
and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just doesn't happen like it used to. But man,
Yeah,
shit, things are wild, man.
it's already weird enough when your pets know you're high, so you don't really need to have your kids.
Now it's just me and my dog, so they always know that I'm doing. So I'm messing around with all the things.
Cats
It's
are the
cool to
worst.
be-
Cats are the funniest because they get super intuitive. Like
Yeah, they do.
like dogs too,
Yeah.
obviously, but cats are funny because they never pay attention to you. But then when you're really high, all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, look
They
at you,
want you.
I'm gonna
motherfucker!
fuck
look,
with you."
Look at you little fuck!" I had this cat, this red
Mm-hmm.
fucking cat, and it was like. When I did DMT the first time, I was like, I sat down after, like I walked across the room after, which was already weird, and then I sat down, and then my cat came to me, and it looked just like an accordion because it went like, broop, broop, broop,
Shit.
and then it came right to my face and was like, "What are you doing?"
What are you
know what I
doing?
mean? And I was just like, "Holy shit, dude! You look like an inchworm!" Like he came across the room like, "Uh-oh, I just got the dog going." See, there you go.
She's been
That's
great
probably how
this year.
Cat Dog was created, you know? Dude was probably on some
That's
crazy
funny.
shit, you know? Some acid or something.
I would
Well-
believe that.
Well, you know,
absolutely
because
believe
cats always look at shit that they're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
I mean,
like they're looking
after
at
seeing-
things that aren't there 100% because they're way too like on it. You know what I mean? Like, and you're just like,
that. We know other dimensions exist.
The
That's
fifth
crazy. Without any
dimension.
drugs, you don't
Well-
need anything
well, I'm sure
else
they're-
changing your conscious awareness. Physics knows that
Yeah.
other dimensions exist. So to be able
Oh,
to
I'm a believer,
see
man.
them,
I believe in it all, yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's like you're like, it's always funny when you're tripping and you go like, "Dude, this is like literally just like it's like a tiny bit off of what we normally do, but it's so like I'm fucking locked in," and then all of a sudden you fade away and you're like, "Dude, it was like it wasn't even like you disappear or go into a different thing. It's just that little click, a couple rainbows, things are happening. You're like, dude, I should see this all the time." And then all
The
of a sudden,
time I did the DMT on your couch, I was on his couch. I was on his fucking couch and I did that DMT pen. And first of all, he looked at me and he goes, "Shit, you just hit that so many times." I hit it like 9 fucking times. And he was like, "I mean, hit this until you feel something." And I hit it and hit it and hit it. And there's a part of me that wants to like hold on to like that control for as long as I possibly could. And I was watching everything shape, like I was watching the air form in front of me, and then the water
That sounds
molecules
crazy.
on the leaves outside, and it was like
Oh, we
the
had these
rain
really-
was stopping, and I could see
It was funny
every
because
single.
we had these like cool like leaves. I remember the same thing. I was looking at these leaves going like, holy fuck, dude.
And
Like,
then I went to a fucking like a Dude Grows event right after that. Adam
was
was like,
during- that was
"You're
a dude-
going to
that
a
was-
Dude
that
Grows
was.
event right
I
now," and I
remember
was
that.
like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I'm
then
gonna
she came-
head over there. I have the tickets."
Speaking
dude.
of the dude girl shows, that was
Shit, I went so high on fucking DMT still, and everybody was like, "Hey, Katie, what's up?" I was like, "Hey, hi." You won't even believe what I've been up to today.
How long does it last? Like you said, like 10
I mean, you
minutes,
feel it in your
or-
body, like
It only like
DMT
about 10 minutes.
Yeah,
It feels like a
10
long
minutes.
time, but
It feels like
James Bean, how
Feels
long?
like forever though.
incredible. You can just see all the shapes of everything. You think about the existence of patterns. Holy shit, you can like dissect the patterns.
I'm gonna let
That was
you keep
incredible.
taking it, and I'll take your word for it. That sounds.
You can live vicariously through
that sounds
Katie.
crazy.
I love that. What a cute time to be alive.
But it's funny 'cause I remember that.
love all these fucking experiences.
I remember that exact time, and I remember going like one hit, and everything got all pastel-y and nice, and then she took like 5-10 hits. I was like, yeah, I think I'm good. You know? Like, I didn't need to go deeper than that.
I went so fucking deep, and then like 5 minutes goes by, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna walk over to the event, guys. And Adam was like, I'm not going. I'm good. He and I were gonna hang out.
Yeah.
I
bad.
love this life. Thank you for coming on. It's been such a great show tonight.
Looking forward-
I so look forward to next
Next
Friday.
week's gonna be fun. And,
Next week's going to be awesome. June 13th, 8 p.m. Central Time. I say that because I'm in Central Time.
that'll be
Yeah,
my
can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
pre-birthday.
There's going to be some awesome packs auctioned off.
Yep.
Thank
So-
you so much. This is so exciting.
Sounds like a plan, sir. Thank you.
Yep. Awesome. Appreciate y'all, man.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having me on.
We
Talk soon.
appreciate
Yep.
you. Have
Say
a
hi to
good
Chunk
night.
and the crew and Macro and Ken Alicia.
Yeah.
See you guys next week.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, let's do some ads and then get the hell out of here because we gotta go.
What?
Because we got work to do.
I got work to do. And
Yeah.
So High Cafe
What are you
and
talking
Viper
about?
Pit Barbecue.
It
Work.
It looks phenomenal
West
outside. Did
Alameda.
you all see the like they're building out there? It's
going
Yeah,
on?
he has a new tin roof patio enclosure out there.
Cat-
We're gonna
hot
be-
tin roof?
just in time for.
Dude, hot tin roof, bro.
It's
Tin roof Sunday.
They built it the day they were building it the first time. It was like 85 degrees or 80 degrees or something like that. Super nice out. Everybody was like, the weatherman said it's going to be the best day ever.
Mhm.
Fucking like, it came down like a mofo.
Yeah.
So like instant gratification of building a proper thing.
Yeah.
Because that tent that was out there was hanging in there, but it was barely,
Every
Barely
summer
hanging
we
in.
have an issue with the tents out there.
barely hanging in there.
No, and then each summer it's been like
So
shit.
so right now, So High has burnt ends, ribs, mac and cheese,
wings,
and beans on the menu, and but soon
Soon comes.
very soon,
A menu expansion.
a massive menu expansion, including tamales.
Yeah, dude. That's what I'm talking about. I'm taking home a
Tacos.
dozen
You
every
know,
Friday.
Denver-
Oh my God, it's going to be
We
real.
love it.
And we have the elotes,
That's what you
obviously
do.
elotes
We've got
at
the
all times.
corn.
So we're going full bore. It's going to be
Denver.
it's going to be interesting. The eclectic
4300 West Alameda. Come on by.
eclectic mix will be awesome.
Bring your records. You can play them.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have a podcast, you can shoot it here.
You can do that.
And get some.
OzoCoffee.com. Enter Dunn Deal 2025 and you'll get 20% off. You got to check out this new Jamaican strain they have in. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So you go to OzoCoffee.com.
Jamaican. What is it, Blue Mountain blend or something? Or
It's a really, really small batch.
nice.
Okay.
I'm still
OzoCoffee.com.
on the last of that Mexican, and that shit was fire.
That shit was really good.
It was really good.
Okay, I want more of
Like
this.
like when I grind it,
You don't want any.
Well, now that you're on the show and you're going to come in
when I
every
grind
Friday.
it, there's a certain smell range
I
that just
am-
kicks in. Like,
You're
oh, it's so
okay.
good. Like I
Yeah.
just want to smell it and sniff it. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, yeah,
Okay.
That's nice.
Colombian.
I mean, you won't want to drink any other coffee after you do Ozo, and that's
No.
like literally what happened to me. So, OzoCoffee.com, get the Done Deal 2025. Boom. Build a soil.
Build a soil. That's the original sponsor right there. OG sponsor.
855-877
Back in the Mitch days, if you
first
are
sponsor.
missing Mitch, you can just rewind the last week's episode. You get all the Mitch you need.
get
Oh,
all
yeah.
Mitch, more
Yep.
Mitch.
I was hanging out having sushi.
But yeah, Jeremy, Build a
And that-
Soil, best inputs. If you want to pick up the fermented plant extracts from our buddy Miles, you can obviously everything from Miles is so good. Like every time I feed my flags, like Cece's been hitting them up on their veg on squash and stuff. And oh my god, dude! I looked out the window and was like, they look so fucking good. She's like, yeah, just give them a little bit of Miles. I'm like, that's
A little bit of Miles.
a little bit of Miles.
Yeah.
Goes
You should
a long
call
way.
it Wook juice.
It is Wook juice.
It
Which
is.
it is
Big time
known-
Wook juice.
Yeah,
Spectacular.
Get your
oh,
Wook
I saw
juice.
this great
Wook
thing, and then you know when you
juice.
click away and you're like, "Fuck!" Because I went from one to the next, and I don't know
Yeah,
how to
yeah,
get back
yeah,
to
yeah,
it.
yeah.
There was this scene where it was a bunch of cavemen in a line, and it was like, "Oh, this is it! I need to save this." And I was trying to figure out how to save it, and somehow I clicked it away. But it was
You know what they call that?
what?
Senior moment.
It was no, it was just I just don't even know. I literally don't know how to do that moment thing. I was like, what am I doing here? But it was these cavemen in a line, and there was this one guy trying to cut the line, and he was basically everybody's so stupid that he was like fooling each guy as he moved around. Like, and he'd light a guy's hair on fire, then he'd run around the next thing, and he'd do another thing to another dude and go over here. And I was like, this is the ultimate ad right here for everybody lining up to get the Wook juice, because it was like. It was like 200 cavemen in a row. And
A
it was,
bunch of.
yeah, I was like,
This is-
I need to
see
send this to. I was like trying to send it to Miles, and when I tried to send it, I closed it. But anyway, just so he knows, it's out there. There's the perfect ad for. Because he loves
Now
his
it's
little
gonna
memes.
come back
He loves
up.
his memes, and I was like,
Oh,
"This
he
is
loves his memes.
this
He
is
like
the
texts me all
perfect
day long. He's like, I'm
meme.
gonna make a meme about this.
Oh, he
that,
kills
or-
it. Yeah, he kills it. Does really
He
good.
does.
He's got that
855
style too, where he always
877
finds the
soil.
right image, and then he just tags a few things on it, and it makes it into a whole new thing.
The whole Build a Soil
YoTip.com.
crew. Everybody's wonderful.
You go to
Yo Tips, these are
yotip.com.
spectacular.
You enter Dunn Deal at checkout. You
Coming
get
out
10%
next week
off
on
your
James
order.
Loud's show. They're going to be in the
heck
competition.
yes.
Yep.
Competition of the tips.
Yep. So the tips will arrive with James on Monday, and
I like
we
a
got
nice tip
them in
competition.
Tip
I
to
love
tip.
a tip. Yeah.
there. Just the tip.
Oh
Mark.
yeah,
I'm
Mark's
here
a
for
tipper.
a tip Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I don't
DJ
know
tipper?
about that.
Oh.
Sword fight.
What type of tip
All right.
are you talking about? Have you ever hung out with? Come on.
You guys are so great.
YoTip.com. It is a better way to smoke. You do not share germs. You share the joint. You don't share
Share
Wook
the
flu,
joint, not the germs.
hippie lip, conference
Hippie lip
cough,
is fucking
COVID.
funny.
You know what? Tomorrow,
The Cabo Caca.
people are
James
going
just
to the
brought us.
Dude Grows Cup. Which I'm going to bring a whole
Oh, you
bunch of the
need to.
ones
You
that
need
we
to.
have
Yeah,
from the
those
old
are
Cowboy
necessary.
Bring it.
Because I'm not
bring
going
it,
home with
bring
any
it.
of the
Oh, we
hippie
have
lip
big
this
bags
year.
of those still?
Cup. We do, but somebody has to remind me.
Okay, senior moment.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Why don't you pack them up tonight?
Well, that's when
I
you
brought
call
the
me in an
hungry
hour.
hippos.
No.
Please.
Why am I going to call you?
Just text me in
Why
an
would I
hour
even
and say,
call you?
go
You
put
have
them in your
1
fucking
hour
car.
memory?
I'll text you now.
Right this
I have,
moment.
dude,
Text
Write
I
it on
have
your
so
hand.
much shit
Write it
going
on your
on
hand.
right
Put yo tips.
Wait, yo,
So basically, you're not going to go.
Jesse, will you
What
call
an
me?
excuse.
Send me a text.
Oh, I
in an
left
hour.
it.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Jesse.
I don't want to forget. Fuck.
Well, just
yeah,
put
no,
it in your bag.
Tomorrow is perfect for this. Yeah, we need
Look at him.
that.
He's already anticipating. You're blocking it out of your brain. Is
I'm
what you're doing.
not. I
No,
don't
now
want
he's
to.
really
He's gonna really forget it. He's gonna
YoTip.com.
forget it. He's gonna forget it.
We love you, Yo Tips.
Holdup.org?
Well, don't forget to get
Done
your
deal at
card.
checkout. 20% off any of your med card needs or your mushroom
Mine's coming up
microdose
in
therapy.
August. New one.
Debex.
Debex.com. What we
When are we?
Can't say enough.
Get a red
not-
one.
Come on.
Get a
You know,
black one.
Wow.
news
yes.
coming
Yeah.
soon.
Katie
That's
needs a
all
red
I'm gonna
one.
say. News coming
Katie
soon.
needs a red
I want a black one.
Katie has a silver one.
Dave.
We all have silver.
I know. I want
I
a
have a
black one,
silver one.
Dave.
I need the black
I
one.
lo-
Adam
I
Dunn
was-
Show black with a
You-
little logo on
Yeah,
it.
dude.
I just found my
shit.
little Adam
Etched
Dunn
with the
Show
Suburban
logo.
House logo. You know?
etched,
Dude, come on,
etched
bro.
in gold
Mark
and diamonds.
wants a black one.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want the red one.
I'm grateful for whichever one I get. To
Mark
be
wants a
honest,
big
I love
black-
my yeah.
And if you have a
Big.
rig that you like, get the Rocket. MK1 right here.
Coming soon.
And yeah.
Everything
so,
of theirs is spectacular.
I mean, like I said,
Precision.
it's the prototype of dab rig.
Done deal at
honestly.
checkout. 20% off your order. You get a Dabex Go with a cleaning kit shipped to your house for $159.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
14erboulder.com.
You have to try these new Pixie disposable vapes. They are absolutely amazing.
We'll never get one, but they're great. Dave
I often,
Dave's
I often
smokes
bring
them
them-
all the way on his
I-
way over here. He's got 4 in his mouth as he's
Yeah.
driving
You
over
guys
here.
have to try these.
I asked you guys last time what you wanted. You said you wanted rosin. So
Yeah, I
brought
want rosin.
I always always want
You want
rosin.
everything, dude.
Best
You
flour,
want it
best
all.
bud tenders, best concentrate.
best.
They are fantastic. You're not going to find a better dispensary in all of Boulder. You go to 14erboulder.com. Done deal at checkout. You're going to get 20% off everything in your cart.
Boom.
Grovebags.com.
Grove bags. What you gonna do?
Tell me you heard about it
Damn,
on the
I
Adam
love
Dunn
these.
show. This really is the glass of the plastic bag. And
You don't need no Bovedas. You
It's
don't
plastic.
need
No.
no orange peels up in
Plastic
there.
Orange
Fantastic.
peels is
People would be
crazy.
crazy, man.
Oh, orange.
Get one of these bags. It's going to keep your weed at a great humidity.
The last time I used orange peels, it was Jamaican weed.
Funny.
That's
I
how
love
old
this
it
so
was.
much.
Yep.
It was Jamaican weed, and it came in. It was a little bit too dry, and then we threw a bunch of orange peels in it, and I kind of liked it. At that point, I always remember though, I'm like, it's pretty good.
It
Like-
changes the
like-
it changes
like-
the profile.
Like I
of-
liked it for myself, even. Like it wasn't just about like trying to make.
I've heard
sell it,
everything
'cause I was
from-
just getting weed that was too dry, and I was like, oh, I'll throw some orange peels in there, and I was like, oh, it tastes kind of good. Got a little wacky flavor going on
That's
here.
so funny.
Nice.
There were a couple people here in Denver that I knew would do tortillas
Oh,
in
that's
there.
the worst. I know.
What? Like, come
That's some
on!
low-end
I'm
shit
not.
right
I'm
there.
not wanting tortilla terps. I'm good. Thank you.
Terptoras.
Get Grove bags.
Grovebags.com. Tell them the
Grovebags.com.
Adam.
No
Dunn
tortillas
Show
required.
sent you. I don't know. Is there a done deal there? Yeah.
Not officially.
just got to
Okay.
call.
Just
and
call 'em
ask
and tell
for-
'em.
If you're going to do
ask
a
for
real
Lance.
order, like you're going to make some, like if you're going to get, like,
Yeah,
not
you
if you're
can
going to
get
buy
them
one
custom.
bag, but if
Did
you're
you
getting
show
custom
'em?
bags made,
Yeah.
and you say you heard about it here, you're going to definitely get taken
Get 'em
care
custy.
of special. And if you don't, give us a call, and we're going to get Lance on the phone and say, Lance, yell and scream. Be mean,
Yeah,
be
that's what
mean.
you do.
And get our
Yeah.
friends taken care
Just
of.
don't call and ask for Lance. He's not there.
Ask for us.
He's on the
We're
road.
not there either.
Yeah.
He's always on the road.
Tell me what the done deal.
And you can compost your orange peels.
Yeah.
HortitechDirect.com.
Hey, they make a greenhouse for any climate in
Buy a greenhouse,
any
please.
place in the
Get
United
a
States,
space.
Yeah,
anywhere
buy
in
a
the
light.
planet Earth.
They're so
You
beautiful.
know you need
You'd
one.
really be helping us out if you bought one.
You're going
okay?
to buy one anyways.
No,
This
if
is the
you're
one.
on the market for a greenhouse, contact them first. They will take care of you. Plus, they
Yep.
have a greenhouse for anywhere in the country, so you can be like living in the coldest place, and you'll have. And the thing is, it's not like you just get a greenhouse. You get a greenhouse that's been well thought out, so that you don't get exposed to the elements if you're going to be in there doing any kind of light dip situations.
They're in the game forever. Okay, these are used by your fellow cannabis growers. They know what they're
Specifically
doing.
for growing weed.
They help you with everything from setting up the pad to getting the engineers out there to put your HVAC in. All of it. From start to finish. Ask for the done deal. Go to HortitechDirect.com or give them a call. Tell them you heard about it on the show.
Boom.
Terpwipes.com/done deal is all you need to get the delicious terp wipes.
That's it.
Delicious?
It's an amazing.
Fair weed in these
I don't
now?
know about the delicious part.
Who's tired, Mark? You're tired. Delicious.
Terps, not herps.
Don't eat the terp wipes.
Don't eat them.
No, they're spectacular.
Use them
though.
to clean up the mess that your Adam makes.
Yeah, exactly.
I used them the other day. I got hash all over.
I told
a
Vinnie to
dress
take
of
it. Take
mine,
him.
and
I told
turd
Vinnie to
wipes
bring him for
came
the
in.
barbecue, so everybody after the barbecue. They can.
They're
No, they're
useful
too
for- they have-
expensive for that. You want to use a cheaper thing for
We're
that.
classy guys. We throw the
Wow.
big bucks.
Terpwipes.com/done deal.
All right.
Better than barbecue sauce.
Numbnutsco.com. Done deal at checkout.
Oh.
20% off all
Yes.
your CBD peanut butter.
Look
I
at James.
guess.
He's getting excited.
So
He's
good.
like peanut butter.
Get CBD infused nut butters delivered to your door. If you want THC infused, check out the Find Our Nuts button. You can get it possibly at one of these dispensaries
Fine
here in
locations.
Colorado.
Find our nuts.
JeromeBaker.com.
Oh, the Vindicator will be exposed this weekend.
It's like driving a nitrous-infused race car only with a dab rig.
There we go.
Damn,
James
well
Bean
said.
can't wait.
Oh, we're going to get... In fact, we might just have to
Vindicator.
strap James
Are you
Bean
ready?
into the chair.
Are you ready?
Make him take multiple Vindicators.
Nitrous.
Look at him
assisted-
smiling.
Nitrous
Look at
assisted
that.
bong hits this weekend.
Yeah.
Are you going to be down or what?
It's not a no.
Sunday. It's going to be a race day, so we can get on the mic. Sunday.
We will need you to
That's
sign a
right.
consent form, though.
This is
for a man of your age.
Vindicators.
Yeah.
Move out.
Oh, and last. Oh, but not last, but sort of close.
Seeds4Charity.com, the
Oh my
number one
God.
cannabis seed bank. Check out James Bean on the Grow Bud Yourself podcast. Read 800 blogs and strain reviews at Seeds4Now.com. Sizzling June deals, 25% off Breeder X. Is that what it says? Yep. Breeder X.
Oh, Breeder X. Oh, big story
Yours are
behind Breeder
always
X.
Are you
like
gonna be
one of
able
the
to
most
make it out?
professional in the entire show.
Look at him. Look at that
Thank
guy.
you.
And
We
the
appreciate
flavor-
the effort you go
No
to.
AI
the
involved
month.
at all made by hand carved from.
Flavor of the month is
Scratch.
cherry, 20% off cherry flavors. Buy 3 clones, get 2 free from iwantclones.com. Check it out. Seedsherenow.com.
Seeds here now.
Seeds you now.
.com.
And,
most trusted name in seeds.
Get your cult jacket.
Yeah, be a
Get
member
your
of the cult.
jacket. Get your cult jacket.
know you want
Join the
to.
cult.
Do that.
Yes.
Get one. Join the cult.
Be
Join
cool
the
like
cult.
Vinny.
Yeah. What's his noise? Is that Vinny in there?
Is that-
That's Vinny over there.
Vinny making noise? I think Vinny's he's in our head.
He's making noise. He's ready for the outro, bro.
ready.
Damn, it's
This
8:30.
has been
Yeah,
a
it's
great
Yeah,
show.
right now. We went extended. We're gonna just I'll give a video. I'll give a. I only
You
just one.
said- oh, okay.
I have one video because I left.
I got a video.
I drove out and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to go downstairs and take the other videos. I was like, too many things on my plate. But it took.
James
forever.
Bean says
Got
we should
one.
show the video.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Video's good.
All right.
Goes, we have to gotta tempt him over there. You know? Your video, which one?
Patreon.
Oh, the which one are we
The
talking
extra.
KTI.
about? KTI video. You got
KTI.
Okay, what's the KTI video? Oh, that's funny.
what's going on now? We got crazy videos.
Those are definitely for Patreon.
There's going to be
Patreon.
something
We're not
up on
showing it
Patreon.
tonight.
Patreon.
Yeah, there'll be something on Patreon. Just we'll figure it out.
Anything and
Hey,
everything.
next week's Adam's birthday show.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh.
Father's
Bar
Day.
trip
Get
down.
your father something
Go buy
more
your
than
dad something.
practical.
Socks.
Get him something cool.
What do you mean?
that he
They like
fucking
shoes.
Really wants.
Especially if they're
I'm not. I
$100.
said socks, sir. Yeah,
Socks,
hell
shoes,
yes.
toenail clippers.
I never spent $100 on
It's all
shoes.
down in your feet
Fungus
zone. Everything has to be in
spray.
the foot zone.
A quality shoe
It's
is
ridiculous.
You can't
Shoals.
beat a quality
No,
shoe,
it's
dude.
ridiculous.
Did
It's
you know
ridiculous.
It's a
that,
great investment.
Like
I appreciate
Smoke on
I had
Walmart
practical.
to, I had a physical.
Free
Thank you,
Father's Day.
James
We got a
James.
free
Reaction
Father's Day
to
birthday
handing my
gift.
card
we got,
over.
We got our first birthday gift already.
This is a gift for your 500 shows.
Oh, 500 show gift.
Oh, 500
thank
show gift. Vinny's gonna have to drill a hole in the table. Drill a hole in the table.
Oh, very nice.
Like all professional.
Spectacular.
Can they get bad mics?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, is this what
All
Joe Rogan
professional for
uses?
2 of them.
This is same as Theo Vaughn, Joe Rogan.
Whoa.
All the big daddies. All the
Okay.
big daddies are using those. We're gonna look sort
Hell
of
yeah.
professional. We'll look semi-professional.
All right.
From this point
Yeah,
on.
because only Mark and I will use them.
I know. It'll end up in the bus. It'll be in the RV. For the
Oh, there you
mobile-
go.
the mobile- Oh,
See, we're
mobile
gonna-
studio professional. Swing them around.
Right?
My bad, dude.
They're
Here,
gonna-
you're on now.
They will be used.
You've been pretending that these mics are complicated. Like, how do you?
How do these work?
No, they are a little bit awkward sometimes, though. So
It's
God.
you use it just like
Oh,
anything else. You
gosh,
talk right into
anything
the
else-
tip.
Just get into the
like
tip.
that's so natural
just
to
get
just
right into
be
the
right
tip
up
right
on
there, yeah.
something all the
Tickle
time.
the balls and
Just-
get in there.
Yeah,
I'll pass.
just get right in the tip.
I love you
Congrats
so
on 500
much.
shows.
500. Hey, look, we don't have
501.
the thing. Where are you? You're not even there.
I've never heard.
Oh, Vinny.
Except you're always right here too.
Here, move over this way. There. Say
Yeah,
hi.
Oh, I'm
everybody
sorry.
loves
Hold
you,
on.
James. Thank you. It's
There
so
you
good
go.
to see
Scenes
you.
on the scene. Thanks for coming through. We'll see you hanging out all weekend for once. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun
If
this
you don't
weekend.
disappear on us, that's the question. I'm like, is he gonna make it?
I'll be there.
Because I know you. You'll be like, where is he? He's like, I'm still at the
I'm
hotel.
stoned.
I'm trying to pack up some seeds, and I'm putting together this last
Got
minute
this thing
thing,
I
and I'm
do.
printing, and I'm
Yeah.
doing something.
I'll be there.
He's made some major. There's been many shows I've been like, where is he? Where's your captain? And you're like, hasn't come down yet.
We're
Or
gonna show up with seeds out of packaging. You gotta make it
some-
work.
I know. I've been there too. It's I'll
Gotta
do
make
it
it
when
work.
I get there. And it's like that never really works
Yeah,
out too good. That's usually
Not on the menu. People can't see it. They can't buy it. Right?
anyway. We're gonna have yeah, it's gonna be fun though. We're gonna have you can come hang out in my booth for once. This is it. He's like any option to go there. He's like I've liberated many a booth in my life. So
Yeah.
With a red
I love it.
wagon.
My turn.
it's my turn to liberate.
My turn.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming
Thanks, guys.
through.
Yeah.
And if you're a Patreon listener, we'll have some videos for you. Go over there and check them out.
Yeah, go check out our Patreon. Come hang out with us.
And we'll be hanging out. We'll be shooting some stuff this weekend, and we'll show it next time. So that'll be fun too.
And that will
Or
only
maybe
be
as
for
you shoot it,
Patreon.
we can upload it to Patreon.
I thought the same thing. I mean, it's all available.
Patreon
You never
Weekend
know.
Edition. Patreon Weekend
So
Edition.
now it's fucking never gonna happen, right? Because they all thought
No.
of it.
Don't promise, but it
No
could
promises, but it could happen.
I'm gonna make promises. We're
not
gonna
gonna
do
happen.
all
Katie
shoot some
giveaway.
stuff.
Katie giveaway.
Katie giveaway, and I will promise
right.
to make footage of this weekend for
Give it
you.
away. Give it away. Give
Look
it
at
away
the big
now.
picture.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Peace out.
Bye.
Thanks.
Dog's Day. Safe guys. Dog's Day.
We go into the
That came through hot, bro.
What?
The hidden track, the burp.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome.
It's a hidden track. I was like, what the fuck? Oh, that's the TV. Is it still going?
Yeah. Secret track, bro.
Secret track. Hold on.
Sick.